the young gun.
Great way to be able to start things, getting that early gold boost for DM.
Oh, yeah.
We're still going to have a bit of a bounty split because we've seen these Darkseers have some issues in these lanes, but I feel like this is a lane that you can actually do perfectly fine.
The synergy's not great with Mirana. Let's be realistic there. This is a lane you're just eventually going to try and get to the Dom. You can do some creep cutting, you can do some jungling, but it's not a high pressure lane. Satanic is going to free farm down here pretty much no matter what happens. So that gold injection for DM is going to push him towards a fast helm, and that's a huge deal. Could free up the Mirana to roam a little bit earlier. Maybe you go in towards that mid lane. Maybe you go top. Those are the two lanes that I can see going Yandex's way in this early game. If the TA and the Slaughter get up to a fast start, it almost doesn't really matter what happens in this off lane. It's going to bring the draft together. You're going to be able to pressure objectives super early. You're going to have a lot of physical burst damage before the armor, before the Lotus Orbs come online. That's where this lineup can get out of control. I think we should have seen more TA over the course of this tournament. I'm kind of excited to see what Watson can do on it here, because I don't think this hero's broken by any means. I don't think it's the strongest state it's been in compared to some of the previous patches. But some of these games, it sneaks through the draft. Like, people later pick these pucks or some of these melee heroes that get abused by the trap cutting. You're like, man, it looks like a great TA game. I think this is a solid TA game. It's not absolutely free, not S tier, but Watson is a master on this hero, and he has a lot to play with here, so hopefully he can make it shine.
Well, we'll see how he gets through the lanes, though, because this is a bit of a tough lane. You've got a lot of ways to burn through a refraction between these two heroes. Underlord is just a natural melee hero bully. And Tusk, I don't think, is going to be a lane-dominant 5 position up against these two heroes. There's not much he can really do, I feel like.
And if Pvision punished one hero in this game, I feel it's this Tusk. Like, this is going to be a rough one for Malady. If they're snowballing this game, yeah, it'll look good. But otherwise, you're going to have to play into the pits, AoE Avalanche, a Chains, a Bramble, a Terrorize. The Bushwhack is another AoE stun. Like, there's so much AoE control for you to go in next to your heroes in this game and have impact as a Tusk. It almost looks impossible to ever get a snowball save off in the late game unless you have BKB on top of it. So this is another reason why I think if you're Yandex, you want to get ahead in this game. Because if you're behind and you have to play defensive fights and rely on your two supports to kind of bail you out, I don't think it's possible. There's too many follow-up stuns. There's going to be a global AoE pit. Like, you just can't disengage from these fights. So you either have to rely on a very strong BKB timing or just kind of gain an edge and never let go of it and abuse faster Oshans.
And you certainly have a very low cooldown lineup that if they can get ahead, they can kind of just keep us with non-stop action. Good snowball there from Malady. Got away from what I assume was a pit right on TA's head.
That pit Bramble blood grenade. He looked like he was going to take a lot of damage. Gets bailed out very nicely here. Chainmail already online for this Underlord, though. A lot of early armor investment. I like it against this pure physical lane. It's going to pay off very nicely here. And I think this game is going to come down to these two offlaners. Maybe this series. These two offlaners have had some crazy games over their runs in EWC here, and these teams are relying on them to help control the map. That's the biggest thing that I think they share in terms of similarities. They both play these Darkseers, Centaur, Underlord archetype heroes. Maybe Enigma will come out in this series because they're pushing waves constantly. They're being really annoying with the Dom creeps. They're giving their teams a lot of information and map control to play off of. That also gives them a lot of farm to make their impact felt in the team fight itself. There's going to be a lot of overlap in this offlane hero pool in this series, and it might come down to who gets, like, you know, that extra one wave to hit their item a little faster and can join that team fight or make that play ahead of the other here. I almost never expect Centaur to go through here. It's just been too powerful for these two teams.
What do you make of this Darkseer lane? Because he's matched up against a melee hero. We've seen many of the range matchups the Darkseer suffers in lane. But at the same time, it feels like there is almost no value to the wall in this game.
Pretty terrible wall game. Now you're using it as the slow and chaos in the fight rather than any illusion hero. Tiny is very good against Darkseer for a lot of these reasons. Hard hero to burn out with shells. The wall's not really effective against his right click. Surge is not that great against Avalanche Toss. So you do have a lot going for you. You do get a nice courier snipe with some boots on it. That's some value.
And start pulling the waves, which Hoodwink not going to be the best at being able to stop that. DM does lose the aggro there for a second. And this is going to be soon the time where Soxa is going to be freed up to make rotation where he wants, as his arrows have not been finding the mark in that bottom lane so far. Maybe a bit of a warm-up for him.
He's just trying to secure this helm for DM before he leaves entirely. Thought he might have left earlier just because you got that early first blood injection. Like, maybe DM dies if you leave him, but If you can make something happen on the other lanes, it probably feels a bit better. Because no one, he's about to hit level 6 for free on this Ember against a Slardar, and no pressure went into him at all to get here. So he's very happy with this situation, even getting aggressive himself.
Yeah, the pressure going the other way. Cheer Jr. getting very low. Magic Wand keeps him alive for now. Now popping a fairy power. It's no one who now has to pop his Magic Wand to stay up and at him.
That'll guarantee his level 6 here, though. No support TPs into that mid lane. Still holding on to it. In fact, they are looking bottom. Trying to snag a quick kill on the squirrel here.
See if we can land the arrow. Tukalis just going to die to the right clicks here, but the Mirana maybe similarly. In fact, Tukalis is not dead yet. DM, the snowball, it'll finish him off. And now the DM is joined in. The Ion Shell is going to force Pvision away as much as they can.
Up to level 3 on that Ion Shell. So you got to be careful on support. Satanic, he's a beefy boy. But you don't want to start chain feeding into this Darkseer lane. Looking for that Underlord 6, looking for the Ember 6. That's where you have a lot more map mobility to respond to some of these aggressive plays from Yandex, and that's always going to be a concern. You want to get aggressive with this lineup. You have a lot of dive potential. Slardar, Darkseer, TA, these are all heroes that naturally dive really well. But when you commit to that dive, there's a lot of turnaround you have to play into. It's a very strong defensive lineup across the map. Underlord can always pose you problems when you're trying to get aggressive into one of the other lanes. So you really have to keep the mobility in mind, you have to keep the resource management in mind, and pick your opportunities well here if you're Yandex. Going into the Underlord solves a little bit of that.
Two supports rotating in because Watson needs the help here. Too many creeps are dying under tower, and he can't hit any of them for fear of being caught by just a single disable into the Firestorm. Might be the death of him. Meanwhile, 7-minute Wisdom Shrines are coming up, and it does look like no one is a bit more free to rotate if he wants, but he has opted not to. So we're just going to have a split. No early aggression from either side, making an invasion or anything like that.
Pvision way happier with just static lanes, that the Ember's doing fine and the Underlord's doing fine, because there's not ever going to be pressure going into this Tiny. And meanwhile, there's a decent amount going into that Templar Assassin.
And this Slardar keeps on getting low. Trying to hit him with the Remnant, but a beautiful arrow stops that.
It's all defense, though.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this Underlord's denies right now. He bodied the TA up here. Watson didn't really go jungle early. He didn't do extra stacks. So you're looking at, what, 22 denies on notice? His TA is down that network chart for a reason.
Malady looking for the snowball out of here. And he'll get it on the creep wave. Will he get far enough away, though? He's still going to be inside the pit. And they'll run him down. Malady just desperately trying to get even a single CS, but that just sends up yet another deny for notice. 23 denies.
Complete lane control. He's going to be a beast in this game. He's a big problem here over Yandex in the team fight, especially the supports. Even the Slardar kind of suffers. You need BKBs, or you need to get to a point where you just overwhelm his armor entirely, which, again, when you're behind, it becomes harder to do. You can have a fast Lotus Orb. There could be Greaves in this lineup. Dispels are going to be great for both teams.
Arrow does land. He's got a regen rune in the pocket, though. They need an overwhelming amount of damage to kill him, and he's able to jump away to his Remnant. Still, though, they can chase after the supports. Maybe get one kill here. Here comes the Underlord, though. Through the gate, or maybe not. Actually gets gone on by Malady and Watson. They're trying to stop him right now. Hit him with the snowball once. Now he's trying to get through the gate and get away from them. Dies all the same.
Nice pick up for them. That's such a big boon for Watson, who is otherwise losing this lane considerably. Needed the experience as well. Can always go into the jungle or do stacks as a TA, but right now Darkseer's kind of taking your triangle, so you just have to exist up here for a little more time, get a couple more levels, and then you're smooth sailing.
Yeah, those traps really help secure the lane a lot more, whether you are seeing the rotations from supports or just the slow helping you disengage from some aggression. And it's DM who has quietly overtook the Tiny and the Underlord in net worth. Trying to battle it out with this Helmet Dom creep. Point blank arrow. Centaur getting in front of him. It's going to be killed, but the damage is done. Satanic will be run down. So nice rotation back through the gate. It really felt like Yandex was struggling there in the first 6 or 7 minutes of this laning phase. But now that the rotations, it almost feels like they're outmaneuvering Pvision.
I think their rotation power is stronger here in the early game. That's kind of why I wanted to see the Mirana leave earlier. But Soxa, he made the right call. This Darkseer is mega fat. He found some clutch kills with this Mirana. Now he has 2 urn charges, still has a blood grenade. This Mirana's pretty strong on the map in terms of that roaming power right now.
And it's going to be quite a difference of map control, too, because DM is slowly going to chip away at this bottom tower.
They're going to bring the Underlord mid to try and fight this rune. Big investment.
Terrorize onto underneath the pit with the brambles out. That'll easily kill Tier Junior and run down the Marana as well. So Pvision, a heavy investment of heroes into the mid lane, but it does pay off.
Absolutely. The second you get caught in any of these little routes, you're going to get chain stun forever. There's just no way to take advantage of mobility in this game as Yandex until you have, I want to say either BKB or like multiple dispels, like maybe Greaves plus Lotus Darkseer or something can bail you out of that kind of situation if you're a starter, but there's a lot of gold to get to. So in the early game, you have to be wary of just getting caught. Trying to get aggressive with another Bedlam low cooldown.
It's going to end up in the Bramble. Pulled in by the Bushwhack. No, it's not going to keep it up though. Yeah, the same reason it's a terrible Tusk game, it also makes it a pretty rough Slardar game, right? Two heroes that are very dependent on their mobility, hate the lockdowns that Pvision is going to be thrown their way. So it's going to be a rough ride for those two until BKB, or at least BKB from Slardar. We'll see if Malady ever gets a BKB of its own.
I like Pvision's odds in a lot of the fights until those big items come out. Then this game will change a lot. But until then, they have spell advantage. The more they can force skirmishes, particularly through this Ember, the more pain they're going to inflict on some of these heroes that just can't get out of the chain stun.
I do think that's because they have a Templar Assassin and a Slardar. Obviously, Roshan is a big advantage for Yandex when they hit that BKB timing and feel confident about their team fights. I do wonder if Pvision will have the chance to take a Rosh themselves before the BKBs come online.
Maybe.
Their lineup is not very good at doing it.
No, this is not a Roshan priority lineup. It kind of requires everybody in that pit to bring it down at an efficient rate. And that's kind of Satanic's call if he wants to do something like that with his time.
Surrounded, and the game makes things a lot more efficient. Straight action in it. Yeah, mid lane, they're going to run down Malady. Moonlight Shadows, they have protection for it.
It takes a while to die. Can you get anything in return here?
Slardar wants to take this fight, but he's still outnumbered.
Yeah, nobody's around.
Arrow is coming through, but as soon as that's dodged, then there goes your entire support. Cheer Jr. managed to weave his way through the brambles, but another round of slight chains. And finally, damage takes in. Underlord, TP. Oh, that was a close call, but Notice makes it out and completes his Rod of Atos in the process. So now the catch is really beginning to amp up for Pvision.
This Slardar is so far away from being able to survive or have impact in these situations. The Vessel is done here for no one. Him getting the last hits on those kills, that is exactly who you want, powering up to the first fighting item here. And Yandex in a little trouble across the map. Too much mobility for them to deal with right now and not enough counter thread. This TA is just not powered up yet. You're still looking for that Deso. You're still looking for the blink on the Slardar. Then this thread will come together. You can kind of play through Moonlight Shadow and try and pick someone off, or, you know, threaten Satanic down here. He can die once those armor items are online. But he has sat down here forever. You want to deny the tower? No. He wants to leave it up. Bait someone in for it. We saw the power of these tier 1s in our series yesterday.
No doubt.
It is a really nice objective to play around for as long as you can keep it up, though. 9 HP, I mean, surely.
Well,
there's a limit, right?
At the same time, yeah, okay, he's finally going to deny it. DM just keeps on kind of throwing Helmadam creeps down the lane. Thinking eventually he's going to get that tower, so maybe he's not baiting on hero kills, but he is baiting in some valuable stuff anyway.
Look at that, they double scan down here and both hit. As Pvision making their way for this Wisdom Shrine from multiple angles.
And it does mean it's going to be double Wisdom for Pvision.
Just ahead on the little timings here. And again, their spell power is stronger right now, so even if the item timings are the same, you're still advantaged in these fights. You just can't get impact out of your Tusk Marana here.
Yeah. Yandex say they clearly knew that was coming. They made the read, they made the scans. I think they made the overall call, we shouldn't fight right now. We need to get our first round of items, which there's the Deso, there's the Blink Dagger on Slardar. Now it's coming together. You still kind of want BKBs, but you can make, you know, one or two boots. Right?
You can get pickoffs now. You can threaten some of these cores pushing the lane, particularly the Underlord. If he gets too aggressive top, you're going to go there and slay him. The Ember mid might be a tough grab. You'd have to chain stun him with an arrow.
I think the top
likely
5
to threaten no one here.
दोनों teams included हैं.
It's kind of same with the Tiny, who, by the way, is about to have a full Shadow Blade.
They're going to go for the Underlord, but it's not in a deep lane position. It's in Pvision's triangle.
That's a lot
which
more
is a tough area to fight. The reinforcements are already there. Satanic T beats the off-lane tower, cut him off from behind. Now Malady, who was looking to join those two in their smoke play, well, now he gets caught as well. It was
just
overly aggressive move.
Yeah, I was gonna say Roche just walking by, but no, he'll give no one a little toss there.
Love tap.
That feels like a forced play. Like we have Sarter Blink, we need to do something with it. Yeah, that's not the area that the TA can connect to unless you're already running there.
Ooh, arrow slips on by because Arguello popped and just decided to turn around. Fight the two of them, hits the terrorize. Ooh, but gets one shot by the meld hit. So that's going to be your first bit of charges here. The Slardar is back up into play, and again, low cooldowns on these heroes. So even when you do kill Yandex, they're back up in 30 seconds and in fighting shape.
Fast response, and that response was important. One, you needed to stem the bleeding here, but two, that was the Shadow Blade Tiny running in there, ready to join that engagement. It just didn't get set up properly, so you don't get value out of that reveal. You don't get to snipe the TA or something crazy like that. Just back to farming for Satanic. Did not like what he saw there to try and re-engage.
So both teams have shown that they can defend their own side of the map. Neither team has shown that they can really offensively, you know, get in there.
Which makes sense if you look at these two lineups. Like, there's a lot of turnaround. There's a lot of annoying spells to run into. If you're doing it blind especially. And just not fun spells to face tank.
Yeah.
So that was Deso charges for the TA.
Yeah, that was fast. He picked up Deso, got a kill, now has Blink.
He'll be highest net worth here. It's kind of inevitable. Come down to those Roshans. You can start accelerating these objectives. Or killing more Dom creeps. It's number 4, number 5, I don't know. He is propelling DM to a fast Lotus here, which I like. You got to get some multiple dispels. I could be curious if he was going to go Greaves. We just don't see this item a lot. This is a pretty good Greaves game, but he just went the treads. Wants to keep the farm rate up, be a little tankier. Rely on the Lotus Orb to bail some of his boys out.
What do you think of Malady buying out his Shard? Tusk Shard is not one that I think of as, you know, willing to buy. Caught him on the Shadow Blade, and with the Bedlam, they burn through that refraction really quickly. Avalanche Bedlam, refraction goes down, and an exposed Watson dies.
That was a smoke bypassing multiple wards that catches Watson off guard. Big connection for this Tiny. Not only do you get his Shadow Blade involved, you take down the farm accelerator here on the side of Yandex.
Pit, Rod, back into the pit. Malady trying to get off a snowball here, but now he's been chained into another pit. 10 seconds of entangle, and now Jiro Jr. is going to walk into a bramble as well. Now he does get the clear here from DM, turnaround vacuum wall, but not much damage behind it with the Slardar already dead. The Templar Assassin reviving in 5 seconds. Nothing behind it. Pvision playing faster and faster, and Yandex are struggling to keep up.
The threat of this Tiny on the map. We've seen it time and time again. If you let this hero have a free game and you can just start taking people off, the map closes in real fast. And this is, you talked about this Tusk Shard. I'm not sure this would have been my first investment because there's so many roots in this game. And you're just getting pitted, chained, brambled. You don't have an opportunity to do anything with this shard. You have to kind of preemptively use it and start the fights on your terms, but so far it's all aggression for Pvision.
Yeah, Lotus Orbs are going to be very helpful. DM, he does not go the full helm of Overlord, but picks up a faster Lotus. I guess another thought would be that him buying a shard also means that, you know, maybe one of his cores gets the shard
for sure.
If they take the Tormentor.
He talked about that in an interview.
Right.
He likes buying it to essentially contribute net worth to one of his other bigger heroes.
That makes sense, I feel like, if you know that you're winning the game at 20 minutes. But that is certainly not the case. In this setup, it feels like Pvision are far more likely to be taking this Torment.
We'll see who gets it. Might pay off if they can secure the objective. This is a lineup that wants to take it, for sure. They might just smoke down there and prioritize it, even from the dire side. Another pick off to the Tiny. The map is shrinking right now.
Satanic's getting more and more aggro. The Shadow Blade Harpoon now a
tiny तो ऐसे
Silver
हीरो
Edge
हैं
to be
ये
finished.
मिराना और
Another Dom creep as well.
टस्क को तो बिल्कुल खा जाएंगे एक ही कॉम्बो में
You
बिल्कुल
just
छोड़ेंगे नहीं
have to get BKBs at some point in this game. That's what it's starting to feel like. It's just too much spell power. The Ags is already done for notice.
To look at Shiro Jr.'s net worth. He's 3,000 behind the Ember Spirit. Like, when is he going to get a BKB? He is lucky to get out alive here as the gate comes in a little bit late.
You have to win team fights and big objectives for him to eventually get there. There's just not enough space for the starter to farm anything right now. You have to start looking for some kills.
I think स्लाटर पे
Well, if they
यही
wanted to,
प्रॉब्लम
they
होती है
could make a play
कि
for that Tormentor right now.
Gate's on cooldown.
एक
It's a
बार
big spell.
No gate,
अगर
Pvision
गेम नहीं
mostly
चला
playing
मिड से
middle
नहीं
and
चलता
top.
है तो फार्म करने में बहुत
collapsing
दिक्कत आती है
towards
बहुत
mid.
स्लो फार्म करने के स्टार्ट
What a different
यहीं
kind
देख
of
रहे हैं हम
objective here.
कि
Pvision are
Yandex
going to make a smoke of their own. It's going to break. Managed to get the initiate point up, but the Shadow Realm already went off, and Shiro Jr. has no BKB to defend himself. They gave him the Lotus, though, and maybe he can get out. The Ember Spirit's going to pursue. Meanwhile, Templar Assassin has to keep his distance up against this Underlord, but an Ember Spirit jumps right on top of them. Watson's getting low. A Firestorm on top of him has to be picked up by the Snowball. It's his only chance to survive here. Watson, though, there's just too many disables. Pvision, they own this area. They own every part of the map that all five can be there.
That fight can maybe go their way if they all jump the same target together and they get the TA in there. But the second that Pit Firestorm caught the two of them on the high ground, the fight's disjointed. You can't single target focus anybody down, and now you're just stuck in roots for days. It's just miserable. I guess Tusk Shard pulled Watson out of it a little bit, and then he gets snowballed. Like, you're actually dodging a decent amount of the roots, but it's just overwhelming.
Still more.
Yeah, everybody has something. That's an Arcane Rune Ember on top of it. Avalanche is a disgusting spell. It's just too much to deal with right now. That was a risky fight to take. You paid a big price.
They also bought yet another shard. This time on the Darkseer. I think this one is very good for split pushing at times, and I can see how it's helpful, but I also feel like you're very much under the gun, right? You need to get to this 30, 35-minute timing where you have these DKBs, ways to get rid of these. It's weird that they feel like the shard is worthwhile when you got to get to these other items.
Because otherwise something like this happens, and there's just no way out.
Yeah, he's just stuck. Nobody has any Force Staffs. Nobody has a Lotus Orb in that situation, as DM is bottom lane right now, trying to get to Blink.
Have to find a way to create more map pressure without getting picked off, or win the fights. You're running out of options here as Yandex, as Underlord is just going to control this game. Every time that global pit is available, it's going to result in a big kill here. Don't have the core items to escape from it.
Unfortunately, the Darkseer can't put pressure on the map without showing his hero, thanks to the Hamadam creep. That is the one way you can combat this Underlord.
He's doing a decent job. He's constantly forcing somebody back bottom. Fortunately for Pvision, they have very mobile heroes. Like, you can run the Ember down here, chase him out a little bit, and still connect to some play top if you really play it well.
Right.
It's not as if you have to fully respond to the Darkseer pressure in this game, and there he goes, right? He chases him out bottom, instantly back top. You still have your threat up here. Yandex gonna try and take advantage of that.
Gotta get a kill for Shiro Jr., but run into a sentry that was gonna hang out here pretty soon.
Did you even have the damage on that play? It's gonna be close.
Sentry also spotted both Satanic and Malady in their confrontation.
Warning game is really important here. For these pickoffs leading to the objectives, it's all going to start with the vision. That's where you can maybe rely on some of these TA traps to give you a little extra boost. You're not getting killed right now. No gem on the side of Pvision. This could be a game where they pick one up very soon just to try and eliminate the extra pickoff threat that would snowball into something like a Roshan.
मिराना का impact उतना आ नहीं रहा है गेम में
Jr. still hunting
जितना आना चाहिए. मतलब मिराना अगर खेलेगी तो आ जाएगा काफी. मतलब आइटम्स चाहिए मिराना को बिल्कुल impact डालने के लिए. लेकिन रॉड वगैरह डालती तो थोड़ा इम्पैक्ट हो सकता था, लेकिन एरोज हिट नहीं हो रहे हैं तो ज़्यादा कुछ फ़ायदा हो नहीं रहा है. सेटअप भी करने में दिक्कत आ रही है क्योंकि ब्रांडमल्स और अंडरलॉर्ड का सेटअप काफ़ी अच्छा है दिख रहा है. पिट डाल रहा है अंडरलॉर्ड, फिर उसके बाद ब्रांडमल्स आ जा रहे हैं, फिर बिल्कुल ही कंट्रोल्ड बिल्कुल मिला. और वॉटसन तो आई थिंक वॉटसन यहाँ मरता है तो लीड बहुत बड़ी आ जाएगी.
You're better just leaving him there. There's, again, so much AoE control in this lineup. There's just no way that Tusk is going to bail you out of these situations.
Again, the shard is like, okay, it doesn't actually get you fully out, and it only pulls the Tusk into danger.
At least you get to hold hands as you both die.
That's true. And Satanic playing a carry Tiny. You've got this kind of control. He's going to be banging down objectives. The
I think,
top tier 2 is almost dead. He takes down the bottom tier
बहुत ही
1.
strong position है
I also love the
Pvision
9 class blink
कुछ
here.
चाहिए रे तगड़ा इन्हें
Because I think Dark Will is a hero
ये
that
तो
like early
ऐसे ही
items
निकल
don't really
जाएगा
mean
game.
as much as you being able to have presence around the map, get that extra wave and not die. And we talked about how
ये
important it is
creep
to have
मारते हैं
unkillable
तो
supports in this
100
meta
गोल्ड
right
देता
now.
है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा
Your
होता है
support duo that
XP भी
scales
देता
in
है
a way
काफ़ी
where it's so obnoxious to kill them as a core, it almost becomes futile. Dark Willow can take advantage of this blink with the
TP कर
Shadow
रहा है
Realm.
I
She
think
can push that extra wave and blink out if you try and blink
Dark
on
Seer
her.
को
Like, it
ढूंढ
gives
रहे
you a
हैं
lot of survivability in this game. That's very
मिल
annoying
गई
for these heroes that want to
ओ
blink in and
साइड से
stun you.
निकल
Zoxa's
गया
getting one
मेराना
shot.
मिल गया
Avalanche toss.
It's not the same
Oh.
on the other side.
He's not able to split push. DM able to
I
get
think
rid of the
Bushwhack
cursed
missed हुआ है यहाँ
crown.
पर
He's going to show on the map.
हाँ
Nope,
Bushwhack
blinks
मिस कर
up.
दिया उसने
And because there's no gate for another 15 seconds, he is able to get away.
And I think we've also seen this development on supports over the course of this event, and maybe like the previous one or two just meta-wise. We're seeing a lot more earlier blinks, not as an initiation tool, but as a, I'm going to rat the map or set myself up somewhere that's really annoying and have that escape mechanism. Like it's a weird development of the item that I don't think we've really seen as consistently before in Dota. And the heroes that can take advantage of it tend to be more popular. I think Hoodwink's another great example. Like we've seen a lot of early blink Hoodwink, where you're just playing off of I have extra reach for the stun, I have extra mobility across the map, I get that one extra wave and get out. There's no chance you catch me, or I get that extra snag
बाकी
in
इन
a
पे
fight.
माइनस आर्मर है और टैग टीम से थोड़ा
It's very
बफ
high
मिलता है
skill. It pays off when you
डार्क
can
सीयर
land
बस
it,
सेटअप बना के देते
and
हैं
especially if you're the
थोड़ा
aggressor
डैमेज की दिक्कत
in
है
the team fights.
And no one perfectly placed. Though they
एम्बर
are going to get the
पकड़ा है
initiation
और
on him
एरो
anyway.
का सेटअप
I thought
बहुत
this
ही
was going to be
अच्छा
another
आई थिंक
situation.
डेड
Breaks a smoke and he gets away, but they managed to get the initiation. Big hits. Shot came through, vacuum onto Satanic, slowing him down, but they still managed to get a toss on the illusion to kill Malady.
ओ
Jared Jr.
चेस
wants
कर
to
रहे
keep this
हैं
going, actually
स्टार्ट
pushing Notice back into the team as best he
और
can,
एकदम
but
ही
it's not good enough. Malady, Watson can't really go into this. You see him playing off of hitting the traps and trying to get the side blade damage, but
फैट हो
he
चुके
can't
हैं
actually
टाइम
blink
असॉल्ट
into
गिरफ्स देख रहा हूँ
them
मैं
and go for that Underlord kill.
No, there's no way you want to commit in
श्रेड
there.
कर देंगे अभी वही
Until
मिलेगा
you
तो
have BKB, you're just gonna get disabled for days. There's already an assault Kuros on Satanic, by the way.
Yeah,
So you kind of have to respect the armor in this lineup. And this Ember almost lives. He has an illusion rune in the bottom. No one is very close to getting out of this situation.
and
Great execution.
yeah, I mean, if he has the Shiva stun, I think he does live there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And they're going to have the triple armor item. They're going to have AC, they're going to have Shivas, they have Lotus. So this was one of your better chances
आई
to
थिंक एक
take
बार
a
शिवाज
fight
आ जाएगा तो एम्बर
if
मरेगा
you
नहीं
were Yandex when it comes to the offensive damage.
दोबारा
Maybe
आई
they
थिंक
can
ये
still take another one when they have their
Space बना रही है
BKBs,
देखिए।
but for now they're going to get picked off around the map as an attempt to do something about Roshan is denied.
That's a big Roche to gain here for Pvision. Feels more influential to take it away from this Yandex lineup than what you even need it for. Like, I don't think Tiny needs an Aegis this game, let's be honest.
No.
I think he can use it well, but just denying this from the TA, it makes it so much harder for Watson to play the fights. He's kind of relying on getting a second life here at some point to be able to go in.
नहीं टावर
There's a
बहुत
real risk, even
तेजी
with
से
the
लेते हैं
BKB now, when you go in, you pop BKB, if you get kited a little bit,
आप
those
5
big
हिट पे ही
stuns don't
टावर
land
गायब
when
कर
you're
देते
there
हैं
to deal the damage, and that BKB starts to wear out, that fight does not look so great over the long run.
विजडम
They
दोनों
do at
स्किल
least get
करते हुए
Tormentor, and then you get a Marana shard, so all the
धीरे
shard
धीरे
buying
नेटवर्क लीड बढ़ रहा है
didn't really pay
एक
off
अच्छा
here in the
टीम
long
फाइट
run
थी
for the ad, at least.
Yandex
I mean,
को
I'm not a
they
TA
want to
player,
get a comeback
so I don't know how influential
I
the Templar
think
Assassin
टारगेट कर
shard
रहे हैं
is.
अंडर लॉर्ड को 3 बंदे
I
हैं
guess your refraction can
थोड़ा
be
टाइम
cast
की
while
है
disabled. It's
जाना
actually
आसान नहीं है अंडर लॉर्ड
potentially
पे
important when you're
बस
getting
नहीं कर
tiny
पाएंगे
shadow
बिल्कुल
blade
Oh,
initiated.
yeah, I was
Back.
about to say, it's good
I
against
think वो भी
Tiny,
समझ गया
and this
इसलिए
is
बैक हो
supposed
गया
to be a decent matchup for TA in terms of playing the map.
टाइनी आ चुके हैं
But
I
a lot of the
think
disables in this game, like casting the
सर्च कर रहे
refraction
हैं
while
और
you're in the
बिल्कुल
pit or something.
मिला है I think स्कैन किया था
Whatever.
Yeah.
The Satanic's threat continues to grow 9-2 and 7. This hero looks unstoppable in the right hands this event.
The Yandex are just getting more and more desperate to rat out the map, leading to more and more pickoffs. They can feel the map just closing in around them. Pvision, thanks to the fact they've got a Shadow Blade, they've got an Underlord with this global presence, combined with an Ember Spirit with global catch as well.
But there's the 2 BKBs for Yandex. TA and Sard are both online. This means you can full commit in the fight and try and take down that big juicy target that you want to at the start. into Aegis, it looks a lot more difficult.
Yeah, the question is, like, are they going to have the damage, right? They have the defensive capabilities to allow them to push through these disables, and that's a very strong timing. But because they're ahead, are Pvision now too tanky against the physical damage?
It looks like that. There's just so much armor in this lineup already.
It's 41 armor on Tiny right now. Like, Corrosive Haze only takes away so much, you know? And if Satanic spots him, 2 minutes to get the leap away, but Satanic just follows him through with the play. Now pull back on the hard through. Cheer Jr. doesn't want to have to use BKB here. They snowball, try and dodge the Cursed Crown, and slip back inside the base. Malady with the Lotus. Nope, he's stuck in the run. Now,
बिल्कुल काट दिया
and
भाई
he's dead.
डार्क ही लोगों
Man, these heroes
पीछे
just cannot get
दो
away no
भाई
matter
का
what
है
Slight Team's gonna use. And they're gonna either force the BKBs or they're gonna kill you at this point. Cheer Jr. pops the BKB and makes a run for the fountain. That is not what you wanted to see out of your first usage of both the Templar and the Slardar. They didn't even go on a hero, really. Sure, they got the Dark Willow, but they haven't threatened a core at all. And they're immediately gonna smoke and make a play for this, which is
अभी स्पेल्स यूज है तो बिल्कुल स्मोक जाते हैं और टाइनी Oh, 5-man pit. Maledicts, I think, is dead. Watson is out. I think it's GG. GG.
Nah, there's no shot. You can't focus anybody. You use your BKBs.
Will be the
domination here. Another 30-minute win.
Pvision. Strong, really.
Can't even last longer than 40 against this team. It doesn't feel like it. They just run you over. The second they start to gain a little bit of control, they just never look back. The lanes get pushed in really aggressively. Someone gets picked off. They get an objective. It becomes even more difficult to play. There's just very few openings for you to play your way back. I think we saw the power of this Underlord. If you do not get the dispels up fast enough,
मिट्टी हार गए फिर रोटेशन भी अच्छी नहीं हुई तो स्टार्टर ऐसा हीरो है तो अगर रोटेशन नहीं मिलेगा तो गेम नहीं जिता पाता इम्पैक्ट बहुत ही कम हो जाता है क्योंकि फार्म नहीं कर पाएगा आइटम स्टेट आएंगे बहुत सारे बिल्कुल नहीं कर पाता तो आई थिंक ये बात Pvision ने बहुत फ़ायदा उठाया इस चीज़ का और बिल्कुल स्नोबॉल कर दिया मैं पता है कि स्टार्टर अभी स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं है तब तक प्रेशर करते रहो लेकिन प्रेशर करा है किल्स प्रेशर करे फोर्स किया फाइट के लिए 2-4 बार आई थिंक वॉटसन को अकेले भी पकड़ा तो दिक्कत होगी वॉटसन को भी स्पेस नहीं मिली बिल्कुल भी यही करते हैं तो
Too many bad matchups. I think you have to maybe just chain gank mid in hindsight with this Mirana. Like, I don't know, does the Darkseer net worth really count for anything in this game? I think the Slardar has to snowball for you to have a shot of taking fights. And you got very little priority. It's not a hero that can do stacks. And no one played the mid lane really well and got some help. So Pvision, they alleviated a lot of their potential difficulties where I think Yandex did not snowball their threats hard enough. And that'll be something to address going into game 2 because they got dominated here.
Yeah, their very first game, 41-minute victory. They had a 48-minute victory against Reconyx. But yeah, most of these are in that 30 to 35-minute mark. Just extremely dominant victories from Pvision when they do get the win.
Pvision take game 1 of the semi-finals and in quite the fashion as well. I was expecting maybe a little bit more back and forth to come out, but it was not meant to be like that for Yandex. They did not get off to the greatest start that they were probably hoping for Lacoste.
Yeah, this is the type of a lineup that wants to snowball out of control between 15-25 minutes. This is what this lineup is kind of built for, to take over the map, take over the objectives, Roshan, get a pick off, turn that into Tormentor, and take control of certain areas of the map where they're going to be getting the kills, they're going to be utilizing this kind of infinite damage that they have from Slardar, Deso, and a TA. But the lineup never came online. Like, we saw Slardar really struggling. I think no one really pushed the limits on the hero in the mid lane, making sure that this Slardar is also shut down. This is not a hero that can easily recover, and we were seeing some like downfall to it, plus also having the global presence from this Underlord, kind of similar in a sense where you're playing against a Dawnbreaker, knowing exactly that that +1 hero is going to come in and making sure that you are also needing to bring extra hero, maybe even extra 2 heroes because of the damage reduction and the kill threat that he brings.
Yeah, if you noticed, had a fantastic start on that offlane.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, his CS was unbelievable, and they did manage to trade a few kills on him when the rest of Pvision were making a move mid, but for the most part, what that Underlord gave that game was just so valuable. And watching that play, it just felt like there was so much shit on the ground that it was so hard for Yandex to play into it. Like, every time any kind of fight was attempted by Yandex, all of a sudden there's this pit of malice with the bramble maze, with the terrorize, with the tiny avalanche coming in. There was so much AoE control, and when you're working with heroes like Tusk and Slardar and TA that need that maneuverability in the fight, this just debilitates them way too much.
Yeah, it gets pretty difficult. I also mentioned the itemization coming out from Pvision, that it's going to be pretty straightforward when it comes down to picking up the items that's going to give you the value. So you see 9 class having this Distiller, getting extra bit of armor from that, relatively early Shiva's Guard as well from no one. And also Satanic completely skipping the BKB. This is one of the few times where you see Tiny not needing the BKB, because he's playing against many BKB piercing abilities. He's playing against this Deso, overwhelming physical damage. So he also tanks up and also gets early AC, which does benefit the whole team. And also you see noticed him getting the Lotus Orb, which does give him armor, so kind of double dipping on the value on top of that. And also picking up a Ghost Scepter, making sure that he is not going to be dying. And this is one of those games where if you're playing from behind, you don't really have enough money to buy a Nullifier, so you can't really just burst him from 100 to 0.
Yeah, I felt like this game, it got out of control at some point for Yandex, and it made me wonder, like, is there in their draft not a plan B built in where they can make a comeback?
Not really. It's a very one-note kind of draft, like blink in, burst somebody, use your overwhelming amount of damage, and just snowball off of that. So if you don't get that pace starting for you on Yandex, there's really not that much you can do. And I do feel that maybe the Slardar was actually not that good within this game. Like, Slardar has been introduced as this really big counterpick to the Spirits, especially Earth Spirit in particular, and the Puck that we see very often, but versus Ember Spirit, it looked kind of underwhelming, actually. That hero, while he does trade with him decently, he has no means to remove the Flame Guard, and he doesn't punish it enough, Lacoste.
Yeah, he definitely felt like that in this one, making sure that, you know, he has really good game. Like, Slardar is not a hero that, again, can easily recover. I think Caster's talked about it. This is the hero that if he's off to a bad start, you need your blink, you need your shard. You can't really skip your shard, so it's kind of like you need to spend the 1500 gold to get it, and then your BKB is gonna get delayed, which we've also seen multiple times. He goes in, and a lot of the times he doesn't get the chance to get out because of the Pit of Malice, Road of Athos, this infinite control they have. Plus also Tiny. I think Satanic played an extremely good game. He was hunting down, he killed Saxa, I believe 2 times solo, and also being everywhere, but also having that tankiness. Like, it's very easy to play a game once you have these, let's call them unkillable heroes that go in, provide vision for the team, and also have a little bit of a bail option with Dark Willow behind them, but, you know, maybe with some defensive items like a Force Staff, just making sure that you can get out of trouble.
Yeah, that Tiny on Satanic was able to join fights, Effie, very early on.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big key factor in this game for me, from what took it from being even, where both teams were making trades, to actually being swung in Pvision's favor. So here in this clip, we're going to see this is Satanic's first big move with 9 classes Willow, and they smoke and they find the perfect target here in Watson's TA. Like, this is just the dream scenario if you are this Tiny. And then if we go on to this next clip here, just a few seconds afterwards, because of this pickoff on TA, they were able to apply pressure to this mid lane, to this mid tower, and that Atos from Underlord comes in clutch here. You just have this like big pit. It's not easy to take, and CJ unfortunately tries to help here, just gets Avatossed and maybe can manage to sprint away, but you can't really run away from this draft if you're not the one setting the tempo. And in this last clip, we're gonna see kind of a similar situation in the sense that Satanic's Tiny just gets to join whenever he wants, and this is really key from no one to be able to come in and control, but he does this nice wraparound, gets the Ava on, and the heroes on Yandex could not really play versus these heroes.
No, they really could not. It also feels like oftentimes when we talk about any team, really, and a lot of the teams that we're talking about today, we frequently focus on the support duos, with good reason, because they're the ones making a lot of the moves. Well, Lacoste, I guess the reason why Yandex's supports couldn't really make moves, is that because of the Slardar being basically a non-factor here, or what was that about?
Yes, I mean, when you shut down this type of a lineup, Templar Assassin, she also falls off. She doesn't feel comfortable playing with the Slaughter. He doesn't have BKB, and also the offlane. Like, DM didn't really have that hero that kind of goes in. Again, it goes back to Slaughter not having the greatest game, which makes it very easy for the support.
सेकंड मैच में आते हैं थोड़ी देर में ब्रेक के बाद, फिर सेकंड मैच देखते हैं पिक पेस। आई थिंक Yandex को थोड़ा चेंज करना पड़ेगा। आई थिंक स्लाउटर इसलिए लिया था कि पक और वो काफ़ी मेटा में है, पक एंड अर्थ स्पिरिट, तो उसको काउंटर करने के लिए शायद स्लाउटर लिया था, लेकिन एम्बर स्पिरिट बिल्कुल ही ओन कर गए मिड पे। सो लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंस इन द सेकंड गेम।
you can just, you know, do a gotcha and make him less important. Because we've seen teams do like Spirit Breaker against him and get cooked.
Yeah, we've seen Nature's Prophet being a relatively good response to Shadow Fiend in a sense where you can't out-CS this guy in the lane, never gonna happen. So the way that people have been playing against Shadow Fiend is try to bring extra bit of a heat because of this global presence that you have from Nature's Prophet, and then TP to his lane, maybe Twin Gate rotate with the other support and try to outnumber him. And so far from what I've seen, it did look pretty successful. Nature's Prophet on Pvision side, we haven't really seen it from any other role than position 1. You did mention the flex, Yandex, they did flex it to the position 4. You said the mid lane, which can potentially happen, but of course, Pvision, they're definitely using this as a bait because 9 class, he will definitely play it if it's a good game for it, if they want to give their carry slightly more priority.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at this first phase of bans, and there are like tiny little things that I find to be very amusing. Like, they banned Darkseer in that first phase on Pvision, which you then get one more ban, right? You're kind of telegraphing that you want the SF, but you take Nature's Prophet instead. And Yandex are just like, no, we're more scared of Dawnbreaker than we are of getting SF'd ourselves, and that doesn't even enter their mind. Like, I just think little things like this are really cool because another team would have overreacted potentially and included SF within their first phase of bans.
Strong composure here. Another hero that made it through compared to previous game is that Undying that we've seen on Maladies. Never mind. Second phase. Took a little bit of time to get there, though.
I mean, I still think Hoodwink is very solid. She's proven to be a support that you can blind pick and comfortably build around.
Yeah, Earth Spirit's still in the pool. That's the big one for me because of the 9-class performances that we've seen from position 4. And this is also something that no one did bring into the meta kind of during the TI qualifiers where he played it 4 or 5 times. It looked pretty much unstoppable. And then everybody else started to copy it. So potentially looking into that one as well. There's also Keeper of the Light available. I think this opens up so many combos in the game from the off lane where we're talking about the Beastmaster, from the mid lane with the Pango, with the Ember Spirits. And it's also one of the heroes that 9 class really enjoys to play, but also I assume they don't want to be picking this on their side straight out of the face because they still want to be using this NP potentially as a flex. A lot of the times they use this as a flex, but it kind of never happens on Pvision.
I've got 3 heroes to throw into the mix. I just got 2 because Bane got removed, but Lina and Keeper of the Light are both still in compared to previous game.
And the Keeper's the big one that you have to have something prepared for, and the Hoodwink's taken up. I understand that this hero just gives you damage and she wins you lanes and it doesn't reveal too much, but if you're giving away Coddle to Pvision, you have to be ready to play against Ember Spirit again, which is kind of where my concern is for Yandex, because if their Ember Spirit response is Slardar, they have to move away from that. It just didn't work out.
I would imagine that they will have a plan against it. If we see it coming, they will too. So Keeper of the Light already picked up. We'll see what combination they'll take with it. You can only imagine that if you don't pick Ember here, maybe you will get your Ember Spirit stolen.
They have the other options as well. They have Pango, they have Earth Spirit. I think, like, if they pick Earth Spirit, it's kind of locked in to a mid lane. Because Keeper of the Light, they don't really play it from position 5 like we've seen certain teams do, but I like this pairing. This has been one of my favorite off lanes because you just spam out whoever comes to that lane, and it's also very good, again, if this is going to be position 5 Hoodwink. For this reason, you are going to be kind of removing all the trees, and then Hoodwink you can't really find the angle, and it gets very difficult for enemy position 5 to approach and trade with Keeper of the Light, trade with Beastmaster.
multiple heroes के साथ work करता है. Beastmaster being one of them. और Pvision ने काफी
Clock is always fine.
time ये
Even
throughout the
broken
tournament
clock
ये fix
is
लिए हैं और खेला है.
correct twice a day, they say.
But I do like the
Hoodwink
Beastmaster being shown
again.
here because it's still very ambiguous in where it goes. And
Hoodwink
had
is
they gone for the Earth
करा
Spirit
लिया
mid right off the
team
bat, then you
Yandex
just
है.
get the Slardar for Yandex, which
They're
they've
again
looked really
playing
good
at the
on,
ready.
just not against Ember Spirit.
Yeah. Taking their time here. This is the time where they get to pick 2 heroes. They'll go for the Enchantress, not a very popular hero. We have seen some people pick it up. Why here? Why now?
She's a good hero against Beastmaster if he's played in her lane, because she can enchant the boar and take away like half of his laning strength. But you can also just throw the Beastmaster mid in that case if you're not willing to lane against the Enchantress.
Yeah, most definitely. We've seen Beast being kind of flex between 3 other roles. Like we've even seen mid Beastmaster, as you mentioned. We've seen carry Beastmasters on top of that. I feel like they need a body. They need something that's going to be soaking up the damage from their lane, like whether we're talking about some Underlord, because most of the heroes that DM has played so far have been banned out. We're talking about Darkseer, Enigma, Centaur. He does have one more, and that's Konka. That was the one that I was about to mention. That is a catch, is a body in front. This is the hero that can build into any item that you need, but we're talking about, you know, Spirit Vessel, whether you want to go for any aura. It does feel good. And it's also potentially a hero that they can leave in the mid lane if it's a good matchup for it.
Yeah, they can for sure. I mean, I don't imagine CJ will like throw away the opportunity to have a counter pick at the very end. But here comes the Ember that we mentioned. I would be a little bit disappointed if they ran back the Slardar. I just don't feel like it gave them enough. Like I want to see the Vipers and the Huskars come out now for CJ, because DM's Kunkka, it's going to give you that body that you mentioned, Lacoste. It's going to give you that anchor, that team fighting. So don't overreact and run back the Slardar. I keep mentioning it, but I just don't think it did enough against the Ember on lane. Like when Ember is shown, you have to punish it.
We'll see what the bans are coming out from Pvision, as I'm sure they're going to target some good counters to that Ember Spirit as well. On their side, we still need a hero for most likely Ducalis, unless there's going to be some role swaps with the Nature's Prophet, which we're not really expecting, but we should always keep in the backs of our minds.
Yeah, I'd be okay with maybe something
Kunka
to
mid
stabilize the lane, like Lich potentially. Wyvern could come out.
Ember,
Big fan
again,
of
मैं
Wyvern as a
कहूँगा
hero.
कि
I feel like this hero
draft तो
is
इसी का अच्छा लग रहा
insanely
है
good at
अभी
what it does in the lane, the scaling. Like we've seen so many good combos, like even combos that don't really
Vision का
feel like
draft
combos,
काफी
where
अच्छा लग रहा है
people
अभी कुछ
have
देखा
been
जाए तो
using Darkseer
Total
backing,
है,
for example, to pull them back in, and they're going to be
Beastmaster
removing the hero
है,
that we
Ember
mentioned
है,
relatively early on, like this Invoker,
MP है,
CJ Invoker, one of the best ones out there, had some really good performances so far at EWC. And in terms of catch, Kunkka gave them that catch. Like the X Mark into Sunstrike would be very cheap and potent combo.
Yeah, I like the idea of Lich, just because when you play against Enchantress, you know she's going to make some early moves towards your tier 1s, and Lich is the hero that can just press his armor on the tower and maybe mitigate some of that stress.
Yeah, Ember
The
उन्हीं हीरो में
Wyvern
से एक है
can
जो
work in
कुनका
terms
के
of
X mark से
clearing the
निकल जाता
lane
है,
with the Splinter Blast, but
तो
not as
देखते
effective
हैं
in
कि
terms of
कैसे
the
कॉम्बो
defensive
करेंगे.
game.
I think बुशबैक वगैरह के साथ ही Ember पकड़ में आएगा,
If not
वरना
Wyvern or
बहुत
Lich, if they
मुश्किल
both
है.
get banned out,
Until
what
unless
other
माना
supports
आउट हो
can
जाए,
play a
कुछ
more
मिसप्ले करे.
stabilizing
No one
early game?
I mean, Clockwork's
बहुत ही
still in the
अच्छा
pool. I
खेलता
could
है.
be okay with Clockwork, and there's one guy that I
In
feel like has
lane
been
में भी
underutilized.
ऐसा कुछ
They
है
picked
नहीं
it once, and
कि
that's Ogre. I feel like this is a type of a hero that loves to lane with Nature's Prophet.
Ember की
It
शील्ड
gives
कुछ
them the
डिस्पेल
body,
करने के लिए भी
something
नहीं
to
है.
soak up the damage. Because, like, at level 1, like, even level 2, it depends.
I guess
Bloodlust
Invoker
is an
पहले उठा
insane
लेते तो
spell. It
काफी
gives you
अच्छा पिक
35
होता,
attack speed
but
and gives you good amount of move speed as well,
now it is
6%. So
banned and
let's see what
Kunkka
they're
is
going to decide
also
for.
picked.
I think Lich gives them
तो नहीं हो
slightly
पाएगा
more
लेकिन
control. It
Kunkka
gives
से तो
them slightly more team fight as well.
थोड़ा सेटअप देखने में मुश्किल हो रहा है.
What about
Yandex
Earthshaker?
में
I know
they
that's a BZM
set up
specialty, but
around
I remember
these heroes.
CJ was playing against 1W and he
Kunkka
stole an Earthshaker, and it
मतलब
looked
फुटविंग
quite
भी
good. I
है,
mean, it could give you a
थोड़ा
lane versus
रिलायबल
the Ember, and it
बुशबैक
could give
वगैरह,
you
लेकिन
that
ऐसा हीरो
added
नहीं है
stun.
कि
Or that
वहाँ
I'm
जाके
down for
क्लोज
that.
इन
I feel
करे.
like
इतना
also
ज़्यादा
this hero
कंट्रोल नहीं
has
मिल रहा है.
been
एम्बर
unutilized.
कंट्रोल नहीं होंगे, ओगर में जाए लास्ट में.
There's your Ogre.
Clap for Ogre. Yeah, I think this hero has a place in meta. Not many other position 5s are willing to pick it because it's a bit of a hit or miss. It's also a hero that can build into like different items. You build into Force Staff, Solar Crest, anything that your team needs, and it's gonna feel relatively good.
I mean, I'm looking at
Offlane
Pvision's
pick
draft,
है,
though,
क्या
and
बोलते
the
हैं,
same way that Yandex's starts
Yandex
very
में
one note, and good at the one note that it does, Pvision is very like single
बुड्ढा
target
देखने को मिल
heavy.
रहा है.
Even with the Ogre as your 5, it's not giving you team fight, it's giving you single target stun, it's going to give your carry Nature's Prophet attack speed, but your Beastmaster also very single target with the Primal Roar, so less of a well-rounded draft.
How do we feel about Monkey King against the Ember?
There was a one game that at least I've seen so far at EWC where people try to counter this Ember Spirit with Monkey King. It looked okay in the lane, but I feel like this hero's, it's not an S tier hero, it's not an A tier hero by any means. I would give them maybe like B at the moment. It feels like with all these nerfs, a lot of the times this hero, it gives you the team fight. Of course, there's a good synergy between their heroes that they have, like the triple core with the physical damage and whatnot, but I feel like it's a little lackluster what it brings to the table in the in the mid game, especially if you die once or twice.
Yeah, that's the issue with Monkey King, is that 1 or 2 deaths kind of just slow you down. But I do think the lane is still very good versus Ember Spirit, and I think CJ can make it work. But I do like the scouting and vision aspect that Monkey King provides, because you're playing against Carry, Nature's Prophet, and Keeper of the Light. These are heroes that you need to scout, heroes that you need to see in the backline, and Monkey King is a hero that can find them and set up for them. So it
अभी
definitely
अच्छा
makes
सा
sense
किया
within
है
this
मेरे ख्याल
context,
से
but I
अच्छा
need
खुद
CJ
को
to
ऑफ
pull
लेना
off that laning stage.
Sounds like they are the ones that want to set the tempo in this game, which
मंकी
we
ऐसा
saw
है
them not being
हीरो है
successful in
कि
game
गैंग
1.
खराब कर सकता है बिल्कुल
Again,
अगर
it's a lot on shoulders
you
of
know
CJ because he needs to be the
सपोज
one
करो
making
SF वगैरह
all
या
these
फिर किसी पे
moves.
चढ़ रहे हो तो
Because
मंकी अगर
support
उधर
duo,
हुआ
they're
तो
okay
वूकॉन्ग
when they
कमांड
are going to be
में बंदा
playing
बचा
like
भी लेगा और
Enchantress. I
बिल्कुल
feel this hero has also
फाइट्स टर्न
been
अराउंड करने का
underpicked in
पोटेंशियल
a
है
way
बहुत ज़्यादा
because
इससे
what the hero brings, I
तो
feel like it
एकदम
has
ही
a very strong place in meta. Even
और
from position
मिड
4,
पे भी
Falcons
एम्बर
played
का
a couple
बिल्कुल
of
ही
times. It
काउंटर है
looked unstoppable in the games that they played it.
मेटा पे अभी
But
इतना नहीं है
I just feel like this Monkey
मंकी
King,
किंग
it's like
लेकिन स्टिल
hit or
अ
miss
स्ट्रॉन्ग हीरो
in the cases
एंड
that I've
ऑफ
seen
कोर्स
him.
ओन्स
It's been more
एम्बर
miss.
एट द मिड
A bit worrying. A bit worrying for this game, I think.
Not if he pulls it off, Chiefs, because I really do think if CJ has a great
अब
laning
थोड़ा
stage and
कैच
manages
दिख रहा
to
है
snowball, his
मंकी
Enchantress is going to come mid, they're
उनका
going to be able to
आई
take the
थिंक
tower, they're going to be able to set the
फटाफट
tempo
एक
and
एक करके
scout out these backline heroes. It really is just laning dependent, and if CJ pulls it off, I really favor Yandex's draft here.
Sounds like that the CJ has to thread the needle real carefully there. No pressure, though. I will say CJ has been very strong in the mid and definitely a standout player. So if anybody can apply that pressure to propel himself forward, it is him. Can he do so? Can they force out a third game to this semi-finals? Or will Pvision lock in their place in the grand finals? We're finding out with Cap and SPG.
अब वही चीज़ होगी चिरा जूनियर पे काफ़ी डिपेंडेंट है मंकी पे मंकी दोबारा मिड ऑन करके रोटेशन अच्छी निकाल पाए बिल्कुल रन एंड गन खेलना पड़ेगा मतलब फटाफट ऑब्जेक्टिव्स लेने पड़ेंगे कैंप करना पड़ेगा टावर्स निकालने पड़ेंगे फटाफट बिल्कुल रिकवर का मौका नहीं देना है तब जाके मेरे ख्याल से यैंडेक्स ये गेम निकाल पाएंगे अदरवाइज आई थिंक अगर ये लेट गेम गया तो एनपी आउटस्किल तो शायद ना करे लेकिन आउटफार्म बिल्कुल कर देगा बीस्ट मास्टर आल्सो हैज़ द यू नो वेरी गुड फार्मिंग पैटर्न तो वो भी आउटफार्म कर देंगे आउटफार्म में दिक्कत आ जाएगी तो इन्हें बिल्कुल ही एक तरीके से टाइमर में खेल रहा है अगर मिड ऑन करके बिल्कुल अच्छी रोटेशन देके एकदम ऑब्जेक्टिव निकाल गए तो अच्छा गेम हो जाएगा देखते हैं बाकी कैसे
Pvision lineup to deal with because Ogre is not the best at early fighting anymore. You're kind of picking him for the scale with the bloodlust, a bit of a body later on, but he's not going to stop this Yandex support duo running the map. So a lot of explosive potential coming through these three heroes out of that mid lane. That is what you want to see from this Yandex lineup, and if they can.
By the way, this is best of 2. Yandex को कुछ करना है तो इसी गेम में करना है. ये हारी तो बाहर हो जाएगी सीधा टूर्नामेंट में और कोई लूजर्स ब्रैकेट नहीं है इसमें.
It looks pretty solid in that sense. It's going to come down to a lot of execution here. How much can Chira Jr. get out of this mid lane in the early stages, and how much of those support rotations come through.
Getting the early advantage, Satanic using the treants very well, managed to deny one of the bounty runes, so it's a 2-1 split. Very nice. They actually hear that one. We're going to start off with a early bit of action here as Watson going to be ganked from behind by 9 classes. They're trying to body block him as much as they can. It's not going to work out though, and now the turnaround raises are a bit of a threat.
Free Enchantress game, like that is for sure. Malady can do a lot of damage here in the first 10 minutes. It is still basically the most powerful early game support if the game goes in your favor. And you can get to some fast level 3 and 5. You're just an absolute beast on the map. Huge threat wherever Malady goes.
So potentially really free Monkey game, potentially a free Enchantress game. I mean, this sounds like Yandex are very well set up for at least the first 20 minutes.
They should be, and they should be confident in that. SF's a great hero you can roam to. The Kunkka's maybe like a little odd piece out. I don't know if he has that much early aggression to synergize with his lineup, but it is a hero that DM's super comfortable with. If you get a fast boat up, like maybe you can get that cheeky kill. It's a solid Kunkka game.
Janker second skill आके लेके आई है और ओगर ब्लडलस्ट दे रहा है
For sure. He can give you a lot of sustain, a lot of extra team fight power,
थोड़ा
and
लेवल
he's a
2
very
तक
tanky
थोड़ा
body
सस्त
himself, which
चलेगा
my
स्लो
biggest
चलेगा
concern with
गेम
the Pvision lineup is
उसके
getting to that
बाद
point where the
आई
damage
थिंक
comes online.
सटानिक
If they
थोड़ी
can
पेस
scale their
पकड़ेंगे
cores up,
ओगर
get
का
some big damage items, and
सेकंड
bloodlust
स्किल भी
everybody,
आएगा
it's
था
going to be insane. You got to get over that
फुट रैंक
threshold a little bit,
बिल्कुल
otherwise this support duo
कैम ब्लॉक
is not
करके
giving you
रखेंगे
that extra oomph. You have some nice
ये नहीं
sustain
ले
from the
रहे
coddle,
कि
a
कैम
little bit of
फुल
DPS,
हुए कुछ
over
हुए
is pretty low damage. It's all about the cores here, in my opinion.
How do you
Ogre
deal with
doesn't
this
have any more
off-lane
sentries,
duel
so
of Coddle Beastmaster? We've seen this before earlier
ये
in the
3 मिनट
tournament.
तक कोई
It just
फुल नहीं
ruins
देखेगा
many a safe lane here. Maybe
अरे
DM's in trouble
dead
actually, blocked in by the Sprout. He eats through, but it's too late for that. First blood goes to Satanic. They just win the lane
I
straight
think
up. They don't even get the first blood off of
आउट
early
हिट कर रहे
teleport.
थे रेंज
Put
से
treants on him, level 1
कुनका को
bloodlust, and just straight beat his ass. There's no way around it. Rough start to that lane. Treants are just so strong now. Yeah.
और जैसे
Unless
कि
you have like
ऑब्वियस
some way
मिड
to
मैच है
steal him or instant
बिल्कुल
kill him,
ओन
which
करेंगे
doesn't
मंकी
really
किंग
exist on too many
ये
heroes. The Coddle
मैचअप
Beast should be strong up here in terms of pushing the wave out. If you don't feed that early kill to the Enchantress, you can look for it with the level 3, but otherwise you're probably looking for the roam. Best thing you can do against it is block camps. Don't let the stacking go out on that triangle. They already blocked the big camp with a sentry. There's only this ancient camp. If you keep the lane pressure high, you should punish this Coddle every time he leaves the
वो
lane.
एन्चेंट
So
ना
I
कर
like
पाए
the deep lane ward.
एन्चेंट्रेस
That's why this exists up here. You want to see where 9 class goes. If he leaves the lane to go stack,
एक
and one
वोल्ट
of those
तो
camps
चुरा
is
लेगी
blocked,
अगर
instantly you're going on the
एन्चेंट्रेस
Beastmaster. You have
तो
the all
दिखा
potential with the raises. So very
बिल्कुल
heads up
यूजलेस
early warding
स्किल
game
बना
should
दिए
set you up to
वोल्ट
punish this lane. All
बिल्कुल
those
यूज
little
नहीं कर
things
पा
come
रहे
into play.
Well, so far, he hasn't
अरे
really thought
डबल
about
बुश पर
leaving lane at all, just charging this Beastmaster up for Wild Axe's spam over and over and over again in the SF. It's beginning to build up. Malady has the heal, so we can take away the boars. He
उनका
can help
काफी
keep the
टैंकी
SF
हो जाते
topped
हैं
up
एक
against
बार
this
लेवल
constant
6 हो जाए
spam.
और रन
I'd
के
like to
साथ आ
see them
जाए
go for the
Still.
beast kill here. They have level 2 and enchant coming back up. You have raises. You have Lotus double fairy fire on Watson. He's not as low as he looks. I don't think you want to sit up here and let Notice continue to get chip damage on you. You want to make these big trades that are in your
एनके
favor
बग
and then make some moves elsewhere if you can.
Well, this time we got a bug inside of the game.
Well, that's the monkey
the
king.
pause.
I mean, that's the classic.
Of course.
Bug, so.
And Chiro Jr. is doing very well for himself. He's currently sitting at a CS of 23 and 12.
Very nice.
Lots of denies. I mean, we saw in game 1 a heavy laning phase lead for Pvision, largely off the Underlord and the amount of denies he got there. But Chiro Jr. is
Putting in work.
he's putting in the work.
And that's what you want to see out of this last pick. He has the early boots. He has a deny advantage, which turns into a level advantage here. Will easily outpace no one to that level 6 territory. So you're going to have a nice window to punish this Ember before he has the Remnant online. And you really have to keep a check on these supports in this game. Either support going to mid is a kill on this Ember if you get the
बिल्कुल ही
Jiggle,
लॉन्ग
which is
स्टेज
pretty reliable.
खेले कैसा है मंकी किंग को
Especially with the early Orb of
चिंगा
Frost
जूनियर
that he's been
बिल्कुल
using
ही
to
यही
keep the
माइंड
Ember
सेट लेके
Spirit
आए
in
थे
range to get those
कि
stats.
लास्ट हिट वगैरह बिल्कुल नहीं दूंगा डबल कर चुके हैं और
Double
डिनाई
bracer build up
ज़्यादा है
for DM.
नो वन को इतनी लास्ट हिट नहीं मिली है जितने
Get a little tankier down here.
इन्होंने डिनाई कर दी हैं
You need to
मंकी
get
किंग ने
these side laners as independent as fast as possible if you are Yandex. That is the MO here. The sooner that Watson and
कि
DM can stand on their own,
वॉटसन एसएफ के लिए भी काफी
you
फील
get
है
that roll
मेरे ख्याल
going,
से
play to the monkey, happy you're gonna
एन्चेंट्रेस
be.
जैसी फर्स्ट स्किल
Alternative is
खोलेगी
you
तो
bring
काफी
monkey in
डैमेज
one of these side lanes, but
देना स्टार्ट करेगी
I just think giving Ember
But,
that kind of freedom
again,
when you counterpick this
पता
matchup,
स्क्विशी
it's
हीरो
not
भी है
as
कैनाफिन
efficient. It doesn't
बिल्कुल
feel
एक
as
गैंग
good.
में ही
It's
मर
a
जाता
viable
है
option,
पता भी नहीं चलता
for
लाइफ
sure.
कहाँ जाती है
But I guarantee you every monkey king in this match was like, I want to kill this guy. I want to smack his face.
मंकी किंग
I
बिल्कुल ही
want
नहीं
to
लग
force
रहा है
enemy
चढ़े
supports
पड़े
to
हैं
try and bail out this Ember
अंदर
Spirit
पे
and join a bad engagement.
और रोटेशन
That
देते
is
थे
ideal.
कोटा
You can line it up.
Cheer Jr. I'm watching. When it comes to the CS, he's prioritizing denies. He really wants to keep no one down in experience, first and foremost.
He's a full level ahead. It's working out right now. Doesn't need the water runes either, so don't really care about rotating for those. It's all about the kill attempt.
What?
Catapults online. This is an option to look for.
Yeah, where's the Enchantress move to take advantage of this this catapult? Where's the hoodwink to try and go for the kill?
Prioritizing side laner morale right now.
That's fair enough. This Beastmaster is so annoying for SF to deal with.
Okay,
They're actually going to rotate
rotation आई है
Soxa in. He's going to
Soxa
wrap around. Soxa is going to be
मेरे
spotted here
ख्याल
by
से
9 class,
हाँ
but still
नोटिस
at
पे
the
जाएंगे
bushwhack. Lands it on Notice. One raise lands, but Jakal is coming in from back, and now they've got the 4th hero
कि
coming in.
मैं
It's
कह ही रहा
Satanic
था
with the
कि
teleport. Watson's going to
बिल्कुल
die. Gets
ऐसा
as much damage
एक
out there as
रोटेशन आएगी
possible
और
before he goes down.
दोनों
But
सेफ
his
लेन की
death
रोटेशन आ चुकी
was
है
inevitable as soon as the Ogre came in.
I'm not sure I like going to this lane. as the Yandex. To me, this is not the point you want to attack. The Furion is going to counterplay that every time. Heads up rotation from Ducalis, though. He's just already there.
Yeah, he read it really early.
That was a big difference maker. That's a big blow. Committing supports up here, and you're going to lose.
Still catching Soxa. The Lotus is not enough to keep him alive. And Malady nor Watson can go for the punish either. Now,
थोड़ा weak होता है early stages game में, लेकिन पता नहीं टाइम की भी होता है.
He's rotating over.
We talked about this before.
ज़्यादा XP over को दे दोगे तो
on this wisdom.
This is not. I think he can fight all three here.
Yeah, I think so too. In fact,
Wisdom
it's
तो
more
नहीं
of
ले
a question
पाएगा
of
ये
how many
वाली.
heroes are Pvision going to
बहुत
lose
मुश्किल
thinking
है
they can take
क्योंकि
this.
तीन
Nice
तीन लोग
forward to
दिख रहे
place
हैं.
down too. This is really cool.
Pvision could get baited in here. They don't know the monkey's already behind this play.
Well, no one
I
is
think
definitely
Wukong
saying
command
monkey's missing, guys.
देखने को मिलेगा.
Hasn't been here for
I think
a
Wukong
while,
command
but
में
do
ले
they know
डालेंगे.
he's already
We
behind
can
them
fight
right
3
now?
people.
And he's setting up. Maldy's going to bait it a little bit. Now the jump in. Chira Jr. trying to get out the Wukong's command. Gets slowed up by the fire blast. Let's see if they can get this one kill at least. And they do. The Wisdom Shrine also goes the way of Yandex. So double Wisdoms plus a kill. I think Chira Jr. was hoping that was going to be a bigger splash than it was.
He wanted a little more out of that. That's okay, though. You got what you came for. You got some Jingu to play with. Give another Boundless in 5. You can maybe look for some cheeky kill top. Soxa cleaning up the experience mid. It's going to linger up here.
Gets this low one to notice. Whoop. Actually, he stops his boundless strike for a second there. Finally gets it off. Gets the
एक
heal
और
required.
बिल्कुल
He
ही
needs
रुके हुए
that
थे.
heal. Wukong's command is going to be thrown out. Satanic trying to go for the kill on Watson. Watson and the monkey get both. CJ, he does manage to pop the magic wand, and he jumps over to one of his statues. He gets away from the Ember Spirit as no one. He blindly went to one side, hoping
ये
that he would
काफी
be able
बड़ी
to
किल
all
हो
in the Monkey King, and it
होगी
doesn't
अगर
work for
NP
him.
मरे
The outcome
और मर
is
चुके.
good for
ये थोड़ा बिल्कुल ही
as Soxa almost
दिखाते हुए
tied there
चीरा
to both the
जूनियर भाई
Treants
कि
and the
पिछले
boar,
गेम
but
की
I think
जैसे
he
नहीं
is
होगा
going to
ये.
get away.
पूरा टर्न अराउंड
Hit
लेंगे.
from this Wrath of Nature coming through. You have 6
अच्छा
on the
रूम
Fury
मिलते
on
हुए
the
एम्बर
SF
को.
still 5. You have a little carry advantage. And
कैन
Satanic
डॉज
makes it work. Does
बुश
pay
ट्रैक
with his
वगैरह भी
price.
डॉज हो जाएगा अगर
Yandex very happy to
रिएक्शंस
see
थोड़े
this
काम
Fury go
करें
down.
और
Feel like
ब्लाइंड
every time
स्पॉट
he
से
kills
नहीं आया
Satanic, it
रिएक्ट
buys you
कर
like
पाए
5
तो.
minutes in the game. Power of the Monkey King. Even getting disabled here, he didn't get the perfect strike off, but it's just so much big chunk damage coming out from these two, and then Wukong's going to be a problem.
I feel like there was a split of damage, right? No one wants to kill the monkey while Satanic is hitting the SF. It feels like they could have gotten,
Maybe a little bit.
a better situation out of that.
It's just awkward with this change in the guard. Like, it makes him a lot
Satanic
harder to bring down
ने
in the
फिनिश
Wukong
नहीं
in
किया
general.
जॉब.
So if you overcommit, he
मंकी
gets it
को
off,
मारने
the
का
fight
इंस्टेड
becomes really weird really quickly.
SF की तरफ मुड़ गए थे. शायद इसलिए
I think
थोड़ा
Pvision are also
बिल्कुल
doing
ही
pretty well in these
थोड़ी
fights.
सी
So
HP
again,
में
I
बचे थे.
don't think
एक
these
हिट वाली
early skirmishes necessarily favor them
एक
until you
हिट
have
का
a lot more
डैमेज और
support
चाहिए
levels
था.
here.
शायद
We
वो
also haven't seen
NP
the
से मिल
Kunkka
जाता
really
लेकिन
join anything
नहीं
yet.
कर सकते.
DM just quietly farming bottom. He's going for potentially first item Lotus.
Nice read of situation. Satanic
Satanic
backs out
बहुत
from defending his
अच्छा
safe
खेलते
lane
हैं
tower.
NP में.
Leaves some
बिल्कुल
treants behind to keep the tower up a
उन्हें
bit
जैसे कि पता
longer
रहता है
while
कि कब गैंग होने वाला है.
farms some
निकल जाता हूँ
neutrals
मैं
farther away.
जंगल
As a
काम
wasted
करता हूँ
movement
मस्त
is going
अपना.
to be wasted.
And this is the risk of moving the monkey to the sidelines instead
I
of having the
think
game.
1-2 मिनट में मेरे
Because
सामने
every time
निकाल
this
देंगे.
happens, the Ember gets time to catch up.
Already
Whether
highest
it's
net per
just through
chal रहे हैं. जैसे कि
jungle
देख
and his
सकते हैं
mid lane is getting
4700.
absorbed by support, or he gets to farm that
Okay.
out.
तो बिल्कुल आउट फार्म
Will
तो
result
बिल्कुल
in a nice
करेंगे ही
little tower
करेंगे.
down here with the Enchantress Roam.
और 20 मास्टर भी
Now
सेकंड
this
हाईएस्ट
means your
नेट
next
पर
move
है.
is to mid. Like,
जैसे कि
for
मैं कह रहा था
sure
कि
in this game, you have to, teams
टेम्पो
are going to think about it a lot.
रखना पड़ेगा
That
वरना
Enchantress backstab is a very natural
आउट
sequitur
फार्म
to this
करके
bottom
जी
lane
जाएंगे
volley.
ये लोग.
And DM has all the levels that he is kind of scaring these fights now. It's maxed out Tidebringer and the Ghost Ship ready to go.
If they get the Kunkka in the middle of the fight, then they're favored for sure.
Yeah.
That's a not an easy thing to do sometimes, though, in these pro games. It's just such a clunky hero early on, especially when you only have 1 point in the X. TPing into these fights with 1 point X against some of these mobile heroes like Furion, Ember, we're going to kind of choose when they commit. You're just sitting there thinking like, man, if I TP and I don't get anything here.
बिल्कुल सीधा डेथ हो जा रहे हैं. मंकी किंग डैमेज की कमी नहीं होने. डैमेज की कमी नहीं चाहते हैं शायद.
Wants no business playing that side of the map where he's likely to be interfered with by the Ember Spirit. No one has already shown that that's his game plan.
Got his courier. No Jingu though.
Catch Ducalis. Got to take these heroes out of your own jungle area as best you can.
Gotta trade Malady on the other side though. And Ducalis is probably fine with that exchange. Like, you're taking Enchantress off the map early for an Ogre. Be my guess.
Yeah.
You're way more useful than me right now.
What do you make of this very early Lotusaur for Kunkka?
That's why I was debating.
It's a good Lotusaur game. There's no doubt about that. But is it a first item kind of?
It's definitely not going to accelerate your farm or your like presence on the map.
Yeah.
Will be really nice for the Monkey King though. And if you're going to put all of your eggs in the Monkey King basket, you better make sure he has the backup to stick in the
I
fights.
think monkey को monkey इनका strong point है तो बचाना चाहते हैं. Still Lotus out जाना है ताकि कभी भी team fight हो सीधा Lotus और रखे monkey पे कभी भी road ना होने दे. तो monkey जितना alive रहेगा उतना ज़्यादा damage रहेगा उनकी team पे. खासकर Wukong कमांड में burst नहीं होने चाहिए वो.
Seeing this hero be played kind of old school beast style. Like
That's
just going
why
for this hell build up into
think
early
Kunkka
tower
is opting
pressure
for
with some nice rotations.
Lotus out.
Even when you nerf this hero, he has another style.
There's always a way out for Beastmaster, it seems nowadays. Takalas gonna be chased down on his own side of the map this time.
Ogre की तो हालत खराब कर रखी है ऐसा लग रहा
Cannot
है.
get that level
हर
6
जगह
easy, and it's
ogre ही
pushing
मिले जा
Cheer
रहे हैं.
Junior to a
Which is
faster
good.
and faster
कि
Deso.
This area
कोई
of
carry
action is
वैरी
very
नहीं मिल रहा
difficult
है.
for Pvision to access.
तो उसे भी निपटा देंगे.
Against Enchantress Monkey that can very quickly connect in these areas. If you never
ऐसे
deward
थोड़ा
some of the
मेरे
Pvision
ख्याल से अब
mobs in here,
farm
it becomes
speed
kind of a
करेगा.
death zone.
एक
Very scary
एक टाइम
place
के
to
बाद
be.
10 या 12 मिनट
But you
जैसे ही
defend your mid tier
लोग
one, it's
चलते
full
हैं पार
HP.
करते हैं
So
ऐसा
that
कि
is a
farm
big
speed बहुत
tower
तेजी
to
हो
play
जाती
around
है.
in this game for the
Lasers
Emperor.
से
You can
बहुत
always bring
तेजी से
reinforcements
farm
into
करते
a
हैं.
dive
Max
situation.
level lasers
Kind of
पे
limits where this monkey can go.
Oh, I was going to say Yandex.
बहुत ही
I feel
अच्छा
like
find
they've been
मिलेगा.
waiting. They've been trying to find a big core kill this entire time. All they've gotten is supports, but killing Satanic. That's going to do a lot for them. But they have to be able to fight their way out, and they got the roar off before the Wukong's command. Really fast
ये चीज़ मैं
rotation
कह रहा था
from the
कि
Pvision
roar
cores
आएगा
of
तो
Notice
monkey
in no
मरेगा.
one.
Instant TP. With the amp damage on no one, you have enough
मेरे ख्याल से monkey ने
firepower
भी
to turn that
थोड़ा
around before any sort of
sus play
Wukong
किया.
shenanigans come out.
Not respecting the TP. कि
Is that
TP
worth it?
आएगा
Not really.
और मार देंगे.
Giving
इससे
so much
Wukong
space to
commit
this
नहीं
Emperor.
करा
He has a
उन्होंने.
full vessel right now. Yeah,
Wuk-
you got Satanic again.
Wukong commit कर लेते तो
That's
शायद
always
बच
gonna feel
जाते.
nice. But you're losing your big accelerator in this monkey. His Desolator is getting delayed. The Ember's accelerating. This Ember's about to be higher net worth than your Monkey King in the counterpick situation. This is not what you wanted in terms of that overall game plan. Pvision just playing a little faster in this series. We're not seeing that same sort of momentum build up for Yandex that we saw earlier on, where they were just kind of turning one move into another, gain momentum. Watson has absolute free farm. There's been pressure kind of going into all of them at different points.
पता नहीं
Maybe
ऐसा
DM
ढूंढ
has
रहे
had
हैं
the
smoke
most freedom,
करके.
but he's also on the hero that kind of needs the most levels to
Pudding
get
और
activated
कुनका
here.
मिलेंगे
and
शायद.
is
Notice
probably
भी
the most
उसी
difficult
तरफ
team
जाते हैं.
involved.
Yeah, he does have a higher level
they are also
now,
smoking, but
so it is a bit easier for him
damage नहीं है.
smoke on smoke, but
Yandex
it
पे
is Pvision
monkey
once
यहाँ
again
नहीं है.
outnumbering Yandex.
SF यहाँ
And
नहीं
they are
है.
just going to head for the
3 बंदे
hills
ये
here.
damage
Leave
तो नहीं दे
DM
पाएंगे.
behind, keep the two supports alive.
When you have Vessel
Sacrifice
online,
करते हुए
Spots a
DM.
courier, that's a helmet of the Overlord that's going to be taken away. Nice pickup there by Saksa. Definitely worth
Oh, yeah.
showing on the map.
and you got Wisdom Shrines.
Yeah, very
It's honestly not a bad exchange for Yandex overall.
Pretty good, pretty good.
As Kunkka died in the corner of the map, so you're not really translating it into anything big.
Helm of
Even better,
Overlord
like
delay
Melody.
करते हुए timing.
Not the right creeps for it, but if he can maybe like cut some waves in this top lane with the creep.
Tower
That'd be
pressure
super
थोड़ा
value, yeah.
late करेंगे आप. Notice इसकी वजह से. Helm of Overlord अभी आ
Finish
जाता
up the
शायद
Deso on the monkey.
tier 2
So both these mid laners have
बिल्कुल
their big damage
pressure करने
item
लग
now. It's
जाता.
about who gets to use it better.
अच्छा courier kill है.
But this is where the Coddle can keep the Ember out on the map and power up that vessel with the
Satanic बिल्कुल ही अपने
solar bind. It
tier
becomes
2 के
pretty
पीछे
nasty in terms of
generally
that
farm
DPS
कर रहा है.
output. I guess the early Lotus on the
वहीं से
Kunkka
3 या
definitely
4
will help
5
with that
camps
too.
लगातार farm करने में लगे हुए हैं.
Yeah, both lineups feature some interesting damage amp, right? Solar binds and
Still,
axes amplifying
काफी
versus the
recovery करी है
latest
SF ने.
armor duo of SF and this Deso.
पहले
Monkey
1.5-2
King.
हज़ार
Oh, I thought you were
शायद
talking about
नेटवर्क
rabble
का
rouser.
डिफरेंस था. 1000 ही आ चुका है.
Wasn't thinking about rabble rouser.
Weren't thinking
उनका
about the
मारना
rabble
मुश्किल है
rouser.
थोड़ा.
DM defensive torrent keeps
हाँ,
him up,
हुक करके चल जाएंगे.
and he's just about to complete that Lotus. So now we can deal with that solar bind better. Maybe bounce back a roar
I think,
on the
जैसे ही
Beastmaster.
Lotus
That is the
बनेगा,
one
उनका
problem, right? They don't have a
फाइट
hard
करना
hard
स्टार्ट कर देंगे.
save if Beastmaster gets a good roar.
बिल्कुल फाइट लेंगे लोटस के बाद क्योंकि रोर के लिए उन पे वो है.
Monkey jumping away into the trees. Did they spot him? Oh, I don't think they saw him. They knocked him down. Cheer Jr. has to Wukong's command now to try and defend himself. Jumps to one of the statues, but he doesn't really have a way out here. Slight Chains is taking him down. He jumps to another statue, but the area is surrounded. They spot him on the fire blast and a blood grenade, and finally Nine Class with the blast right on through.
He almost got out of there.
Yeah, it was a close call.
Shows you how strong this monkey is, but just completely
बहुत बड़ी
isolated
kills
in a
है
bad part of the map
ये
for the
monkey
rest of
का
the team
death.
to get to. I feel like that's been the MO of the series. We just haven't really seen Yandex kind of rally around the core they want to at the
डेसो
right
की
time and
टाइमिंग
make
सेट
something
नहीं हो पा
happen.
रही है monkey की लेकिन अब आ गया होगा डेसो
Push out this mid. He's not close
Ulka
enough to get
has
caught.
more farm than monkey
And Pvision starting to group up. They have that helm back completed on the Beastmaster off of the Courier Death. You have 3 points in the Bloodlust. You have 4 points in the Chakra Magic. The enabling is here.
चेरा जूनियर का गेम बिल्कुल अच्छा
So
नहीं जा
whichever
रहा
core you're running behind with these supports is going to be a beast. Or I guess the Black Dragon will get some enabling here. That is a
Yes,
big Black
Invoker
Dragon.
Yeah, if you
वगैरह
cleared
लेते
out
तो
this
ज़्यादा
area,
बढ़िया होता है ये मैच
do you just try and force the...
This is a very dangerous Roche. This
Yeah,
is
I mean-
not guaranteed at all.
Against a Monkey King, he doesn't have Wukong's command, so they know that much.
Enchantress also with 4 points
एम्बर
healed can just
मैचअप
run
के
it
लिए भी
in front
इन्वोकर
line.
काफी अच्छा
Right,
It's
रहता है
not an easy target to bring out. quickly. You
टोर्नाडो
have to commit a
करके
vessel charge
शील्ड
plus
हटा देता है
Slowbind, likely some other spells.
Do you think
Emberka.
Pvision never intended to do Roshan? They were just trying to pull Yandex into a potential fight?
Probably yes. It's very scary to commit for that Roche without knowing where
ये
Yandex
मेयोनीर
are.
आ चुका है
Yandex are
एमपी का
playing
बहुत
very
ज़्यादा फार्म
defensively.
है
They're not giving that fight just yet, but you know Pvision is going to try and force it anyway. Slight Chains opening on Malady.
Not the guy you want to see.
Certainly
and
not.
They don't commit.
Maybe they can take this off lane to one
Enchantress
tower though.
थोड़ा
Siege
पहले
wagon
पकड़ रहे
and the
हैं तो
Beastmaster creeps
फोर्स नहीं
taking
करेंगे
for
आप
it.
फाइट
Yandex are going to play more of the map.
और एम्बर पकड़ चुके हैं
No
शायद
one trying to deal with mid wave. It's a little dangerous if he somehow gets
No.
chain stun here. There's not a lot of chain stun in this lineup. Would have to be some crisp execution to punish the Ember in this game. I feel like that has been the story of Ember this tournament. The hero keeps getting picked, keeps getting slightly counter-picked. He doesn't get demolished in lane hard enough, and then you have to play against Ember Dota, and
Yeah.
it becomes an issue. Grab a nice little shield rune here as well. This game is
काफी एक डीप
becoming
ऑप्स
a
दिख रही
little
है
bit of a
ताकि
stalemate.
सैतानिक दिखे फार्म करते
What
हुए
do you make
लेकिन
of DM's going to opt for Consecrated Wrap's second item after the Lotus?
that signals it's go time to me.
Like you were just saying 20 to 30 minutes, we
डेसो आ
have
चुका है
to
पीकेबी के लिए
get a
थोड़ा
lot done in team
आधा
fights.
कंप्लीट कर
And I
चुके
think
हैं
that is what
ऑलमोस्ट
this lineup wants to do. I think that is the correct approach.
Okay.
You have to get Roshans in that period. You have to force fights. You don't want to let this turn into some split push game where Fury and Ember are ratting your waves and somebody eventually gets picked off by Roar.
Somebody needs to frontline. Consecrated Wraps make you a lot tankier to make that happen. All he has to do is make space, right? He's got two pretty hefty damage dealers in the Monkey and SF.
For sure. You don't need
MP
more damage
TP
here.
कर रहे
You just
हैं
need to
monkey
survive
पे।
in the fight. One could argue Pipe is a little
शायद
better for your other two
अब
cores than the
बाकी
Raps
टीम
here,
भी आ
which
रही
is
है
more just for you.
Shira Jr. Oh, the slight doesn't hit him, but it got out Remnant. That's going to tag him with damage. Once again, Wukong's command used defensively. A little bit of trickery, getting closer to his team. His team will back him up this time.
That's Wukong down though.
Little
काफी लंबा
resource taken
कूलडाउन
away.
होता है वुकोंग का
But
90
Shira
सेकंड का
Jr., I mean,
1.5 मिनट तक
I
कोई
think
फाइट
he
नहीं
is
चाहिए
okay with
क्या
this
बोलते हैं
game. No fights
यांडेक्स
happening until he gets BKB.
सिंस
Which he almost has the
बहुत ही
hammer. Go
अच्छा
for a pick
पिकअप
off onto calls in the mid lane. A fast
डुकालिस
kill.
दिखाया है
Take
और
it, get
डुकालिस
out,
की
especially with that mid tier 1 tower
हवा
still
टाइट कर दी
standing. Nice little play for Yandex.
At least you get some Deso charges.
Yeah, thankfully something.
And push that monkey towards the BKB.
Trying
लेकिन
to
इस
chase
गेम
down
में
this
होकर
helmet
मिडाल
into
जा
bomb
सकते थे
creep. The Black
ज़्यादा
Dragon.
कुछ करने को मिल भी नहीं रहा है
This thing is
It's in the river now, so it is running fast.
very fast up there.
मिडाल लेट आता है काफी
So the split push this lineup has, all three cores can contribute to the lane pressure.
They're going to teleport behind DM. They're tired of this X marks the spot nonsense. It's satanic. Cast him away with a Hurricane Pike, a Lotus, and try and go for
लोटस पे
TP.
रोर मार दिया भाई
They just
जाने
roar
नहीं
right
देंगे
through it. And maybe that's the pick off that Pvision feel good enough to do Roche.
This is the style of game Pvision won. Lane's going in, someone's trying to kill a black dragon top. Someone's dealing with the wave, they got pushed to tier 2 bottom. You find a roar pick off, that's going to translate into an objective. Yandex
जैसे
cannot
जैसे
group up
लेट
and
होगा
find
गेम
team fights
थोड़ा
they want right now.
डिफिकल्ट होता जाएगा
That
यांडेक्स के
gameplay
लिए.
is just too crisp.
I think mid game timing काफी
That is where
strong
Furion
hit करेंगे.
shines. He loves this kind of,
Pvision.
you know, you have to react to me, you have to split up, and then I just get to pick my moment. And I make those moments count for a lot more because I can always clean the waves up with Wrath
और
of
तेज
Nature.
फार्म करते हैं सैटानिक. अभी भी जंगल लगातार तेजी से फार्म कर रहे हैं.
done for Watson, and the BKB
और रोशान
is
निकाल
going to
लेंगे.
be done very soon for Cheer Jr. So we are going to reach this big timing for Yandex, but once again, it's a timing that is right as Pvision are kicking into gear with the first Roshan they claim.
I don't think they should be afraid to fight into it if they can get
I
a good
think
fight
हेल्थ
going.
मॉ फॉरवर्ड लौट है.
You just can't be
रोशान है
afraid to
तो
fight
टीयर
with the
2
monkey
प्रेशर
team pick
करेंगे.
here.
जी मार्क भी कर रहे हैं ऑन द मैप. ये टॉप टीयर 2 पे प्रेशर डाल देंगे. टॉप टीयर 2 प्रेशर
Satanic
करेंगे.
straight into top. He's gonna try and put
चिराग
some pressure
जूनियर
on this
क्या
tier two.
नीचे प्रेशर
And
कर
this is the
पाएंगे
type of
और
situation
प्रेशर करके
where
निकल पाएंगे.
you can take this engagement, and you should want to take this engagement if you, as long as you can get everybody here. This is where the Kunkka can get an actual team fight, and he invested in Lotus plus the Wraps. So if I'm DM, I'm hell yeah, this guy's hit my tower. Let's take this fight. He has no BKB.
He popped the glyph, but Satanic doesn't care. It has almost brought down this tier 2 already. They're going to place some X marks to spot. Tidebringer hit. Yandex is extremely cautious.
They came up here, but they didn't take the
The smoke
fight.
is going to run into him. They hit a boundless strike onto 2 to start things off. No immediate follow-up. The bushwhack only catching the ogre. Maybe they can pick off Ducalis, and they will get that much for it.
बिल्कुल ही स्नाइप करते हुए फोटो देंगे. एम्बर थोड़ा
Too
खेलते हुए
defensive for my taste.
लेकिन
I
नहीं
think
जा
they were
सकते.
way stronger there than it showed. If anything, I think that was a little bit of a risky push for Pvision. If that fight goes wrong or they get some good angles with the Monkey Kunkka,
Yeah, they've got 2 different cores that an extra life is not that good against, right? You die and you come back, you're surrounded by Wukong's command, or maybe you're getting point-blank Requiems because you don't have a BKB yet on Satanic.
that's where I think that opening existed. He will have BKB for the next fight. You might even have the Beastmaster one. The Ember's coming as well. It'll be a triple BKB lineup. The control goes out the window. You have nothing for the BKBs in this game if you are Yandex. You're also going Enchantress Ags for the Little Friends lockdown. It's a very obnoxious spell for the Ember.
Yes.
Will he have a window to use it before Ember has a BKB? That'll be the question.
I mean, even if it means you just force him to use BKB, isn't that still kind of a...
It is still good. And it could
Fight
potentially do
हो
some
रही है.
serious damage with the
गिलहरी
beast
पकड़ने
creeps
जा रहे
all
हैं.
around to target. There's trees in this game
गिलहरी
too.
टीपी मारता हूँ लेकिन नहीं कर
It's gonna be
पाएंगे.
slide chain, stop at the TP. Another pickoff for Pvision. Yandex,
ये 2 मिनट का रोशन टाइमिंग रह गया तो मेरे ख्याल से एक और टावर लेंगे.
We're not going to force any moves
शायद
and
दोनों
potentially
tier
take
2 भी लें.
bad fights
थोड़ा
when
मुश्किल है दोनों
it's up
tier 2
to
लेना.
Pvision to, so, you know,
सबसे पहले
end the
फाइट
game.
कर लीजिए
I would say it
Pvision.
feels more that they
एन्चेंट्रेस
think that way
दिखती
than
है
not.
एनपीटीपी करते
Whether that's
हुए.
true.
Still to be determined. Malady, is he going to be able to sprink away out of this? The heals. And he's surrounded by treants. He's not really getting away, but he's not dying either. And now Satanic.
What late
They're going
fight.
to jump on a Satanic.
Roshan
Satanic doesn't
निकल
have
गया.
everybody here.
He's dead twice.
He's dead. I mean, Wukong's command plus Requiem, they're going to boat on top of him. They drop triple core ultimate.
बहुत ही डीप चले गए एन्चेंट्रेस मारने जिसे मार भी नहीं सकते थे. विद राइट क्लिक तो नहीं मरती है एन्चेंट्रेस. बहुत ही अच्छा कमबैक. जैसे कि चार्जेस भी मिले होंगे. हाँ बिल्कुल मिले. तीनों चार्जेस मिले. तीनों में कंट्रीब्यूशन दिखाते हैं.
He's just going to get melted twice. And that's the monkey matchup. Like, you drop the Wukong on him, he gets stuck in the middle, he's absolutely done. There's no way to win that matchup as Furion.
It's almost like Yandex lulled Satanic into this false sense
एक्चुअली
of
अब
security
दिक्कत
where
लग रही
like,
होगी
oh, they're not going to
थोड़ा
make any
Pvision वालों
plays.
को
I can be as
क्योंकि
aggressive as I want.
सेफ नहीं है.
You gotta respect
मे बी
when all
टफ
5 of these
वगैरह
heroes get
कुछ
to hit the
वगैरह
same
होता तो
Like, it's an
बेन
insane
वगैरह
amount of
तो
firepower. You have that
काफी
boat
हेल्प
back up,
करते
they're
हैं
going to be very
सेव करने
tanky.
पे.
Enchantress is going to cause you some issues this game. You don't have an easy way to bring Malady down on the front line. And he's going to continue to scale pretty nicely. I mean, it's an annoying game when you play all these right clickers against the untouchable, the max heal. He already has Shard. He already has Ags done. Ags is really annoying.
The very passive play from Yandex works out as they turn on the offense at just the right time. Get a good punish. Now let's see if they're able to snowball this a
ओगर
bit.
दोबारा दिख रहे हैं
Looking for another
दोबारा
opportunity
मरेंगे शायद
off this invisibility. They go for Tagalas, but the Ember Spirit was right behind him.
Doesn't matter. Too
एक
much
और
damage
डैशो
too
का चार्ज
quickly.
मिलता था मंकी
Abusing
किंग
this
को
area of the map that again is
तीन
very
चार
hard
और
for
डैशो
Pvision
का
to get
चार्ज
into.
मिल जाए तो Yandex
They've got a good
बिल्कुल ही
word. Pvision pinged
स्ट्रांग हो
the
जाएगी
SF.
बिल्कुल काटते फिरेंगे मंकी
But
किंग
they don't really have a
कोई
smoke
भी
or
अगर
anything
सामने
to
दिख
make a
जाए
play to that side of the map quickly.
Get a nice D-order on that river as well. Vision is swinging their way.
Yeah.
They're getting some good obs out. Some nice areas to play around.
बिल्कुल ही
I
मस्त
do
माना
wonder when we're going to see the early jab
एक्स मार्क
from either
करके
side at
वेव्स
this point.
लगातार फार्म कर रहे हैं
You got to be getting close to that
कोई
point if
दिक्कत
you're
नहीं है
Pvision, especially since you have an ogre.
एक्स मार्क प्लस किल एक्स
This is not
मार्क
the
ऑरेंज
best hero at utilizing net worth, so you can just buy a gem and contribute that way.
What do you mean Handamitis is so valued?
I don't think he's getting to the hand of Midas here.
ओगर
Well, the rat of the helm of the Overlord creep, it's getting worse. As
बहुत
these
ही
heroes like SF and Monkey King are able
डाउन
to hunt
रहते
it
हैं
down and kill it rather
नेटवर्क पे
quickly.
बिल्कुल
So you're
आइटम
going to lose
नहीं
some
है
of that
उनके
element if you're Pvision. What elements are you going to gain soon, though? We got
सब
some
काफी अच्छी रिकवरी करते
item
हुए गेम
pickups.
में
Looks like
अच्छी किल
Satanic
मिली
wants to
है
get a butterfly
बिल्कुल
as
ही
his
नेटवर्क
next
पे
item,
ऊपर आ
which is
चुके हैं
fair
उसकी
enough.
वजह
You have the AC and soon to be a BKB to be completed for Noticed, and no one just got his own BKB. So they've hit a timing of their own. Not enough that I feel confident taking a 5-on-5, but that's not really this lineup's forte in the first place, right? They want to split you up. Satanic, whoops. I think Cheer Jr. accidentally dropped down from the trees there, but hops away. They're going to catch Malady on the other side. Watson pops out with a Requiem, though. Oh, almost burst down Notice. Notice staying alive off some of these heals, and now gets the turnaround roar. Watson's in trouble. No one. He's going to finish him off. Jumps right on top of him. Catches Malady as well. They're coming through the gate, but it's going to be one by one for Yandex. And I think they're already making the read of the situation. Maybe this is something else. Blasted down, Chira Jr. He was trying to get off a big Wukong's command. But the speed with which Pvision brought this fight to Yandex completely surprises them. DM will manage to make the TP out. He's good, but he is the only survivor of that fight.
It started out so well with the little friends on the Beastmaster that did so much damage, but they
think
can't
Lotus
connect
खिलाया था
everybody there. They're too split on the map. The Kunkka's in the upper jungle. There's two heroes going through the gate. Pvision get here
बहुत ही
faster.
अच्छा
Read
सपोर्ट
the situation a little better.
By
than
9
Yandex
plus,
and able to take
Lotus
advantage
दिया,
of it.
बचाया
And you get
अपने को
nothing off from the Monkey King.
बचाया
No
अपने
BKB
Beastmaster
buff.
को
He gets punched out from the tree with a blinding light straight into an ogre stun.
और यहाँ पर ब्लाइंडिंग लाइट से मंकी को ट्री से भी गिरा दिया प्लेस पे प्लेस करे जा रहे हैं कोटल
They're looking at Elena Barracks here potentially. Now, the Kunkka is a problem as the heroes are coming back up. His catch is much to ignore, and the range Barracks does manage to stay alive.
All right, it's something to salvage the situation. Early Shivas on DM does make him pretty strong, gives you some extra AoE clear. You just can't get the team fight going. I still think they're stronger in a straight 5-on-5, but of course,
can you get that?
Exactly. Pvision are a very intelligent team. They're not just going to give you that fight straight up. It's always going to be some rat action happening, some summons making your life annoying.
Once again, they're trying to hunt down the Furion, and they caught him with a BKB on cooldown for a couple of seconds. They do so much magic damage that now that the BKB is up, it doesn't matter.
कभी वो पकड़ ले रहे हैं
He's
कभी
very high
ये
level in this game, so
सैनिक
he's
को
going to be
पकड़
dead
ले
for
रहे
a
हैं
long time every time you take him off the map. That gives you a minute to work with here.
You know, it's funny, it's that
नेटवर्क
exact
में अभी
play
आ
that
गया है
failed
सैनिक
earlier
अभी मेरे ख्याल
that
से
left the
निकाल
opening for
लेंगे 1
Pvision to
मिनट
get the fight at
में
top, right? The Monkey King Hoodwink trying to hunt down the Furion. They kind
नहीं
of
निकल पाएंगे सब
botch the attempted gank, and then Furion's
अभी
able to
अच्छा
go
गेम
top
दिखता
and
है
take that big
गेम
team
की
fight. Well, this time, they just run it back, and it works.
And I think this is the area of the map that all of their good opportunities are coming.
Sure, yeah.
Like, you really have to respect this lower jungle area against the Enchantress, against the Monkey King, how fast they can get in there, the vision advantage they're going to have. That is just not an area I want to farm with anybody outside of maybe Ember pushing out bottom or using some summons to do it. Kind of surprised Satanic was that deep in there with his hero. Instant roar on Shira Jr. under and obs on the cliff.
Knocking him down. All they have to do is keep him there with his BKB on cooldown from the earlier usage.
Everybody's just dying in this lower jungle.
Yeah, it is not a safe place to be, and no one is keeping tabs
विजन
on
में चले गए थे
Watson here.
मंकी सोचा नहीं होगा शायद सोच रहे थे कि विजन नहीं होगा
They're set up into the bushwhack. BKB does go off in time from no one, and now that they force that, they make a run away, and they've got to run fast too because Pvision is on their way. They're gonna catch Malady. And Yandex are thinking, well, can we actually save him here? The sprint goes off, the torrent in the bushwhack. It's enough disables that Malady has a chance here, and if they push too far forward, look what Roxon is sitting, ready to go with the Requiem and pop out with his freshly minted Daedalus.
He hits hard.
फाइट
You
कंटिन्यू
got a
नहीं
shiv
कर
on
सकते.
top of that. Mask of Madness gives you the attack speed. You have that level 20 talent. Some extra souls.
Pvision do not stumble into that, and now Satanic is trying to set up a play for Roshan, pushing this bottom lane and go for that top lane Rosh.
They're missing the Ember BKB. This is an opening. You can root him with little friends. Land a bushwhack on him. No one can potentially die with that item on cooldown. So again, they're going to start the Rosh but not commit for it. That's not a fight you want to take with some cooldowns missing.
And very easy for Yandex to keep tabs of that area. Just torrent inside the pit or throw an enchanted creep in there. Certainly no way to be able to sneak this. Shiva's for DM, and he's going to go an Aghanim Scepter next. So really just full tank and
Tank Spellcaster comes in here. Will be nice over the long run in the fight. Not that good in the initial BKB exchange.
right.
So you just got to think about when you're throwing these spells out and how you're getting some value out of them. Protect your other two cores, create some space. And Rosh getting stalled up for now as the Ember BKB back online. They'll scout it back out, but Pvision ready to fight. If the fight never comes, the Furion's cleaning up the map. So you're not in a rush here. You're not forced to make some sort of bad smoke. The onus is on Yandex a little bit more.
I mean, I would say the onus is on Yandex, but also, like, Watson also saying it kind of seems comfortable if this stalls out a bit. If he gets a BKB, like,
He'll be big.
how do they even interact with him on that first BKB team fight?
He can get roared. That is the biggest spell to potentially connect onto him with, and it's mainly Fury on right click. So he gets roared, Satanic TV's on top, just starts right clicking him down. Bloodlust gives you a lot of extra amp in this lineup. There's an AC already online. You have an Inner Beast Aura as well.
अंबर का गेम उतना अच्छा नहीं गया है. टैग्स में आने में बहुत लेट लग रहा है. 32 minutes into the game.
That's where this SF can die.
And now we're back to a game of a single pickoff, maybe leading to that Roshan for either side, right? You've got the Ember Spirit sweeping through the map. The Monkey King is doing something similar.
का गेम तो और बुरा लग रहा है. थोड़ा एक बड़ी फाइट चाहिए Yandex को ताकि स्टेबल फुटिंग में आ पाए. एक मंकी किंग का आइटम निकल जाए तो भी स्ट्रांग हो जाएंगे मंकी. थोड़ा टक्कर का मैच देखने को मिलेगा.
At least Chira Jr. goes back to farming here. You don't want to just sit there forever in a stalemate watching Satanic's net worth go up.
Yeah, again, that's largely going to be DM and Malady's post to hold.
SF BKB opt कर रहे हैं.
Eventually teleported right onto CJ there. CJ not certain he could take that fight.
Oh, there's your SF BKB.
He's got his BKB, soon to be a basher on the Monkey King, while Satanic is working on a damage item here. Wants Daedalus next.
He could potentially also hold buyback on the Furion. You force the Rosh fight with 2 lives, even if you get caught by some
Ember
beagles.
Spirit. He sees the Monkey King going through the gate, but he didn't actually complete the gate. CJ baiting it a little bit. Now he's going to back off. Again, if
no damage done,
the Monkey or the Ember Spirit make a wrong move here in their attempt to find a pickoff, get picked off instead. The Yandex actually could it be the ones to try and force the Rosh here a little bit. DM gonna brave the high ground, seeing how tanky he is. Lotus removing that solar bind.
they don't see this ward on the cliff.
That's a dangerous ward.
It's a very nice
Especially
ward.
since it spots Chira Jr. Though he gets slighted and he's gonna start backing off.
You know, you could potentially slight cut his tree.
Yeah,
You really have to be careful on these deep obs. It's going to time out now.
yeah, that is very good timing for Yandex. That it naturally expires. Spots him, gets the Quelling Blade. That's what we're talking about here. Now the Will-O-Wisp trying to force that BKB, but they give him Lotus, give him a Force Staff, and he's perfectly fine. Another slight change on a bunch of heroes.
Put the Enchantress in first. Try and gain some information.
How far is too far? Malady.
Oh, he's tanky.
Yeah, he really is. They cover him nicely.
काफी
And this
चौड़े में
entire
आगे
time,
जाते हैं.
Furion
पता
is
है
just
मरेगी
biding his
नहीं.
time. If nothing really shows here. Ooh, trying to sneak it? Trying to sneak it here, but again, there's too much vision. that Yandex has.
He's stuck there though. You got to man up for it now.
It's kind of awkward now. The bushwhack grabs him. Watson challenging, no one on the side, able to hit the sharpshooter onto Satanic, and Roshan's out of here. Ember Spear jumping right in the middle. They do manage to get the roar onto Watson. No immediate follow-up though. It's going to be Watson fine here. Thinking about the Requiem, but the entirety of Pvision have backed away. This is no longer a Roshan fight, as it's gone to the other side.
तो एमपी को फिनिश कर सकते थे
if you're Yandex.
अगर अंदर घुसते मेरे ख्याल से विजन नहीं आया एमपी का ये रोशान पिट के अंदर थे
Ember out of remnants.
And it's solo as well.
You can just Wukong for this.
They do have Blink. Notice, he's looking for his timing. He goes in, pops the BKB. No, it's Watson to grab the Aegis. And now the Wukong's command, notice, will not make it out alive. And once they're in the pit, there's no way out.
They're going to lose Gem on
Yandex.
top of a bad team fight and Roshan.
Even
बिल्कुल
no one sticking
4000 की
around a
नेटवर्क
bit.
की
Still
बिल्कुल ही
gets
खत्म
look
कर
at him
देंगे
on the turret.
What a
They've
snipe.
all up. They've got the bushwhack and the sharpshooter to knock him down. A double for the Slim Reaper.
They were so patient.
आई थिंक उन्हें ये
on
फाइट
that
लेनी
Roshan.
चाहिए थी बीकेबी था नहीं एमपी के तो वो शो बिल्कुल नहीं
Jumped
करेंगे
first there was going to end up
और
losing the exchange.
रोशान तो बचा ही नहीं सकते वुकॉन्ग डालेंगे तो
Took the bait. He went in
कुछ नहीं
that
कर
pit,
सकते
but he doesn't kill Roche fast enough before it starts to change sides. You almost had the BKB, the bushwhack, to try and commit there, and there's no way you make that call. Then you're left in a very bad situation with no roar. I don't think you can take this fight.
रोशान
You
ने
almost get
ऑलमोस्ट
the
प्ले
Aegis
कर दिया था
snipe,
वैसे ही एंडेक्स से
but even
डिसार्म
if you
करके
snipe Aegis, you're not winning this exchange. There's nothing for Satanic to TP into here.
Yeah.
Like, power of the monkey and the SF around this pit. Their lineup is really scary when they can just set up on that objective and force
बहुत
you
ही
into
अच्छा
that.
torrent
That's kind of what they've been looking for all game.
दिए
The fact that they got that +1 on the Ember kill, like Ember and Furion, they don't join that fight and they just push out waves, right?
It's a big streak too. Someone got a lot of gold off of it.
Yandex काफी अच्छा
Soxa
खेलते थे
gets an extra 800 for the AX.
Even
Yes,
though-
sir, he is very farmed now.
लेकिन
Aghanim's
थोड़े बहुत मिसप्लेस कर रहे हैं तो
got Wind Waker build up for
आई थिंक
Soxa.
सैटानिक जिसके लिए फेमस है
This game is scary.
आउट फार्म
for
करने
Pvision
के लिए
right
लेकिन
now.
वो गलती कर जा रहे हैं तो यहाँ पर भी फंस चुके हैं
Satanic gets him, but of course Soxa has Scurry.
There's no way you're confident in your Furion scaling against Monkey and SF in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a little bit of help from Aurora. You have a couple buffs. This Ember is going to become a late game menace. But in terms of the physical man-fighting power, Monkey SF reigns supreme right now. So if you can keep them alive and just play around the Wukong, there isn't really going to be an
late
opening for
game
this Furion
अगर
to
ऐसे
take
ही
that fight.
चलता
You have
रहा
to kite around these ultimates. You have to pick a really smart
तो
angle.
एनपी इतना अच्छा स्केल नहीं करता है क्योंकि
Satanic and Aegis, and
काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग लास्ट हिट कर
he's
रहे हैं
halfway there to 25.
Monkey और
These are
SF
massive
दोनों
upgrades for the
बहुत
SF.
बुरी तरह मारते हैं
Like before you said, okay, you
Cannot
could still kind of
man
all
fight
in
on
the
a,
SF
you know,
roar, and Satanic
on a
just hits
same
him down.
network
Well,
with,
there goes that.
NP.
There's no way they can operate off of that game plan now. It's up to Pvision to outmaneuver Yandex, dodge this straight 5-on-5. DeCollis is going to be spotted by the Monkey.
See ya. Not getting out of that one.
Don't forget, these are still more Deso charges. He's ramping up at 18 now.
You get some Necromastery, you get some Jingu,
Yeah.
you get some Deso.
Got to deal with the top lane. It's going to be Range Barracks finally dying.
Creep pressure adding up. They'll send the monkey back. This will signal vacating bottom. You already have a Hex on the Kunkka too. That's a lot of extra control in here. Hex on the Beast, so Hex for both offlaners. Definitely helps your single target initiation. I just think you only have this Furion to get in there and deal the damage. Like, there's so much pressure on Satanic to basically have perfect team fights.
हाँ 10,000 एक टाइम पे 10,000 की नेटवर्क ली थी काउंटिंग इंडेक्स
Do you feel
मतलब
like
पीविजन पे
25s could solve
सारी
some of these
बिल्कुल ही
issues
खत्म
for
कर दी है
Pvision? Say the
अब ये
25 on
गेम
Ember Spirit, right?
ज़्यादा
Where it's just
Yandex
spamming
का
out
है
remnants
क्योंकि
non-stop.
ऐसा
Like, you
बहुत
have to
हार्ड
find
हिट
ways
करते
to pick
हैं
up scale and really
25
do
लेवल
course
भी हो
this
चुके
game
हैं
if you're Pvision. More consistent disable, more ability to assassinate the backline. This is just a difficult backline to assassinate.
Yeah.
आई
That's why
थिंक अब
Enchantress
एक
has
ही
a great
विनिंग
matchup
कंडीशन है
against Ember. I think
पीविजन
it's
की
one of the
कि ऐसा
supports that Ember just
वो अगर
never
पहले
really
मारता है
threatens. Like you doing this
जो कि
remnant
बहुत मुश्किल
dash
होगा
spam.
खासकर
He's just
वुकॉन्ग
sitting there
कमांड
with
में
you.
और
So
विद
what?
एजिस तो इम्पॉसिबल है
Come at me. The Hoodwink, maybe
Pante
you can
unless
assassinate this Hoodwink, but even
they
then, he
get
already has Yules.
आउटप्लेड
He has
मंकी
Psychic
पहले मार
Headband.
दे फिर
The
जाके
Wind Waker
एसएस
is such
वगैरह
a
पे जाए
cool choice, such an early item.
इन
yeah,
मंकी
it's
में
great.
आना
It's
भी
great.
मुश्किल
Support
होगा
to grab.
अगर
One of the best
टीम
items
के साथ
against the
खेले तो
Beast
आई
for
थिंक इम्पॉसिबल ही
you
है
can
ऑलमोस्ट
manage
मारना
to get here.
रोर
Again,
काम नहीं
you're just
करेगा
about
क्योंकि लोटस
protecting your
वगैरह
SF,
देखते
protecting your
रहेंगे
Monkey King. If these two heroes are
अगर
alive
कुछ
and
और
hitting people,
इन पे
you're
कुछ
winning the fight.
वही है कुछ और
Yeah, but
रिलायबल
what
है
about
नहीं
the Ogre scale?
ओगर पे ब्लिंक नहीं है तो
What about the ogre scale?
जाके स्टन लेना भी बहुत
ogre
मुश्किल है,
scale I'm not aware of?
लेकिन छोटा स्टन होता है, इतने में मरेंगे भी नहीं इस मंकी।
Man, we need the Midas.
No, there's just there's no way he could have gotten at this game.
Yeah, but think about it, for the 60-minute items, you can get those mad stones so quickly.
I don't want to think about it.
I think हैक्स बना चुके हैं उनका, अब तो एम्बर की भी पिटाई कर
Will
देंगे।
Yandex hit high ground? It seems as not to be
कहीं
with
पर
the
भी
Aegis
किसी
anyway.
को
They
भी
can still
कैच
go for
करेंगे,
it,
सीधा
but
मार देंगे।
Yandex have shown to be pretty patient in this game too.
Oh yeah.
We
think
were
Ember is
concerned
showing
about their lack of
मतलब
aggression
bushwhack
in
यहाँ
some of these
land
early
हुआ,
games, but
डेड है
they're
एंड
chilled out and they have put themselves in a winning spot here with a 2,000 net worth lead. They may not sound like much, but against this kind of lineup,
कहीं
it does
थोड़ा
mean a
टीम
bit
से अलग
more.
घूमते हुए।
One of the most important things in Dota is that you feel comfortable
विजन
with your game.
विजन भी है,
It doesn't
विजन
have to
नहीं
be
है।
the theoretical best game plan that your lineup has, but as long as everyone's comfortable, you know what you're playing for. If you believe
क्या
in
बात
your
है, सेंट्री
scale,
डिवॉर्ड नहीं कर रहा।
sometimes you just scale harder, you know, because you
Yandex
see
वाला।
it. They're definitely seeing it here, and I do think there is a lot of truth in that too. I think the scale is gonna come on quite nicely here because the Monkey King is so fat.
Also the supports too, right? I mean, Malady can start turning into a right clicker.
Monkey
He
King
has
ने
so
सारा
much
गेम
gold, he
रिकवर
almost
कर
has a
लिया अपने इस
hurricane
गेम
like
का,
to be completed.
And it's a
जितना
good
पीछे
chance
हुए
this
थे,
game they
एक
don't
टाइम
have
में
an easy
एम्बर से
way
भी
to
नीचे
take
चल
him
रहे
out.
थे।
This is not a hero that the cores
अब
want to
उनका से
commit
भी
so much
ऊपर
of their
आते
team fight time to. And so you put him on the front line every time, he's going to be a nuisance. Almost has 20 talent as well. Can
I
get
think
a tank
एम्बर
here if he
को
wants.
पकड़ेंगे।
Aggressive Yule.
Yeah, Blink Yules immediately is met by a roar. Found the strike down, but no one is committed as BKB to get this support kill. It doesn't happen fast, but they do get it.
That was just a misread, I think.
I
They
think
thought they were
chase
more
नहीं
split up
करेंगे।
than they were.
Sure. Thought Ember, Spirit, and
एम्बर का
Furion were out
BKB
on the
भी
map,
use करता
ranting
है।
and stuff, but
In which case, that's a fine way to start the fight, but Pvision were just all there. Squirrel will bite the dust as little breathing room.
does give Pvision an opportunity here. They push out a bit more on the map, take back their triangle, and may have an opportunity to keep these pickoffs coming. It's 45 seconds till the Hoodwinks back up. You've got this Blink Sight on the Beastmaster, so they've got this spooky hard initiation. And the counter to that is supposed to be that Wind Wave.
Satanic took Bauble, huh? Interesting.
Okay.
Might show you some long-term plans here.
Well, certainly not going to need the cooldown reduction. He's almost 25.
That's what I was saying. Like, what are you looking to bauble with here on a Furion? Is not
इतनी ज़रूरत है ये
the
स्मिथ
best
पे की।
bauble target.
रोशान भी खत्म हो चुका है SF का, तो
I guess you can infinitely bauble
कैंसिल
Audacious or
करके
something. Is that
चार
even a
पे
thing?
घुस चुके हैं। चार निकालेंगे
I
टूर्नामेंट
feel
से।
like bobble possibilities are relatively unexplored.
तो नेटवर्क
That's
अपनी साइड कर रहे हैं।
Take a quick tormentor. So
इस मास्टर का शार्ट मिला है।
do a pretty good job. One support
Decent
pick
शार्ट
off.
होता है।
Feels like they got a decent amount of gold off the map. Swept through large areas, took an objective.
It's a 1k gold difference in this game. Very even. But there's a large level advantage for Yandex and just the feel of the game. Feels like their cores are hitting a little harder right now. They got to that SF25. They're going to get to the Monkey 25. Two big talents in this game. Maybe the biggest.
Yeah. They'll
For
be
the
able
raises
to
of the
leverage that
Wukong.
for another Roshan.
This Wukong ring is just... I don't know, you go in Roche, you park down this Wukong. Who goes into that?
Yeah.
Who is going to run into that thing and do anything in this game? It looks impossible.
Nullifier for DM's Kunkka.
All control for the two other damage dealers. And they're just waiting for Roche. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
We don't have to force anything. We know how strong we are around that objective. The way we end this game is with an Aegis on one of the two big damage dealers, likely the Watson SF. And then we can go high ground. So the onus is on you right now, Pvision, to make something happen in this game, disrupt the status quo. One of the ways they might be able to do that around the Roche pit I talked about earlier is just spamming buybacks into that
उन्हें पता है
objective.
दोनों टीम के कैरी कोई सा भी पकड़ना आ जाए तो एकदम मारने का पोटेंशियल है दोनों टीम पे, बचाना थोड़ा मुश्किल है, इसलिए बहुत केयरफुली खेल रहे हैं। डैमेज डीलर भी दोनों पे एक ही है,
I mean, that's one of the things you play for with the late game Furion because you're just running out of item slots. Did tank the
डैमेज
trade
डीलर
damage
शायद
HP, by the way,
Yandex में
so
मंकी किंग भी है
the split
जो
push from
काफी
the
डील
trees is going to
करेंगे।
be a little stronger with the 25 talent. which is nice. Again, if
लेकिन
you could ever
थोड़ा
split Yandex
एग्रेसिव हो
up,
सकते हैं हम
that's another
Yandex.
way to take a team fight. I just think that is the less likely approach because
Uber
we're at the
is
point in the
still
game where even
lacking on
if you
items.
rat that top ranks, the Yandex are not going to
काफी
respond
खराब
to it
network,
in the middle of a
काफी
roach
खराब
fight.
गेम जाता हुआ
They'll give
उनके
up
लिए.
some buildings to get the bigger
अब
objective
थोड़ा
here.
network almost double
But
है
those
उन
are some
लोगों
big
के.
tomatoes.
Ooh,
Look at him go.
Wing almost double है
MKB
होकर
for
के
the Monkey King
मतलब
with
बिल्कुल
level
ही
25.
खराब
So the
गेम जा रहा है.
butterfly from Satanic is a lot less effective, and they're going to hit him with the boundless
I
strike. Follow up
think
the
Hex
invisible
Vex
blade,
भी
that's
है तो
enough.
बिल्कुल
They
dead
don't
करेंगे.
need many
Basher
stuns.
They missed the
Abyssal
bushwhack too, so that was
बहुत
really important. You had the
control
full
है.
abyssal there with the chain stunning, and there's the
I think
overwhelming
Ember
physical
needs
damage.
to
And the pickoff they need to
push
very,
lanes
very
a little
confidently
bit more
take that
careful
Roche.
because
He's solo killed him.
अगर ऐसे
he
wave
did
के साथ
scare.
जाके push करेंगे तो
2,500
Chance है कि
damage.
I mean, the contribution is
बिल्कुल ही पकड़ के
whatever, right? Like you probably needed it to get
पिटाई
there,
कर
but
दी जाएगी.
that shows you how much DPS Chira Jr. is doing in this game.
Yeah, in the future, it could be Cherry Jr. sets up on no one, and if he Wukong's commands and then boundless strikes Abyssal Blades, like then he may be really cancel.
Oh, for sure. He can 100 to 0 basically anybody in this game with a preemptive Wukong. That's going to be harder to do, but
And that's a really big problem because
viable.
it affects how much you're able to play the map, right? Like every single time
GD
he
मिला है
pushes
शायद एक
out,
और
he
रोश
knows
लेंगे.
he's taking his
Early
life
रोश
into his
आया
own
है.
hands.
and here's a free Roshan off of that snipe.
Yes,
Amp
sir.
damage in the river.
It's going to make it super fast.
No ability
I
to
think
react to
Dota
this.
वाले
There
भी
goes your potential
Yandex
to
का
try
साथ
and
दे
make
रहे
something
हैं.
happen around that objective.
Early रोश मिला है
As you see
बिल्कुल
the
ही.
map position for
और
Pvision,
साथ में
it's
DD भी.
very defensive and it's been
ताकि
defensive
जल्दी
for
मारो
some time.
और गेम खत्म करो.
I mean, you haven't noticed literally like backpacking his AC just to try and hide the
यहाँ पर I
aura to
think
get
they
some
have
sort
a
of
very
opening in this game.
advantageous
Oh,
position.
yeah, that's a cool play.
Actually
You gotta do all
finish
the
this
little
game.
things to try and salvage something here, but you do have 5 buybacks available right now. So there's a lot of extra gold sitting on these heroes. That's a pro and a con, right?
Sure.
Not as strong in the team fight,
Monkey
but
Kings
if
count
it's a high
करते
ground
हुए
situation, you can abuse the extra
think,
lives. Could come in handy.
मैं ऐसा लग रहा है
Yep.
कि इस
Or
साइड
it means we're going to have a fresh round of items, which
Feeling
there's
it.
one of them, Scythe of Ice for 9 class. They are going to have a lot of
गलत
Scythe
नहीं
of
सोचना.
Ices because Notice is trying to double up on
ठीक
his
back करते हुए
with a
फिर यहाँ पे
refresher.
bottom
Well,
tower push
double
करेंगे.
up on the Roar. Roar, Scythe, Roar. That's a long time to be stunned.
Get an ogre scythe in this game. You multicast it. Anything's possible.
Yeah, he also wants the Scythe, but
His is going to be the slowest build up here for sure.
Watson
Because
almost
his
40k
you
network
really
like
don't
ogre
think
grind.
at 47
that
minutes.
it's worth. You have level 3 multicast. You don't think the minus pays for
It's worth it. Yeah, I think he probably should have gone in when you recognize this game is going to go really, really long. He probably regrets it now, you know. But
Well, no, I'm just saying.
तो
What
बहुत तेज
is
से
it worth
barracks
buying
उठाए
right
हैं.
now? Because level 3 multicast can pay it back so quick.
Rat
honestly,
strategy
it
करते हुए
probably
थोड़ी
is. There's an argument if you
Pvision
can somehow get this hex and make it
ताकि
work
timer में
instantly in
लाया
a
जाए.
fight that.
मैं पता था
fight
कि
is just
अगर
slowing you
bot
down.
पिकेंगे तो
Yeah.
bot push कर रहे हैं.
But I don't know. I think the way you win this game is some ultra late game shenanigans, and it has to get really weird.
Satanic trying to get MKB to answer the butterfly on Watson. He has to be able to hit this SF because they are very much all in on the single target disables to lock down this SF, and then Satanic to deliver the damage.
And of course, the high ground's still pretty scary here. You're going into unknown buyback territory. You only have the one Wukong to throw out. There's no refresher here for the monkey. You can park Watson on that high ground, but he's gonna just get hexed into some burst damage. And then you're in a situation where do we take this fight with a hexed SF? Are we leaping behind a tier 3 into buybacks with a Monkey King?
मतलब refresher shard
It just looks
काफी
really weird. At the same time, I
थोड़ा
think you
बहुत
want to force
complex
that fight.
हो चुका है
Like, you're not
क्योंकि
getting too much stronger on your
monkey
2
का
cores here.
Wukong ज़्यादा better रहता है.
So this is the time to make something happen.
लेकिन रम भी काफी
Either
अच्छा है.
make some crazy smoke play, try and find
Double
a pick off
torrent,
into the high ground like we saw
double
the Ember die
control.
earlier.
मतलब X mark.
Try and bait
शायद
Pvision
वो
out of
सोच
the
रहे हैं कि
base.
एक ही
You can
Wukong
manage that
command में
somehow.
fight खत्म
You
करेंगे.
can just drop a banner and like mega slow siege it. That is another option for sure.
Watson hitting the tier 3 makes this a very fast siege.
Yeah, he's got the bonus attack range off alert. That definitely helps the high ground siege here. That plus the Hurricane Pike, you can sit mega far back. Throw the potato up there.
Trying to catch the Ember.
There's the potato Revenge Aura.
There it is.
One
Yeah.
of the best spells in Dota. And it's gone.
Banner almost dead, but not quite. Continuing the assault now onto the barracks.
This is where it's dangerous.
Watson braving that high ground.
Oh,
And they're going to aggressively force tap into the site. And they try and get him out, but the nullifier's placed onto him. He's already dead already. He does manage to get away, keep the Aegis intact for now. Does not use the Satanic. Still has his BKB in his backpack.
So nothing lost there, but that was an interesting damage test. It really showed that Pvision can kill him quickly.
That's why it's so scary. There's just so much chain hex potential, and then you have to make a call if you're jumping deep or not. They bail him out. No harm done, but you don't get that Rax.
There will never be a save, right, that is actually can be used against Scythe of Ice Nullifier, right? They get him. He's not BKB'd. You can't Wind Waker,
Yes.
can't Force Staff.
You have to just commit to the fight. They do have a refresher shard from
I
that
think
Roche, and they did give it to
team समझ में
Tier
आ
2,
गया
so
है
you
कि
technically have
Pvision
double
को
Wukong here.
फाइट लेंगे नहीं तो रैड वगैरह जाके
Again, this
open
is
up
kind of your
करेंगे
timing to end the game right now. You have a minute on this
open up
Aegis. The
करेंगे
high road doesn't get
तो
easier when this
I
Aegis
think
expires.
then शायद
That's
किसी
not
को
sure.
सोलो पकड़
Now
के
the
मार दे
MKB is done for Watson.
उनका टीम
They get to this high ground fast enough to
person who
force
is
Pvision to
going
fight
back for
into the
the
Aegis. Will Pvision
constant push up and
get a quick execution on him, or will they just give up the lane of barracks in exchange for Aegis expiring? A whole lot of very important decisions to be made in this next 30 seconds, or we're just going another round and wait for Roche.
तो
And the thing is,
का
if you're
थोड़ा
not
फायदा उठाना
decisive, something
चाहिए
is going to be pushing your top lane.
Yes.
And you might lose a Rax off of the indecision here. They're going to send Watson up
just
again.
marches forward. Another aggressive
again
force out into
9
the side.
class
And pushing it
shenanigan
in deeper. That's going to be
बढ़िया
that
पोस्ट
Aegis.
था
He has to slot BKB in. There's a 1.5 second difference here if he gets hexed again.
They're
मतलब
gonna
ये
get another
रोशन
side
बिल्कुल
initiation on him.
यूजलेस
But
करवा
of course,
दिया
if he gets out, they don't have another nullifier to stop those saves.
कुछ
So
नहीं कर
better to
सकते
wait for the nullifier to be back up.
But what do you do now? You committed another banner. You have catapults here.
I mean, maybe it's time to drop the Wukongs.
Maybe it's time to force Satanic into you. Give him a taste
I
of
think
medicine.
चढ़ जाना चाहिए था
You got to do something to
Satanic
break
से
the formation here.
It's really difficult for the Monkey King to get close to this fight against the Ember Spirit. It's just too dangerous.
Oh, and look at this. The creeps went tops. They immediately smoke off of this play, trying to catch some stragglers. That play is really hard to make work. You have to be very preemptive with it. You kind of have to pre-read when they're going to back up and like already be smoke wrapping as the first guy TP's top.
Yeah, you do it too early, you run into 5 heroes. That's not what you wanted.
Yes.
You do it too late, well, that's maybe a smoke potentially wasted. As in this case, Yandex do manage to retreat fast enough and
Very
make
cool
a
idea.
smoke play of their own now behind the tier 2. 9 class is going to break. Will-O-Wisp breaking the trees. That's the danger of this Monkey King versus these heroes.
Can't commit
A lot
into
of
that,
good
though.
ways to break out the trees, and it just allows them to retreat.
All space for the Ogre Magi farming out bottom.
That's right, that's right. Getting closer and closer to that site. You imagine he gets a multicast Force Staff, multicast Scythe of Ice?
All right, you're getting ahead of yourself. That's a real Ogre pipe.
अरे
Oh, got him on the Boundless Bash and Abyssal Blade.
बहुत
He's dead.
बहुत ही किस्मत खराब कह सकते हो
My God.
Another huge find in this game. He does have buyback available, but you're going to get a lot of map control off this, which might be more valuable.
Yeah, notice is pushed
किस्मत
out the
खराब
bottom
कह
lane
सकते
enough.
हैं
Somebody's going to have to
कि
deal with it, but the death
No
timers are
one
so
की
long. It's easy to
बाउंडलेस
deal with the
पे
pressure of the
पहला
lanes.
हिट बैश पड़ गया
Do you force the high ground?
I mean, you got it, right? It's either you
मतलब
do it during
कितना
Roshan
ही
or you
देखने
do
को
it
मिलता
during
है
heroes
हम
being
लगे
dead
रहते
and
हैं
forced
रैंक
buybacks.
में अपना
Man,
बैश
what
नहीं
a
पड़ता
bash. That's just,
हाँ देखो
Hand
पहला
of Dave
हिट
himself.
yeah.
बाउंडलेस में वो भी दूर से और बैश
They have bots too on the Kunkka, so
Cut
he's
down the
dealing with
tree.
waves. He can join.
Trying to get an aggressive Force Staff into the base here with the Will-O-Wisp turning him around, but he
just
did get
died.
turn back and he's just dead.
What?
And their Requiem doesn't cover him. They do manage to force out
Oh,
Satanic
nice.
here. Satanic pops his BKB. And now
Without
it's a man fight between
Monkey का
Watson and Satanic, and they're not winning it easy with the numbers advantage
Wukong
that
खुले मार दिया
Pvision have.
पता भी नहीं
Gotta
चला
feel comfortable with this. They've got still a Satanic to be used on Watson. He
just
pops it
used
now,
it.
but he needs to use his BKB.
I
Otherwise,
think
it's like the
Satanic
might just
might
die.
also
Wind Waker's
die.
gonna be popped.
Doesn't
It's,
that-
Satanic is almost gone, and even as he pops the BKB, can't get any life steal down. Pvision pick off one after another, a third to die. And just like that, Pvision back in the driver's seat.
If you go high ground again, at this point you have to just jump them. You can't slow siege this. There's too many hexes, too much control. This Monkey King got obliterated at long range from Satanic. Just get laying in with the right clicks. He has so much attack range himself.
Monkey King
Texas, these four staffs, they're deadly on the high ground siege.
I think buyback
Malady.
देखने को मिलेंगे I think SFB buyback करना पड़ेगा तो
But
वो
there's
buyback
certainly
जाएंगे
more to come as all of these lanes, all 3 of them are being pushed in. You're going to need some cores up to defend, otherwise
He got to the Ogre Hex.
you got it. You
I
got it.
cannot believe he got here.
Treants are hitting tier 3s. Beastmaster creeps are hitting the melee barracks top. Another 14 seconds till the Monkey King's back up. DM. His X will pull him out of range here, but it's still the building down.
एक मेगा देते हुए.
The first lane of racks going to Pvision here. Off some sick.
I think ये टावर ले आएंगे.
The Monkey's back up, but they will
मेगा
not
नहीं कर
retreat.
पाएंगे.
And now
लेकिन
it's
टावर
20
शायद ले
seconds till the
आएंगे.
SF. Trying to hold off. Another tier 3 is going to fall here. Soxa taking advantage of the slight retreat there from Pvision. Tries to grab Satanic before they can get away. They're out.
They're just using items better right now. They're getting more value out of this 4-staff hex itemization than Yandex have gotten out of all of their overwhelming firepower. It feels as if they need more Lincoln's
9
Lotus is
class तो
something.
भाई
Just prevent that initial goal, or you just jump and start the fight on your terms. Like
God
you
level
just
खेला भाई 9
heat
class.
yourself in, drop
बार
a
बार
Wukong
4
stun,
स्टार करके
instant
अंदर ला
BKB,
रहा
and
है.
don't allow these hexes
Just
to have
as
that advantage that they're having right
Stun
now.
hacks कर देता
But you
था.
gotta have some sort of game plan. Because look at the committal. No one's even committed in this fight. Like they're poking you. You're getting sprouted. You're getting changed. You're getting solar bound. There's a Will-O-Wisp pulling you back in. Now all of a sudden, the second you're hex, Satanic commits the
Ancestors को
long
देख के
range
तो
right
तरस
clicks.
आ रहा है भाई.
There isn't a
लगी
clear
हुई है
turnaround
मारने
opening in these
पे.
fights.
कुछ डैमेज ही नहीं पड़ रहा.
Well, let's see what
Notice
Yandex learned from that. Is it never go high ground, or is it going to be the better item usage? We do have the Lincolns being built by Malady. He recognizes the problem that they have. He also has just hit level 25 off another round of Wisdom, so he's got extra impetus damage. Same goes with Soxa with the Sharpshooter, so they certainly have their own burst damage. The problem's just been finding the initiation, which is hard to get when you're the one sitting on the low ground.
I like the Lincolns. Again, recognizing the situation. I think it will come down to, can you start a fight on your terms? Can you get this Wukong placed down on top of some heroes, stun some people up, and pop BKBs and get the job done? I don't think you can afford to let Pvision continue to play the poke game here. Their long-range poke is really causing you issues.
एक
You
मेगा हो
don't have a
चुका
good
है.
response
एक
to
का
it.
टावर जा चुका है tier 4. मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा लंबा जाएगा ये गेम क्योंकि
This top lane is
कैंप
such a
करेंगे
nuisance.
Yandex वाले. उन्हें पता है अगर बाहर कहीं
Means the
निकले
Kunkka
तो
just has to sit up here until the
सीधा
fight starts.
NP का डर रहेगा कि
The
हमेशा
Yandex
कि
can't
कहीं
have
मेगा ना
anyone
कर दे.
on that front line.
स्मोक
With
प्लेस
the
करेंगे
hex,
तो
it's just not
कहीं
nearly as
सी
easy for DM to
कहीं
connect with
फाइट
this because
पिकअप
he's not there
करी
at the
वहाँ
start. Someone has to
NP
deal with the
बिल्कुल ही
wave pressure
TP
in this
करके
game.
मेगा कर देगा.
Still have a cheese, still have some big Lotuses here.
फाइट एक्सटेंड नहीं कर सकते, बर्स्ट करना पड़ेगा.
Fresher, so you have
बहुत
the
चीज़
roar
है.
hex roar, you have the coddle hex, you have the potential multicast hex.
बहुत ही कंट्रोल आइटम्स बनाए हैं
Really
मैंने.
out of sight device, man. I think my favorite part about this is this is a discussion, a decision that was made like 20 minutes ago.
Oh yeah,
right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
You got a plan for it.
Ogre was working on this for a while. They were on the back foot, and they saw their way. They saw this game was going late. How do we itemize in order to give ourselves a chance to win these late game fights? Mass scythe device it is.
मेरे ख्याल से कमिटमेंट की थोड़ी
It's the
दिक्कत आ
sign of
रही
an
है.
elite team. Your ability to itemize yourself out of the
Nullifier
hole, out of
वगैरह
the situation,
चाहिए.
come up with a solution.
वो स्टाफ वगैरह
This late
ताकि
game is
चढ़
not
पाए,
easy
किसको
going against
नलिफाई
all
करके
this
सीधा
SF
मार पाए.
monkey scale. You really have to have a good idea of how you're going to play the fights and how you're going to use your net worth to mitigate
अगर
their
यहाँ NP
physical
मिल गया तो
advantage.
अरे
So they're doing
दोनों
exactly
मिल गए.
that.
To defend your high ground, it's a whole nother to take a team fight.
अच्छा
That is
पूरी
out
टीम
on the
फाइट आ
map.
चुकी है.
Into potential
They
buybacks.
try and get the initiation. Got it on the Monkey King. He's nullified for now. They can't control it though. He got off his BKB. Wukong's turned around. The roar placed on the SF. The SF is dying. And from a
सब
distance,
पे रोड पड़
Satanic
गया.
will bring him down. Now with the SF gone, bring a
दो
back in for the
और
Dino Wave.
दोनों मार
What a
दिए.
play from DM showing up big there. Being able to get two different pickoffs and now
Wukong
no one
कमांड
has
की
to
टाइमिंग
buff his
खत्म होती है.
BKB
आई
off
थिंक
an
हाँ
Aeon disc
वापस
pump.
फाइट लेंगे ऐसा
Gems
डेड
on
है.
the ground. Malady will grab one of them, two of them in his inventory, a third left to the ground.
Honestly, not the worst exchange for Yandex. Yeah, you lose your SF, but you get double support buyback as they commit him instantly to go for this Roshan. And yeah, sick tidal wave from DM, pulling you back into this Wukong. You really have to maximize the Wukong value in this game. He does have a refresher shard. This is a Rosh you can contest. You can commit the SF buyback for it. Get another Wukong.
It requires the Monkey King to be in a position, though.
It's very tough.
His
You don't have a
nemesis has
smoke.
been 9 class with this Will-O-Wisp. He can't hop into these trees and get close to the pit easily. There it
he got
is.
his
He knocks
tree
it
cut.
down right there. They stop him from being pulled off of the cliff. It's not quite enough time for Pvision to take this Roshan clean. In fact, Satanic is almost dead here. Has to pop a Satanic, and it's BKB refresh there. No one. He gets out with his remnants off the refresher. Meanwhile, DM. Ooh, that was a big chunk of damage there. Satanic still hitting pretty hard, even against the tanky Funka and Roshan.
ऐसा आने वाला है ये रोशन
leaving the pit to go top again, while Mid is under assault
जैसे कि
from
मैं कह ही
trees
रहा
right
था
now. They have a full lane of barracks right now.
I can't
Yeah,
believe they
he-
didn't buy this SF, and I also can't believe that Pvision didn't
बैरक्स की फटी
force that fight a little bit more, trying to get the SFI. Now they're trying to kill Roche as it's walking across the map, but it's uncontested.
The slight chains holding him down. Roshan's going to die in the middle of the map.
बैरक्स की वजह से
Will go to Pvision.
कंटेस्ट नहीं कर पाए रोज
A successful Roshan in the end.
एसएफ की कॉस्ट
But
काफी
now
हैवी
the
है
turn to Pvision.
क्योंकि मंकी पे ये पहले चढ़े थे तो शायद लोटस वगैरह उसी को दे दिया
Are you
एसएफ
willing
को
to go
बचाने
high
के लिए कुछ
ground
नहीं
with
रहा
it?
अब थोड़ी दिक्कत आ रही है क्योंकि एक ही सेविंग आइटम है दैट इज लोटस अगर वो एक पे कमिट हो जाता है तो दूसरा छोड़ पे दिक्कत आ रही है आई थिंक मंकी नीड्स टू बी इन बेटर पोजीशन पोजीशन नहीं कर पा रहे हैं वो मिल नहीं रही है वाइन क्लास बिल्कुल ही नाइट होने वाले पड़े मतलब पोर्टल में इतना ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट लाना ऐसा हीरो नहीं है कि इजीली इम्पैक्ट लाना इजीली इम्पैक्ट नहीं देता हर स्किल ये ज़्यादा कहते वेव मारने दूर जा रहे थे लेकिन वेव बगल में आ गई और सामने हीरो भी आ गए हालत खराब हो गई थी एक टाइम पे उनका की
for a universal hero, and he's bobbling it. That's a lot of stats. Yeah. Kind of
डिवाइन
insane.
रगेलिया बनाया
We'll see if that Divine Rapier comes out. Regardless, at least for the SF, will up his damage. You
बीस्ट
did
मोड ऑन
not
करने
get
के
the
चक्कर में
stitching on the monkey, though. There's no way you're taking Book
Divine
Undead
Rapier
over stitching here, Hero Cheerier.
मैं पता है कि ये मेरे ख्याल से एक ही फाइट का गेम बचा है और या तो इस पार या तो उस पार
Beastmaster, Harmonizer, Stygian Desolator, Book of the Dead is what I assume he wants to take. Though he hasn't made that decision quite yet.
Book is pretty nice here. That Stygian is also pretty nice, just you getting hits in for everybody else, but he'll take the Book. Too good individually on him. You're also adding to the lane, the map pressure here. You have so many summons on the map.
Well, somebody's going to take that Stygian. It's going to be Malady. With 115 extra
बुक ऑफ द
movement
डेड
speed, he's
दो
cruising
तीन बंदे
around.
मेरे ख्याल से दो तीन बंदे लेंगे विजन की टीम से
Pretty damn
और
hard.
लेकिन प्रेशर करते रहेंगे बिल्कुल ही बाहर नहीं निकलने देंगे बिल्कुल मैप कंट्रोल रखेंगे पूरा
So it's kind of sad for Yandex that they got it on the opposite heroes here.
ऐसे ही कभी वेव के प्लेयर करते करते कोई अकेला हीरो मिलता है तो उसे मार के सीधा टावर पुश करने चल जाएंगे
Still has almost 9,000 gold. He just flies a swift link into his backpack, and now he's got to decide what he wants to play with here.
He's just got.
एंटी
It's funny because like
मेरे ख्याल से जितना बैकपैक में आएगा नहीं उससे ज़्यादा काम करके बैठे हैं
important item, that extra attack range to hit the SF without being hit back. Right, don't let the SF get the opportunity to swing with the Satanic. We haven't seen Watson pull that off a single time yet in these fights. Got the roar on tier 2 now. All in on him.
मंकी क्या मार पाएंगे बिल्कुल सटानिक आते ही गायब कर दिया बेनेडिक्ट मर ही नहीं रहा भाई आई थिंक दिस इज जी मंकी किंग का बायबैक आया तो थोड़ा फाइट बैक हो जाएगा मंकी किंग इज हियर लेकिन बिल्कुल ही एम्बर ने कंट्रोल करा हुआ है बैक लाइन बीस मास्टर की किल मिली है शायद एम्बर की भी मिल जाए रेमिनेंट्स है नहीं एम्बर पे सटानिक बर्स्ट हो गया
victory
दो
in,
मेगा
but
मिले हैं
they
बंदे
are a
को।
long ways away from victory because now they're the ones who have to force the buybacks out
लेकिन
of
बायबैक फोर्स
Pvision.
करेंगे,
And
बिल्कुल
you
करेंगे।
still lost a lane of racks. There's just no way to keep your base alive in any sort of engagement when there's so many creeps going for the rat
काफी
action.
अच्छा बैकलाइन को
However,
कर रहे थे, लेकिन जैसे ही मंकी ने
window
वुकोंग्स
here.
को खत्म ही
You
कर
have
दिया
a
गेम।
window to potentially win this game if you can win one more team fight, and
तो
you
यही
still
होता है कि
have
मंकी
the refresher
पीछे
shard
बैकलाइन में
for
पकड़
Jiren
गए,
Jr. here. He never ended
नाप
up using
लिया
it because he never got
और
that initial
वुकोंग
Wukong
कमांड के
off.
अंदर आगे
Some courier snipes going
बिल्कुल
out as
मारेंगे।
well.
पीस
You
मास्टर
could full
समझते हुए
send it
कि
here. You have an SF
बिल्कुल
buy to
एंड
play
कर
with.
सकते
Tier
हैं।
3s straight to the tier 4s. Is that going to be the
एनपी
idea
का
here for
भी
Yandex?
बायबैक
Not quite. They're going to play it a little bit
निकला
slower
है।
here. Leading off Nullifier, pulling back in the Ogre Magi. There goes one of those scythe devices. That's down for 2 minutes. As
इसी एनपी
these
का भी
single
बायबैक
target
आया है।
disables start getting picked up
ओवर
one
पे
after
बायबैक है
another,
नहीं।
Watson's game is made easier
3
and
वर्सेस
easier.
5
Melody on the front lines,
एंड
seemingly
करने की ट्राई।
untouchable at
Yandex
this point. And
क्या
no one
एंड
can
कर पाएंगे?
what's wrong.
वुकोंग
There goes
कमांड आ
Wukong's
चुका है।
command. The Ember Spirit's got to get out of this AoE, and he does manage to do so, but that leaves the tier 4s exposed.
He has another one.
A glyph is going to be popped, a refresh used, and another round. Trying to go for the roar. Doesn't manage to get through the Lincolns. Place onto Watson. Tier 4s are dropping fast. Melody's going to drop low here.
मेलोडी मर चुके हैं।
Placed onto him. Requiem goes out. Still though, Melody gets burned through. One
एक
tier
और
4 down.
वुकोंग
You gotta
वहां
go
आता
to the
है।
fall. It's time for some sort of defense to be put up. They gotta go in now with no glyph. There's something to stop Watson. He pops his BKB. Goes all in.
बिल्कुल
They get the game 3.
सताने को मेरे ख्याल से बहुत ही अच्छा
They
गेम
were struggling to be
बाय
able to close out
Yandex।
this game 2. And for
कमबैक
a
मारा है
moment,
तगड़ा।
it looked like it slipped through their fingers. But in the end, they put the pieces together.
वो लास्ट फाइट
Managed to close out game 2. We're gonna see
यही होता है,
a
मतलब बैन
third
फाइट नहीं
game
कर सकते
series
तुम
in
ऐसा
this
फॉर
playoffs.
के अगेंस्ट, तो तुम्हें राइट स्ट्रैटेजी ये सब करके कंट्रोल वगैरह करके ही निकलना पड़ता है गेम। आई थिंक मंकी का जब बायबैक आया तो उसे किसी ने चेक नहीं करा, उसने सीधा जाके बैकलाइन उड़ा दिया और बैकलाइन पे बायबैक नहीं था।
The whole game is just building to that moment because there's no way
I
you're going to
think
get a
that
fair
cost
fight.
him.
There's no way you're going to get a fight
क्योंकि
where you don't
कंट्रोल
have to
सिर्फ
use some
बैकलाइन ही दे पा
aggressive
रही है,
buybacks and get
फ्रंट लाइन पे
something
कुछ
out of the
नहीं है।
exchange, run it
इवन
down, and
ही
win the
रोज
second fight off of that.
कुछ
They
मिलेगा
held
नहीं।
that refresher shard for the monkey that entire time. He's able to use it at the very end
I think
for double
monkey
Wukong
pick
on
यहाँ
the
पर
drone, which just forces you
करते
into a
हुए
really rough spot. I think Pvision had to go even sooner at that point.
Yeah,
If they
good game by
recognize that, but there's just no
Yandex।
clear opening if that Wukong's down. The Furin cannot engage into it. We saw how fast Satanic dies. It is a bad matchup. There's no way around it in the actual man fight. Some beautiful execution in like that 40 to 60 minute period with the Scythe of Ice spam preventing the high ground pushes. Like that was executed very well. And it gave you a chance to win this game, winning that last Roshan. But that fight in mid lane, where these two cores are just able to stand their ground, like you get the monkey pick, but then the SF just sits there and he's the anchor in the team fight, and you can't kill him. There's two big problems to solve in this game, and you were never able to take them both off the field at the same time.
I think my favorite part about this game is the way that Yandex closed it out. You know, we were talking about, okay, maybe they're being a little bit too passive. It still works for them. The game almost slipped through their fingers. It could have been time to play scared, right? It could have been going, oh, guys, maybe we can't actually take this. Last time we went high ground, it didn't work for us, but they sent it. They went all in on that play. They get the pickoffs on the initial heroes. They make the call to just commit to the throne, and they pull it off in a big, big way. We're going to a game 3.
You could see the happiness there as well on Team Yandex as they push this series to a game 3. This series is so close that all the advantages that we see coming out for the teams, they're so small, but they mean so much, Effie.
That was an insanely high-skilled game. Like that was such a treat and pleasure to watch because it did feel like it added up to a lot of the small things. But as that game progressed and we went to the ultra late game, the problem of the Wukong's arena from CJ was just too big of an obstacle. A lot of the fights felt like, are we addressing this Monkey King? Are we starting the fight by knocking him off a tree? Are we able to roar him? Because if not, you have this huge arena after that level 25 talent and the fight is split up. You can't really commit on the Shadow Fiend because you can't step into the Wukongs, and then SF just gets to go to town.
Yeah, on top of that, you have both. You have Hex, you have the control that DM did bring to the table. Really loved his itemization in this one. Like, opted to go for more, like, kind of control build where he is like first item Lotus, picked up the wraps. I don't think he got too much value out of that one, but later on picking up the Shivas, picking up the Hex as well, which was the big pickup, kind of on the both sides actually. And we did expect this series to be very even, and it definitely was. Like, you really didn't know who's gonna win up until the last seconds pretty much. And I love the killer instinct that did kind of kick in for the other team, because like they were losing, they were about to be, you know, not knocked out. They would still play for that third place, but not a chance to play in the grand finals tomorrow. And definitely showed up. They're like, yeah, we gotta do this. The Wukong's command, the double Wukong's command, making sure that Shadowfin is gonna be getting the right clicks in.
Yeah, they really clawed themselves back into this game, because if this game would have dragged out longer, eventually Satanic would have been able to take down all the racks, and it was just, the map was closing in on them.
It really was, and if we look at the tier 5 neutral items that dropped, there was double Stygians on Yandex, so the Divine Regalia on SF. So the amount of physical damage output towards that late game portion of the fight was ridiculous. We saw SF was like two-shotting everybody, including Satanic's Nature's Prophet, and they couldn't really get the same kind of damage output there, Lacoste.
Yeah, I think what happens after 60 minutes, if the kind of game is stabilizing, you don't necessarily need to pick up your neutral item. You're waiting until you see what enemies did go for. So you see this Enchantress Bauble twice, and you're like, okay, we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna go into the fight, have Divine Regalia, have our increased damage coming out from the Shadowfin. We have double Deso on top of that, so we're gonna be bringing in that extra bit of a damage. And then again, Malady, dude, this guy just plays differently. Like, we've seen him again going for the scaling build, going for this Aghanim Scepter, which is super annoying. This is the undispellable route, and it also allows you to scale so well into the late game. Like, he was a real menace to deal with. They didn't really have the answer for him.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought him up, because outside of that late game chaos and beauty that we witnessed, they got so much value out of Malady's Enchantress in that mid game, because there was a moment where it looked like Pvision might have the tempo and might run them over, but they used Malady's body very effectively as a means to soak ganks and smokes. And there was this one moment where they overcommitted on Enchantress, couldn't take him down, and then Yandex were back in the game because they were able to kill Satanic.
Yeah, we've seen so many clutch plays. Like, we've seen so many aggressive force staffs coming out from 9 class, like the Hexes, the Hex, the Beastmaster picked up, the Nullifier as well, pushing them inside their own base. Plus also multiple times in this game, like, they're cutting down his tree, they're blasting him with the blinding light off of the trees. And CJ, he really didn't have that good of a time, like, at because he was dominating the lane. He was so far ahead, but he got shut down. I feel like they understood that it's still Ember Spirit. He can come back into the game, and he definitely did, but in the end, it's just that, like, it came down to one big fight in the mid lane.
And I think that is the fight you would like to show us.
I think it's the one before it, because it's going to come down to Roche fights in general. Like, we've seen, particularly this fight, where we are seeing Pvision, who are going for Roshan, but the Roshan started to migrate, and they already used quite a lot of things here. They still have BKB on Beastmaster, but they don't have Roar, they don't have Satanic with the BKB. So Roshan, he's going to drop very, very low. You can already see that Beastmaster, he made the slot available to potentially pick it up, and then another Wukong. Like, and you still have Wukong's command, you still have right clicks from Shadowfin, something you talked about, Effie. It's very difficult to approach because of the overwhelming damage, the synergy between these two heroes. And then in the end, DM, he catches him with the blind torrent, and that's gonna be 4 dead for Pvision, because at this point of the game, they were kind of ahead. With this Aegis, potentially, they would definitely go for the high ground, plant the banner, and potentially try to end the game. But this very clutch play coming out from them definitely turned it around.
Yeah, the Riptides from DM went crazy too. In that clip you just showed us, he was able to catch some people back. There was also a moment where they dropped CJ's Wukongs, which we talked about being the key part of the fight. Can Pvision kite the Wukongs? Can they fight into it, or can they catch out the Monkey King? There was a moment where they actually ran away from it, but DM just pulls 2 of them back, and it's the one fight off of that.
Now, we know that this series is close and that both teams are very good, and that's why it is close. But my question is, why did this game last so long? Like, was it also that close in the draft, or was there one portion in particular that, for example, you guys would like to see addressed from either team going into game number 3? Because I'm enjoying this, but I'm sure the teams would like to have games end a little sooner and like to be a little bit more dominant with it.
I mean, I think both of those drafts were very strong, and that's why we got such a nail-biter and close game. And honestly, that's the type of game that you look at if you're Pvision, I suppose. And if you're going to nitpick one thing, it would be the moment that you chased Enchantress into her jungle and you couldn't kill her, and then Yandex swiped you. So it's more of like, we maybe messed up our consideration of how to deal with this hero. But I wouldn't want to see either team change anything.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, the map rating was so good in this game. That's why these teams are on top of their game at the moment, because they can expect where the enemy is going to strike. And that Enchantress bait that you talked about, that was top tier from them. Kind of the turnaround point as well. There were many in this game because the game was so even. And we've seen some clutch plays as well, where like the fights happening in the mid lane or in the triangle. They're sending out some Treants. They're sending out the Helm of the Dominator creep from Beastmaster to kill off the barracks in the mid lane as well. So kind of punching in two different directions, but in the end, it came down to, I'd say, tier 5 neutral items. They chose the right ones, and they decided to end the game.
It's a little decisions that you make in a game like this that will win you the game. I think we saw Watson on the Shadow Fiend. I think maybe that will be no longer possible, because he was shut down earlier on, but he was still able to be the Shadow Fiend that the team wanted.
Yeah, it was a more quiet game, like one of the quieter ones we've seen from a Shadowfin, especially the winning ones, where most of the time you see Shadowfin go like 15-0, they're all over the place. We've seen Nightfall having a great performance wits as well, where they completely dominated the games, but he got rotated on. Like in some of these early engagements, he was the one that was getting the trade. They were trading Satanic early on for the kill on Shadowfin, and then later on he also dies one more time. So he had a bit of a slower game. Monkey King was the one who was trying to set the tempo, and he also got punished because a lot of the times, like, you would see them again trying to outnumber, trying to find a way, because they knew exactly that Deso timing, it's gonna come, and as soon as he got it, he tried to play aggressive twice. He got punished for it. So it's gonna come down again, as we said before the series started, to the smallest things, smallest details, because they're really pushing the limits.
But I've much enjoyed CJ's Monkey King versus the Slardar in game 1.
Oh, yeah.
As a response to the Ember, because the response to the Ember in that game 1 felt too weak, whereas in this game 2, you know, you go deeper into your pockets, bust out heroes that maybe other teams aren't playing, and I think they should stick to that approach if we're going to see Ember let through in game 3.
You feel that this is enough to now remove the Ember from the series, or do you think that Yandex is like, okay, you know, we countered it, or at least we won versus it, you can have it again?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think no one's very happy to keep playing Ember Spirit if they keep giving it to him, and if there's like no Huskar or something scary that you have to think about.
I think every single game that I've seen Ember Spirit where he's playing into losing matchup, whether that's going to be Huskar, Necrophos, anything that's going to ruin him in the first 5 to 10 minutes, the hero still recovers pretty decently, where we are seeing him pulling the creep waves to the other camps, getting something done on the map. So one of the reasons why this hero is such a powerhouse so far at EWC, and I feel like if they leave it in the pool, there's a high chance that no one wants to play it again, because he's definitely feeling it. Like, he's definitely feeling himself on this Ember Spirit, and he's done quite a lot of work.
How big of a difference did first pick, second pick make to this series? Do we feel this second game, it was Yandex that won, and they had second pick in this game, did they?
Yeah,
Yes,
they had the 24 pick on Monkey King, and I do think that was the difference maker. Because let's say they didn't have that overall last pick to counter Ember, and they had just gone for a typical Pucker Slardar, I don't think we would have seen that game go that far, because the laning stage would have been easier for Pvision.
Yeah, and of course game 1, it was also the team that had second pick that came out victorious, so we'll have to wait and see who gets that leg up in game number 3. Game number 3, of course, coming your way very soon. Before that, though, we're going to find out how DM felt before the series even began.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
Hello, I'm here with DM from Yandex. You guys knocked out Team Spirit yesterday, 2-0. I was curious how close. 2 days ago.
It was not yesterday, yeah, 2 days.
2 days, my mistake. How did that series feel to you? Did it feel close?
It felt like a series against a great team, which Team Spirit are. So it wasn't easy, but it was not like ultra complicated also, I would say. The game was kind of in our control, both games, so felt fine.
So you didn't play yesterday, obviously. What did you do in that time instead?
We played some pubs and we just scrimmed some decent teams. I mean, one decent team. So yeah, we just prepared a little bit for today. That's all.
I was curious what scrimming is like at this stage in the tournament, because I feel like teams that get eliminated, they probably go home partially, so they can't play you guys. What do you do for scrim partners?
We scrim the team which is playing right now on the stage. So
Okay,
it was a
opposite
decent
side
team. Yeah,
of the
opposite
bracket?
side.
That makes sense. That's a good way to do it. You guys are top 4 now. Pvision looks really strong. They're definitely one of the best teams left in the tournament. So how do you think you're going to do?
I mean, we're just gonna do our best and we'll see how it goes. There's nothing to like predict. We're just gonna try to draft well, just play well, do our basics and see how it goes. It's obviously a great team, so ain't gonna be hard, ain't gonna be easy. I mean, yeah.
Do you think that there's any draft advantages that you have, like strategy advantages, better hero pool for you versus them, or anything like that?
To be honest, I have no idea because I'm not like main drafter of the team. So, I mean, I just hope we're gonna do a decent one. So, yeah.
Yeah, I hope the games will be fun to watch. Thank you for joining me, and good luck in your matches.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am here with Team Yandex, the future champions of EWC. Is that correct?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yes.
Are you more confident in the Uno game than your Dota?
Yes, it's easy.
It's easy. Who is your biggest nemesis in Dota 2 right now?
I don't know. I don't have this team.
You're just a nice guy?
Yeah.
You just want to beat everybody equally?
Yeah.
Is this true for you?
Yes, we are very good.
You are also a nice guy?
Yes.
Is everybody on your team a nice guy?
Of course.
That's never true. I've been on teams. I know this isn't true. Name a name.
Trust. Everyone is good. Maybe he's a bit evil.
Is this true?
Maybe.
Are you afraid of Saksa because he's so tall?
Afraid is not the correct word. I would say we respect Saksa.
You respect him? Why do you respect him?
He helped us improve, and he is experienced.
Do you think you could defeat Saksa in a one-on-one physical altercation?
Yeah, probably. If he would be without limbs, maybe I have a chance.
Could you defeat him in 1v1 combat?
With weapons?
I'll give you a weapon and him none.
Sure. If I have spear, then...
He's a really tall guy, though.
But spear is like very long.
Is it difficult to play with Saksa? Because when you guys are all talking to each other, he's like up here, and he can't hear what you're saying?
Yes.
The grand semi-finals continues with Yandex and Pvision on stage. Our first game 3 of the playoffs coming your way. It's 1-1, and this series is incredibly close. The tiniest of things could be the difference maker in making it to the grand finals or having to play in a third, fourth place decider, which, to be honest, for both teams, being top 4, being top 3 would be a disappointment, Effie. These teams are here to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild to think one of them will probably end up winning that third, fourth place decider. I mean, I can't see them losing, to be honest, but this to me feels like a grand finals in and of itself. That second game really showed us what it looks like when two evenly matched teams go up against each other, and they shouldn't, think ahead. Just focus on now. Who cares about that third, fourth place tomorrow?
Well, let's focus on now because the draft is upon us. We got Pvision on the Radiant side, Yandex on the Dire side. That seems to be the way they prefer things because that's been the same the whole series. First pick goes to Pvision, second pick, and overall last pick therefore goes the way of Yandex, which is the repeat of what we had in game 2. In terms of drafting, though, we have already got some changes on the board. Shadow Fiend got removed from the pool. We left Largo in because of that, but there's changes all across the board because Willow and Dawnbreaker all still in.
Yeah, Largo is one that was just being banned for the team that could potentially pick Darkseer. So I don't think it's going to be in contention unless the need for a Dispel comes through like a Wind Ranger pick.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm also looking at this Nature's Prophet ban. It caused them quite a lot of issues because they In a lot of these fights, you would see him outranging Shadowfin, where Shadowfin was not actually hitting him. He's stuck in the Sprout, and he's dishing out the damage. And this time around, Pvision will pick up Invoker. Like, we are seeing the switcheroo immediately.
What a steal.
Absolutely, because you know it was banned in the second game. It would probably be a very good Invoker game, especially with the Kunkka pairing. They decided to ban it in the last phase, but this time around, straight up opening with Invoker. So some of the heroes, I would say, from the position 4/5 are going to be getting slightly more priority. I would like Bane. I think Bane definitely has to go from Team Yandex, because it is Bane plus Invoker setup. It's also Bane against Pango, which could be a very difficult matchup for him.
This is really different out of Pvision. To me, this says that they're thinking about how Yandex can enable CJ and how different the game looked when he had a lane. And this is one of the CJ heroes that you can early pick. Like you mentioned, Lacoste, you wanted them to look for an early pick Invoker. So I think this overall first Invoker would not happen against any other team but Yandex.
Yeah, most definitely. This is not something that it's just a matchup, knowing like that there is a very mean Invoker player on the other side. And Pango, like, we haven't seen too much of a Pango. Like, during the group stage, the hero was kind of silent. It did get slightly more priority once we got to the survival stage, and in the playoffs, still showing that this hero is a menace to deal with.
It's really good against Invoker as well, especially if you can snag up a Keeper of the Light for yourself on Yandex. You're super happy, because Invoker, like, historically struggles against Pango on lane because his waves get shoved out, and when he hits that level 6, he just has a BKB, right, with his Rolling Thunder. So he just runs at you with a +1 support rotation, and Invoker is very vulnerable to this.
Yeah, heavy focus on supports for the next pick phase, and that's also why we're probably going to see a heavy focus on supports on this ban phase, with already the Hoodwink removed from the pool, Keeper of the Light, Bane, the two most feared ones still in, and of course the Willow still in as well.
Shiver, listen to this. Carry Invoker, position 1.
No, I don't think that we're going to see that.
Yeah, I was just being sarcastic. I don't think I want to see it for the rest of the tournament. What a way to go out, though.
Yeah, with a whimper.
Sad.
Anyway.
Undying removed, which is a strong one for Yandex as well. So understandably so that they removed that. Let's see which one is the one that Yandex wants to remove. Keep in mind, they can pick right out of this phase. So they can ban a support and also pick one.
Yeah, they could potentially like take the Bane for themselves. This is a team that doesn't really play Wyvern. I would also like look into that hero for Pvision potentially in the second pick phase, because it gives you something to deal with Pango during the Rolling Thunder. It's a super strong laner. It secures the lane for almost said Invoker in the carry role.
I think this is what you do. You just ban Bane, you pick Keeper of the Light, you enable your Pango, and you take away their best support to set up Sunstrikes. Very strong here from Yandex.
Yeah.
And Clockwork's still in the pool. This is the hero that also sets up the Sunstrike play as well. And from position 4, 9 class, his hero pool doesn't really do it as much. Dark Willow is like okay-ish. I'm maybe looking more towards like Shadow Shaman and thing, but I just have this in my mind. A couple of games where he played Shadow Shaman and he really didn't have that good time. This is also not a BB team, so probably Shadow Shaman is not going to get as much priority.
Do you not like the Earth Spirit anymore for 9 class? Or because it's no longer a flex, because we already have the Invoker, unless Invoker is going to carry, but he's not. Because it's no longer a flex.
Yeah, I would prefer if they have the flex potential where you pick it early on and still have, you know, slightly bigger picture what's happening in the draft.
Yeah, the thing about Earth Spirit is the strength of Earth Spirit comes for Pvision from the ES plus Darkseer duo. And if Darkseer is addressed within the first phase of bans, then you can't really introduce your flex anyway. So having it be a mid Earth Spirit would also lead to the Slardars from CJ, which is not a good matchup.
They'll get the Winter Wyvern for now instead.
Yeah, the hero that we mentioned for a good reason. This hero just gives you pretty much everything. Gives you team fight, gives you setup for another round of spells later on, gives you fight reset. Very good against Pango because all his spells are physical damage, and then you can just split the fight. You can save whoever gets initiated on.
Well, there's a hero that's still in the pool. That Lone Druid. That's what I was gonna say. So, are we happy seeing a Lone Druid here? We know Winter Wyvern is considered to be one of the support counters. So they took that one already out of the equation as well. We've seen Lone Druid be very dominant earlier on today.
Yeah, I mean, Lone Druid is always a hero you have to worry about, but Yandex are the one team in this tournament that have like led it through 4 times in a row and beat it every single time. So they have the most experience playing against Lone Druid, and they could bust out their carry Lina even if they feel like it's a good pick for it, because it just addresses the Lone Druid problem.
Not just beat Lone Druid 4 times, they beat it 4 times in a row. Like, this is pretty much the statement. We're gonna leave it in the pool, and you have option to pick it, and if you do pick it, we have the answers for it.
Let's see if that Lina will come out. 2 picks coming our way.
I'd like to see maybe Enigma coming out for Yandex. It's a very good hero in the lane, because you're not winning the lane in straight up trading against Lone Druid, especially if there's Winter Wyvern. It just feels like it's very, very difficult to play any type of a lane. Like some of the other heroes that they have used against it was...
Beastmaster as well is a good...
Yeah, Beast, like Centaur, but these Centaurs gone already. I'm leaning towards Enigma.
Yeah, they get the Jakiro for now. Jakiro has made a big splash towards the end of the group stages, but it's been a little while since we've seen him here on the main stage.
It's very good. Like, when you think about some old school counters to, let's say, Shadow Demon, when he's meta with the defensive disruptions, defensive Winter Wyvern abilities, Ice Pad is a very nice follow-up onto that. Plus, you also have insane amount of magic damage that you can throw onto the guy who is getting healed. And also super strong laner. Like we've seen, as you said, Shiver, this hero getting slightly more popularity. It was Aurora who brought it back, and it looked very, very good. It looked like, again, an OP hero in the lane with the right partner, killing the hero from 100 to 0.
Yeah, I think this looks like a really good Jakiro game for the reasons you mentioned, but if Pango is getting countered by the physical damage counter of Wyvern, then you just secure it with easy magical damage, and Jakiro provides that. DM's Enigma does come out, and we know we already have the carry, we already have the mid. There's not going to be a lane counter for this.
Yeah, we'll see where Pvision wants to go with their pick. This is also the time where they should be thinking about what Watson will play as the overall last pick that Yandex will get. And that Lina is still looking pretty nice, so I would imagine maybe that will be worthy of a ban. We got the Axe pick up for now. Are we liking the Axe coming out here?
Yeah, this is preemptive Axe, something like it's a Sunstrike setup, so you can always go for a play. I think they needed a hero that's going to be frontlining for them, somebody to start a fight, because other heroes want to keep the distance. So big fan of this. You don't see the matchup, but Axe can always get something out of the lane, so definitely feels good on 18.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of a pick that discourages from heroes like Kez. Because if you look at Yandex's draft, they've got a lot of ranged heroes. They've got the Jakiro, the Coddle, the Enigma, and they would have needed a melee carry to play with the hero into lane, and Axe is very much an anti-melee carry type of hero. So it removes the potential of Kez. And sure, you can pick something like a Lina carry now to play into the Axe, but then you've just got one Pango starting the fights for you every single time.
For now, they remove the Tiny. We see the Rubik being removed on the side of Yandex. We are still looking for a hero for 9 class on the side of Pvision, unless there's some strange shenanigans going on, but not expecting that for the moment. And we got the Necrophos also removed from the pool by Pvision, so Watson can't play that one either.
I'm thinking if there's a hero, because you need to think about like multiple different things with this last pick. You are playing against BKB piercing ability, multiple BKB piercing abilities. You're playing against the Lone Druid matchup. You're playing against something that stops your physical damage from going through. So not the easiest way to find a hero. I would be okay maybe with like Phantom Lancer that could come out for them, but it's also not a 24 PL, so it doesn't feel as strong because you are giving them ways to counter it. So
I mean,
PL it is 24 for them.
Yeah, I mean, he tries to play PL wherever he can, and I think it would still be a very strong PL game. The only issue is if the snowball starts from Pvision and your PL isn't ready, you're just gonna get run at nonstop. But Watson has picked PL in situations where there was an enemy snowball available, and it still worked out for him.
We'll see what he goes for. There's still half a minute left for them to think about it. The Wind Ranger came out near instantly for Pvision, so that will be their position 4, unless they want to run an Invoker. in 4? Nah, crazy.
Yeah, just a nice range support, something to play with the axe. You're going to have that added bit of disable from the shackle, and it'll make your lane much easier. I mean, Wind Ranger plus axe is a rough lane, even if you have Jakiro.
Yep. Let's see what it will lane against. Still the Phantom Lancer comes out.
I mean, it's that's why I mentioned it. I see these heroes. It looks very good. It's very good in the lane against Axe because of the battle hunger. You're not really getting affected by it by any means. And, you know, this is a game where it really matters. So you're going to be diving in deep. I already talked about like 4 other counters that they have, something that needs to be done about the last pick, which is not an easy pick. And this is where the teams, like the more experienced teams, are going to be digging deeper into the hero pool and finding something that can work out for them. They have Pango Coddle. The combination is going to be insane throughout the whole game. Of course, it's very annoying to play against. They have Enigma. There is counter to Enigma in this one because, like, you have a Sunstrike, you have a Cataclysm, you have Axe Call maybe on the edge, you have Winter's Curse, so ways of stopping the Black Hole, so it's not the easiest Enigma game by any means, but DM is also going to be getting stuff out of the lane, which I really like, because after seeing Wyvern plus Lone Druid, this lane is literally unplayable.
What are we thinking, Effie? How close is this draft?
To me, it seems quite even again in terms of the power of each draft. I do think that if Pvision win their lanes, then Yandex are in a tough situation, but I do like this Pango versus Invoker, so that lane should be fine. I think PL's lane should be okay as well, and if they can come out of the lanes decently, dodge a few bad fights, then it is PL's game to win here.
It is overall scaling in favor of the PL here. If this game goes late, Yandex has an edge. And we have seen this game go late. Game 2 was an example of that. It was very back and forth, very close. This time around, very different drafts coming our way, Lacoste.
Yeah, this is what's kind of expected. This is Puppy we're talking about as well, so you are going to be getting different heroes. This is the guy that has been in Dota scene for 25 years, so he's seen everything, like every possible matchup, everything that has been changed. He has been through this. He has been winning the tournaments. He has been through pretty much everything possible that could happen in Dota, did happen to him. So having that experience behind him, seeing the potential draft that could work out for them in this game where it really matters. So not really surprised that we've seen teams go for completely different matchups, like completely different heroes.
With that being said, there is an overall first pick Invoker, which is unusual and a little bit spicy, so that is the big question here.
Will no one be able to shine on his Invoker? Will Pvision claim their spot in the grand finals, or will it be Yandex? We're finding out. Cap and SVG, over to you.
Going into this series, neither team had truly been tested. Both of them had only lost a single game, and the group stage easily washed away by their quite superior scores coming out of it. Going into playoffs, they managed to get easy 2-0s, but finally, in one of the highest skill games we've seen all year, this game 2, we did see both teams truly get pushed to the brink there. Yandex came out the better for it, but it only gets them to this game 3. And it'll all be settled here. Who will make it to the grand finals? Yandex versus Pvision. Already starting off with a bit of early action here as Zoxa found right next to the tier 1 tower at a Sunstrike that could have delivered the kill over to the mid laner of no one, but instead goes to the carry, Satanic.
He will always take the gold if it's available. Can't outlast hit this kid. Nice little start for the Lone Druid. And some heroes coming out in this game 3 that I expected to see in this series. The Invoker, the Enigma, the PL as that last pick. Some spicy clutch picks that have a lot of scaling power behind them. That's what strikes me this game. Like, this is not a game I think either team is expecting to run over. So you're looking to get some of these heroes that are going to quietly scale into that late game with some backup and try and put the pressure on you in those late game team fights. The PL could be a big problem in this game, but I do think between Invoker and Axe, plus 2 stunning supports, you have ways to kind of catch him and just all in him. And I think the Bear can cause some heroes issues that forces the PL to respond, and you can maybe play around that around the map. Like, there's a lot of global pickoff potential if this Axe Call or Shackle lands into Sunstrike, into a Bear that pops out from Invis. It can just surprise you and kill anybody in this game. That is something the Yandex are going to have to think about. But if it does go ultra late, I mean, there's just so much chaos in the team fight. Between Eidolons, Caudal Blasts, Jakiro spells, there's a Pango rolling in that you have to deal with, and then there's Phantom Lancer illusions running amok. incredibly toxic lineup, honestly. Like, I would not want to play against this Yandex line. This is like one of those lineups you see in a pub and you're like, come on, dude. Really? Like, this is what you guys are playing? You know, why are you so try-hard? This is such a try-hard draft. And we'll see if it works out for him. This is a hero they've gone back to. This Phantom Lancer that I feel, it's not a crutch, but it's like, how do we get out of this weird draft position? We'll last pick PL. And just put it all on the line. Hope Watson can carry us on one of his signature heroes. And time again, he's proven that he can. So we'll see if it gets him into the grand finals here.
Two of the highest win rate heroes here at EWC, the Phantom Lancer especially, having 5 wins and only the single loss at this tournament. Definitely a little bit more of a cheesy pickup. I mean, Lone Druid is also a very cheesy hero.
Oh, for
this
sure.
is a hero that everybody knows is incredibly good right now. Do you think that it was worth giving this Lone Druid opportunity to Pvision? Do you feel like they answered it appropriately enough? Who's on a timer here? I assume Phantom Lancer is fine to go late game against Lone Druid, but I don't really know.
I don't think late game is favored for either team. I think it'll come down to execution. They both have a lot of scale in the tank. I think the PL is one big factor. Like, in theory, he scales super hard here. But at a certain point, I can also see him falling off like ultra late against this Tripor if they get really big. And I think the Black Hole's always an X factor, right? You have a Wyvern Curse cancel.
Yep.
You have a Call cancel, because that AoE gets kind of big now.
Sure.
But the Black Hole's always late game threat. I do think they have good answers to the Lone Druid. Like, this is not a game where they gave it away and he's going to have a free game. The Solar Bind's annoying. The Jakiro spells are annoying. And they got their big lane counter for DM in this Enigma. This has been the matchup that they favored the most. They're going to give away the Lone Druid. They want the Enigma on this lane with the Eidolon pressure going in.
The Entangle on him, that's going to be some bonus damage here, especially with the Sunstrike. Does a lot, and the final hit, not enough. Fairy Fire will save the day.
Getting pressured out early, though. This is what you want from the Lone Druid, and some extra sustain from the Wyvern definitely helps the Bear fight through some of the summons. This Enigma gets to level 3 and 5 uncontested. He's going to kick you out of lane. He's going to win this lane, and he's going to dominate your tower. Very strong start for Satanic in a matchup that Yandex felt was going to go a lot better for them. Like, we have 4 last hits on this Enigma. He just got forced into the jungle to try and get to the level 3. So you have a First Blood Lone Druid with free farm down here, kicking out the counter matchup.
Got to win it elsewhere. With this other side lane, a trade-off of supports perhaps. 9class is going to get low. Watson off the call, couldn't finish the job. Both Notice and 9class will be low off of that, but he can't really keep it going.
Strong start for the Axe, too. Quad Gauntlet into a straight ring of health. You have these Sunstrikes to play with off of every early call. He's mega tanky up here. He's mega fat already, and this is a lane that Axe wins. Like, you can't really win this lane as PL. There's just no way around it. You try and limit the damage, you get your own farm. It's not the worst matchup in the game anymore, but Notice should be having a very good time in the first 15-20 minutes here.
Well, the upside of this early laning phase for Yandex will be the mid lane matchup, because Chiro Jr. is really taking it to no one here. 11 denies, 22 CS, has done very well for himself, and even harassing no one quite a bit, keeping him farther back. But of course, that can all be kind of undone if no one keeps getting funneled Sunstrike kills, which, well, he hasn't gotten one yet. He has assisted.
Still a good matchup in the game, too. I've been impressed by how much this Pango's been able to put pressure on Invoker in the mid game. You just commit the early roll, just start running at him.
Early glyph use, trying to kick him out here from being able to get the last hit on these range creep.
TP the Wyvern in.
Wyvern. He's got a swashbuckle, should be able to get away from a lot of damage, especially with no one getting so low. Cold Embrace to help, but it also means he's going to miss some CS while that happens. Meanwhile, top lane, Notice, he does manage to get that kill. Watson is able to get the return, though.
Nice experience for the Phantom Lancer up here. Not too sad with that exchange. You can bring out some items on the Jakiro.
Watson's so low, though. Between a power shot and a Sunstrike,
you got to bring him something.
Yeah.
Salve. Yep. Salve drop. Bring it back. Will end up being fine. Pretty low on mana, but as long as PL's farming, you don't really care about anything else. Be curious to see what 9class goes on that Wind Ranger, because this pick was like, I think you could have picked 9class any hero there. Your draft kind of had everything it needed to function. So it was what spicy pick does he want to play there? And they busted out the Wind Ranger, maybe for some more long-range poke off of some of these stuns. Maybe they just wanted another stun in general. But it's not a hero I'm used to seeing him play or bust out when he has his choice.
Soxa sneaking around behind the Invoker. Could not get in a position to get a Blinding Light push into Chiro Jr.
A lot of pressure right now, though, with this Catapult Wave mid. The Invoker's only level 5, and you have this Chakra Magic behind the Pango. Such a deadly combination.
Oh, yeah. Get very low cooldown Swashbuckle, very low cooldown Shield Crash combined with him having the opportunity for a Rolling Thunder. He hasn't leveled it up yet.
Gotta bring both supports here to defend this push.
And what if DM cuts over too?
Could be nice.
He's kind of in the area, farming up with Eidolons right now.
The rune spawn bottom, though, that means Cheer Jr. is going to have to spend a lot of time getting this. They're going to lose their wave on a tower. No, they get the power rune, but that push moment with the catapult will be defended here. DM just trying to cut the lane. I mean, this tells you how poorly that LD lane went.
Yeah.
This is not a lane you want to go cutting with the Enigma on. This is a lane you want to be pressuring the bear.
Well, it does put him in a position to always be able to farm up neutrals as well, if he can hold to it. But it also means he's also in a position to get gank tiers. Dakalis has slowed him down. Satanic has run over, but Cheer Jr. is the better of the two mid heroes right now. So his presence kind of scary. Sunstrike lands on a Malady, who's taking the man fight against 9 class, and will lose that fight.
Pvision coming out strong in this game 3. 2 side lanes are absolutely cooking here. It's only this mid that Yandex have to play around.
Cheer Jr. is so strong right now. Is he going to level up Rolling Thunder to take this Wisdom Shrine?
No, I don't think you can go in there on your own.
That's fair.
Get some Forge Spirit action, though.
Meanwhile, you got to deal with the bear. Very fun game. Almost killing it. Cold Embrace will spare it from ticking out. Call Sunstrike, top lane, Watson gets dunked. What a combo. They snuck that one in out of nowhere on Watson. Just Axe rounding the corner, catching him on the call, and then Sunstrike dunk in just rapid succession.
And we're going to see a couple more of these at least this game. The call is just so deadly because you're going to get called into guaranteed Sunstrike, into power shot, into some Wyvern spells. Like, there's so much follow-up on every Axe play in this game. It's going to be a problem around the map, especially if the bear can get a fast Silver Edge online. Then he's contributing to map pressure and some threat around the... This is where the map can just become really difficult to play, which to me has been the theme of this series. It's like, how do you get the lanes out without dying, and how do you threaten the enemy cores when they're trying to get the lanes in? Enigma will still kick these heroes out of here. That is how powerful the Eidolons are with the drum.
Well, you combine that with Cheer Jr. also rotating out of lane. There's no way for them to fight this. So will be an early tower advantage, it's looking like, for Yandex. That'll help offset the gold lead that Pvision currently has off of winning their side lanes.
See how much damage they can get done on the map with the Enigma being able to run in enemy areas in this Pango. Should have a pretty nice timing on the defusal, and then Chakra Magic behind him.
Children taken off by the tornado.
I just got to keep defending this mid tier 1 if you're Pvision. Keep giving space to no one. Keep looking for some Sunstrike kills. Relieve the pressure from the Invoker. Look to play through your 2 side laners a little bit if you can keep doing it.
9 class enjoys this battle with Malady because he's got Wind Run, where a large share of the damage early on from Jakiro comes from that Liquid Frost. Cheer Jr. is now hitting mid tower. And at some point, Pvision, are you going to say enough is enough and try and stop these? Maybe they don't really have the option to, especially since, I mean, who's going to rotate out of these side lanes? Certainly not Satanic. Winter Wyvern's not terribly strong right now.
You just got to keep out spamming it.
Yeah.
You're not going to bring your 2 side lane cores to this mid lane. The Axe is getting way too much right now. He's power farming. And this Lone Druid is not a hero that joins early fights. So you just got to make do with what you have around the mid lane. Does mean you have support freedom to bring this Wyvern and Wind Ranger into any play you want. There's some benefit there. Just got to play for your first item timing. Try and keep this mid tower alive through the power of the Invoker. That's where that Enigma swinging behind mid could have been nice early in this game, but I think his lane just went too bad. It is too low level to make that kind of rotation. If he had dominated this lane, taken the bottom tier 1 quickly, he could have gone for that mid swing, and it could have swept this tempo up considerably, but you just got to play it a little slower here. Does have Black Hole online. Could be a nice early game threat if you can have the supports back you up.
Malady zooming the haste rune.
That's a tanky Axe, man.
It's a tanky Axe, it's a tanky bear. There are a lot of tanky things sitting in front of Yandex that they just can't really threaten in these side lanes. And all the meanwhile, Pvision are probably very happy. They've almost got no one to his Meteor Hammer, which will help him start chipping away at this mid tower, but also increase his farm rate.
As long as the tier 1 standing mid for Pvision, I think they're very happy with what's going on. Diffusal Pango will pick the game up, but you're still a ways away from there. So you got some more time to work with, and Axe is doing Axe things, man. You got a lot of early armor with this phase boots into the Splint Veil. Almost level 10. You're always a threat on Watson with the Sunstrike backup. Like, you get called into Power Shot Sunstrike, you get chopped. So you can't get too aggressive up here with the Phantom Lancer. Depends on what supports you see on the map. See 9 class mid, okay, you can kick him out of lane. You don't see the supports on the map, it gets a lot spookier to go for that kind of simple play. And there are some ancient stacks being cleared by Shiro Jr. here.
Yeah, once again, Yandex seem to be okay with, I feel like they have the heroes to make moves, but they're okay just chilling and hitting a better timing later on. That'll be that Diffuser Blade timing. Get to that.
I don't mind that just because this Enigma lane did not go the way they wanted it to. So your whole game slows down as a result, and you just have to respect that, not force any bad moves.
Vessel's going to be the build-up for the Enigma.
A lot of
no need for an early Blink Dagger, that's for sure.
You will have to get something done with this Enigma build-up, though. If you go Vessel on this hero, you need to go fight. You need to get some charges, start punching some heroes around the map.
Take that mid talent.
I mean, we'll scale a little bit here, I guess, against some of the anti-healing. You can throw it on the bear, but...
Yeah, they'll have some, like, it'll be a little difficult to use good cold embraces, because there might be a Macropyre, they do have a Vessel. It sets up for the Illuminate Blast of Soxa. There is some magic damage to punish it, at least early on.
And a smoke noticed. He went ring into Splint Mail into Blink. A very unexpected blink if you're sitting here as Yandex.
Oh, it could pay off in a big way. He's about to get a two-man call. The Sunstrike placed onto Soxa. One Cooling Blade. Now attempted roll-up, but a really great Winter's Curse. They're going to troll him for so long, get the meter on him, and another dunk. What a surprise pickup from Notice. That plays off beautifully. It's a third kill they're going to get off of this play.
Chop.
Oh my, that is just so sick.
That is
just played it slow. Oh,
that is the best outcome you could possibly hope for with rushing the Blink over a more farming item like Blade Mail and doing Ancients or something. Not only do you get 3 heroes off this play, you get them in beautiful fashion. The Invoker's involved. You steal some of the Ancients. You get chops out of it. And you lose nothing.
Yeah, Blink Dagger just paid for itself, basically.
100%. Sick move. And you slow down that Diffusal on the Pango, which is the one item you want to slow down in this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is just an immaculate move. You even get that mid tower, yeah, with the hammer. That's a 4-5K net worth equivalent play right there off of a surprise blink. And you're just not thinking about that at all because you're looking at this axe. He has Splint Mail, he has Ring. All right, he's going to finish up the Blade Mail, right? This is standard build up. The rings for the regen. He's going to go do some Ancients, and then he'll have Blink. You're thinking he's still like 1,000 off of that, maybe 1,500. And then all of a sudden, he's just jumping you on your Ancients.
Satanic.
Heads up call.
Going to be a bit too late to contest the Wisdom Shrine again. His positioning not there for it, but he almost has his Mjolnir. Him and the Axe top the net worth chart, and Watson's trying to catch up, but it's just a slower farming hero. Manta will speed that along a little bit more, but it's time for Yandex to strike back here. But
they'll get something.
Just getting to call us off of this, not going to be super happy.
It's free though.
That's true.
But Chakra Magic, all these plays are free with the Pango. You're going to get something off of this move, but you're right. It's not a big target. It's the hero that Pvision are happy to give away here, especially with 3 cores all farming the map right now. And there's the Blade Mill for the Axe. So this Axe call just got a lot deadlier. Top tower is going to fall for free. They'll cut another wave, and they can absolutely bring him into another play. This is where the map becomes a little scarier to play, particularly around that mid lane. You smoke that Axe in a mid, he gets a nice call. It's going to set the whole team fight up because there's so much follow-up off of this stun and no way to really disengage from it in this game. Nobody can really create a buffer unless you just blink Black Hole. Oh, you can't lose the Pango here again.
Notice blinks past Chira Jr. Chira Jr. gets the low ground, but does get shackled up. Here comes the Sunstrike. Got him throwing the no. The call comes through first. Noticed again, and now the Winter's Curse on the Enigma with the Eidolons in tow. So DM takes a heap of damage. He's going to go down again. Noticed. He is cleaning house this game.
What a monster. Level 13 in this game right now. No one's even level 12. Does lose his courier Eidolonzo. That's a little unfortunate. But he's already got some early chop armor. 9 armor harvested by the 16-minute mark.
Oh, no one trying to make a solo play here. Can he get out fast enough? It's close. He does die to Watson. So that was actually a bit of a gift there for Yandex, who are in a bit of a bad spot.
And there's the Manta for the Fan Lancer. So he gets Manta completed plus that gold injection. Yeah, nice pickup for him. They're going to need the PL to salvage a little bit of this game. This Axe is doing work.
Blink Dagger next for DM.
He's got Vessel charges, so you get this Blink, you can definitely start getting involved in the game in a big way. This is the Mjolnir Bear. Not attacking, still pushing.
That's so silly. Ducalis is hoping to go Blink for Blink. He's just going to be the answer to the Enigma the entire game. Slowed down, Sunstrike a little off the mark, but somebody will get the kill, and that somebody is Satanic, who was halfway to his Aghanim Scepter, and that's when the Bear really starts ramping up the pressure. Between his global presence and the Invoker, and then the active Axe, you're gonna be feeling it if you're Yandex.
That's where this game can become uncarryable for the Phantom Lancer if you start just bleeding out heroes across the map, even if the PL is finding farm. This isn't a hero that 1v5s in a true sense. He still needs somebody else to make some space in the fight and help him contribute some damage, at least a little control. Noticed on the hunt. He's got the Sunstrike, he's got the power shot. Every call is deadly right now on the map, so if you can occupy some enemy territory, it feels real good to take away the farm from Watson here.
See Yandex just playing full defense here. Double offensive wards and double defensive wards, basically placed in the same spots here. Both Yandex and Pvision.
Trying to defend or attack the PL's farming rotation. Not a hero that's going to go do Ancients. So you kind of know where Watson wants to stay.
They almost got to him there. Both carries just trying to get to their Ags uncontested, and the Lone Druid is very uncontested.
They do have an amp damage on Shira Jr., and he finished his Blink, so they're going to smoke, bring Watson into this play. They say he's strong enough to join the fight right now.
I think they've already seemed to have made the read because they had this Lotus Ward on the right side of the map that spotted DM's movement.
Well, they also had this obs right where they smoked around this like hard camp near the mid-tier 2. So heads up obs placement from 9 class earlier will bail them out of this amp damage timing.
9 class will lead him on a little chase here. And he may eventually die for it. Actually tucks himself into the corner and TP's out successfully. So nice absolutely nothing gained for what is essentially like 4 heroes all hunting.
And that's the risk with making these big plays, bringing the carry into it. That basically called you, it cost you 1,000 net worth. As these other cores are just mopping up the map.
That's why it's oftentimes so easy just to be the ones to sit back and farm, which is where that notice, again, that early Blink Dagger pickup was so cool, because if they don't find that kill, right, he starts falling behind.
Oh, 100%.
Misses his timings.
Very few players would go for that play.
Especially in a stressful game like this. Noticed.
Do they see the
Sees a camp that just got farmed. Gets the call into the Pango. Sunstrike and a Culling Blade. Sunstrike is all it takes.
He is on a rampage in this game. 7-1-2. Just making everything happen right now. I mean, he's probably gotten this Invoker an extra like 1,000 plus gold just off of his plays, right? He's gotten the Bear another 1,000 or 2,000 with all the space that Satanics had to farm because there's no pressure going into him. Ags is already done here for the Panda. Now also level 15. So the map pressure is going to pick up considerably right now.
Yeah, now it's no longer the Lone Druid Bear with the Mjolnir just pushing out the bottom lane. He's going to take that off lane tower, make the map smaller.
If you give Satanic this much space, if he can farm out all of his jungle with the hero, continue to push waves with the Bear, this lead is going to exponentially increase here. You just don't have the same amount of space to keep up. You needed some more fights going your way with this Pangolier. You needed to maybe get 1 or 2 extra kills with Black Hole. Be on their side of the map with the Enigma. You're losing too much ground right now. This lead is gonna explode.
Eidolon spreading out through the map. Now they need little mobile wards to try and read these rotations to make sure that Watson is still farming uncontested, which he has been. He wasn't the one caught by the axe earlier. That was CJ. jump on a 9 class here, win run. Gonna make it difficult for them, but ultimately he will die, right? He'll die. Okay, yeah, just to make sure they got him.
Get a little extra TP, you know? More value off that kill, but again, not a big target.
Yeah. I think that's a thing that Pvision have consistently been better at, is putting their supports in a position that they just don't bleed anything from many of these smokes. Malady spotted on the Lotus by no one.
See ya. That's a freebie. They didn't even need to pop the smoke on the other two heroes. They could still look for an axe play. And of course, he can go in solo because you have the global backup of that Sunstrike.
And he's going to get the call on the Phantom Lancer. Sunstrike not being thrown out.
He didn't have the mana for it.
Broker, TP away. Do they have? They've got Winter's Curse. They've got enough to stop this one. No Doppelganger to get away. Another Cooling Blade. While the Bear is pushing bottom, it took the offlane tower. Now it's taking your Ancient stack. Everything is being ripped away from Yandex right now.
This is highway
They gotta get
robbery.
at least the Bear. The Malefice slowdowns should be more than enough to get that bounty. It'll be 315 for Cheer Jr. That helps, but it does not rectify these pickoffs.
Have to find a way to regroup on this map. We're at the point in this game, past 20 minutes, Tormentor's online, Roche is there. You keep bleeding some of these kills, you're going to pay a way bigger price than you have so far in this game.
Oh, man. Okay, so Malady just, they had a ward, and they saw the Wyvern up here in this Lotus area. He placed a sentry saying, okay, he placed a ward somewhere over here. They found the old ward. They didn't find the new ward. So that could be pretty massive if Yandex, you know, try and make a move through this area, try and take a fight on Tormentor.
Let's see if it pays off here. Feels like their Tormentor to take right now. There's no way you're doing it if you're Yandex.
Right.
You do have Blink Black Hole available, and that is an X factor here on these objective fights. Rolling Thunder, also pretty good around like Roche Pit Tormentor.
Yeah, they definitely wanted to contest. Malady, he's going to work his way, trying to get through the gate. No one is setting up. No one. He's going to be caught here at the same time as the Jakiro. Bigger kill. Wow, that was a lot for it. They already had him controlled with the Rolling Thunder, but they dropped the black hole just to ensure.
It's 1,000 gold.
Eidolons will spot the heroes rushing through the gate.
You just do not want to let them get out of here.
Blink for Blink. 9 class trying to catch him off the shackle shot. Does manage to land it on DM, but a bit too far out initially, but the axe is still going to blink for it. Hit a Battle Hunger on CJ, slowing him down. Quickly reprieve there as Swashbuckle cleanses that one off.
Kind of surprised that Pvision chased through that gate instead of just like going through Tormentor with Bear or something.
Right, yeah.
You know, like Black Hole gets dropped for your Invoker. Okay, whatever. We'll do an objective. Maybe you can still do it here now anyway. Black Hole's a long cooldown, which could be an issue in this game, honestly. If you become more and more dependent on that spell to teamfight, along with Rolling Thunder, if your ults are down, what happens in the interim? Especially with the lineup that can do objectives pretty fast, push the waves out pretty quickly. Look at this axe just farming in your face. Already BKB done. What are you going to do to him? Absolutely nothing.
Not a damn thing. Tornado. Attempted, CJ blinking ahead of it, and he is so close to his Aghanim Scepter.
I'm just watching this Bear vacuum up the entire bottom half of this map.
He is so massive.
This is the issue. If you can't control this area, he outfarms everybody in the game.
5,500 up on the Phantom Lancer. He has 700 GPM right now. Soxa is going to be spotted by the Vessel, 9 class. Lands that on him and will get a charge back.
Chop.
Chop.
Some more armor. He's up to 13.5, by the way. This is a significant amount of bonus armor this early on.
And a Roshan that is free for the taking with no Black Hole, no Cuddle. No way to fight.
And this is the issue. Yeah, maybe you have better late game. Maybe you have some clutch PL pick. You're not going to get there because this is classic Pvision. Control the waves, find the pickoff, translate it into an objective. They don't need the 5-on-5. Like, they're not even looking for the 5-on-5. They're looking for the one kill that leads them into a net worth advantage. This is how you scale in Dota. This is how you gain a net worth lead. And that net worth lead will translate to that classic, like, 35-minute high ground. Oh, they've done this time and time again.
Yeah.
This game, the Roche was done a little later, so maybe that timing gets delayed a little bit. We'll see how strong Satanic thinks he is. I mean, this is a Bear that is extremely farmed, and you always have Alacrity to throw on top of him. That is a lot of damage. And I always feel like the sooner you can pressure high ground against the Phantom Lancer, doesn't mean you have to commit for that push. But the sooner you force him to join fights wherever that happens, the happier you are.
Sure. Last thing you want to let him do is just be completely uncontested at AFK farm to this like really tanky point where he's currently working towards Scotty.
So you take these tier 2s, and then all of a sudden when you get that pick off, you can go high ground with it. That's what you're looking to achieve right now, because full silver edge done on the Panda as it's running across. This thing is just sprinting. It's like some death machine.
And it might just find some death. There's some heroes swirling out this side of the map. Malady just dropping macro pyres. They're throwing eidolons down lane, anything they can. But the hunt is on. Pvision will find pickoffs.
Goodbye. It's just full rat mode. You look at where these dire dots are on the minimap, it's all on the edge of the map. Someone's farming the top edge. Soxa's on the left. The Jakiro's on the bottom. Enigma's farming out the right. Like, nobody wants to go anywhere near the center here. You don't have the vision for it. You don't have heroes that can do it safely. Especially when Noticed is off the map. He is back on the hunt. Invis Rune Axe around this mid lane. Scan lands.
Smoke is getting many opportunities here. Blink can't manage to get the call on DM. Don't have a way. Ooh, Sox actually pushing himself in. They actually have the black hole on no one. No one took so much damage with the shackle shot. Managed to stop it. Cherry Jr. is still trying to finish off no one here. Rolls through. They've got to deal with the bear. Watson was in trouble. CJ heard the call and it bumps the bear once. Shackle shot to slow him down, but ultimately it's just the death of DM.
And no one lived.
No one lived and keeps that Aegis intact.
Almost dying to the pollen bag on top of some of the Enigma damage, but lives with 15 HP. Perfectly executed here. They fed him he got the Lotus HP as well, so some of that early Lotus saving paying off, and very timely shackle.
Lotus Orb done for the Axe will help protect the bear. Get rid of the Malefice, stop the solar bind, get these heroes out of these Ice Path macro pyre situations easier. And look at them, just so fearless. They know they have nothing to worry about. Diving well past tier 2s, going in triangles.
Rolling Thunder, Black Hole on cooldown, that's a green light. Do whatever you want in this game.
Notice, is he going to find Cheer Jr.? There's a high ground ward. Cheer Jr. is going to blink out. It's because that ward, that sentry that was placed earlier, didn't find the high ground ward placed by Malady earlier. That saved CJ's life.
Still another minute on this Aegis. Not a high ground Aegis, but gives you a lot of confidence to look for anything here. Trying to find another clutch pickoff.
That net worth lead is just growing and growing.
Oh yeah.
Pvision will eventually be presented the opportunity to hit a high ground. It's like inevitable they will get a core pickoff. So far it's been those support kills. Last time they got a core, it's pretty easy Roshan for them. Play here from DM, leading off the Malphus. Quick kill on Takalis, but no one. It's a really good tornado that leads to the death of DM. He's gonna get burned out. Now no one is still low, but he has this Aegis. He may die to this Rolling Thunder. Meanwhile, Notice did manage to get the initiation on Soxa. They cleaned up the Aegis. Is CJ going to get out, though? His Rolling Thunder is now gone. And with Notice slowing him down off the Battle Hunger, trying to get away from this bear. Slowing him down a bit with the inhibitor, the diffuse up late, but eventually you're going to be entangled. And there's the core kill they were looking for. Leads off a godlike spree for Notice.
Fights are too chaotic. Especially if the PL can't stick in the middle of it. That's your chaos to throw back at them. But until Watson's ready to take an entire fight, the bear is just going to slowly kill you. This axe is going to find you.
And the bear is also going to, when you win that fight, quickly kill buildings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he found the PL.
A big kill if they can get it. Slow down the Scott. He Watson, he jukes him.
He had the right target.
Makes the TP out. Whoa, he got the curse, though. DeCollis with the backup plan. Stops Watson's TP away, and there's no out for him now. The bear will hunt him down.
What a game from Notice. Absolutely showing up in this game 3.
Oh, and no one. A Force Staff forward. DM. So much damage, though. The Force Staff doesn't help him survive.
Just picking him
Dies
apart.
anyway.
Dissection here.
And Pvision tipping their old teammate in DM. A bit of a mistake there, and it's going to lead to more openings. Noah's call on Soxa. Another kill.
Just 1 by 1. Again, you're never going to get this 5 on 5.
And the Bears just into the tier 4. It's a team wipe.
They're going to team wipe them without any of them being near the other hero.
Jared Jr.'s just going to die here as well. They've just bled out one hero after another, and all of a sudden the base is entirely open for the taking.
This game just looks over.
Satanic is going to take a mid lane of Barracks, go for top. There's still the tier 2 bottom, and there's probably not enough time to just go straight to tier 4.
It's so much damage, though. Like, losing Raxes at this 30-minute mark against this team when there's so much map pressure just compounds that issue. How are you ever going to get out on the map again? How are you going to play any of the lanes and not get picked off?
Yeah, Yandex better get real comfortable with their base. This is going to be their home for the future. They're just going to be locked inside here.
And this is how you punish some of these really hard carries that just can't come online fast enough to exert their own presence in the game. Like, you just start picking people off, the map collapses, they don't have a lot of places to farm. You get that one clutch find, and the game just breaks open. And you never get to hit your timing on this Phantom Lancer as he tries to work towards the Scotty.
And what carry is better for this, right? I mean,
I'll be very excited about that.
No doubt. Should be, because they are just one pick off, one fight away from closing out a series and going to the grand finals. They can chill out, wait for Aegis. Yandex will see whether desperation bites at them enough to go for a smoke out play into that Roshan, or if they're just gonna wager on a high ground hold.
I think you have to go. You do have your item timing, like you have Ags Pango, BKB Enigma, and the Scotty is done on Watson. So that's another reason you kind of have to go, because you're not going to get close to another round of items before that base push comes in. This is as good as it gets. You're going to need some big ultimates to land. You're going to have to try and bait a clump out from Pvision.
The initial smoke isn't going to find anything here. It will get them into a position to take back some of this mid lane and bottom lane, get wards on their triangle. But ultimately, time is kind of against them here as Pvision can just wait things out, wait for a better opportunity, some sort of pick.
The lanes are just going
Roshan in 3 minutes.
You have to deal with top because you lost Barracks here. They're pinging Watson up here. They saw him throw the lance. Notice.
They see the real one running backwards. They get the call onto him. Here comes that Cataclysm. It's coming in hot.
He dodged it.
He does manage a doppelganger. What a manta dodge. Gets away from it all. Very dangerous. All of Yandex TPing back to bail out their carry. See if there's a punish available here. Tag notice with the macro pyre. No.
Bear.
CJ is already gone as the bear is going to just kill them all, man. They can do nothing about this BKB bear.
He is chopping fools out here. All that time in the jungle has led to an insane item timing for Satanic here.
And the best part is Satanic, his hero, doesn't even need to be here.
Nope.
He's just been farming up the triangle the entire time. Very slowly, but it's getting the job done, getting the extra farm for them. It is racked up to an almost 30,000 net worth lead for Pvision. Yandex on their last legs here.
They will have to find something miraculous in the next team fight. And if the Enigma gets jumped, I think that goes out the window.
Yeah, the bear even hit the high ground without the BKB. It's already taken the tier 3. Satanic keeping the pressure up on them, saying, are you going to deal with this bear? Are you going to kill it? The reward for killing the bear is not terribly high because he's just going to make the resummon. And the risk is, well, we saw people all set up behind that bear.
You just go wait for the Roshan. Put an Aegis on one of these guys, you send it up the hill.
With an amp damage, I mean, it's just going to be a disgusting amount of strength. Hey, want to go for another one with this?
Look for a pick off.
Yeah,
for some lane pressure.
Here comes that Silver Edge bear.
He sends it in bottom. He's looking on like the one camp they can farm. It's like, I know you're here. I'm going to take your camp anyway.
Oh, Malady just saw his life flash before his eyes. As if he was on that camp, he would have been the one to die to that amp damage instead of the neutral creeps.
I mean, the disgusting part is if Pvision really want to slow play this, they can. You have the Invis Bear, you have the Invoker with all of his rat action.
Yeah, just keep throwing things at buildings.
You could just throw these units up the bottom lane. You have the other 2 lanes. And what are they going to do, right? You can never do Roshan until you see them all in base. Then you do Roshan.
Gonna get an Ag Synth for the Bear to have a true 6 slot.
And Roche is up.
And Yandex are not in a position to be able to contest.
No, they were never going to be in a position to contest this. You just have to play for the base defense. See how fast this Bear chops it down. Pretty damn fast here. Gonna give it to no one again. Just make that team fight even.
Got the call on DM, the Cataclysm, and a Culling Blade to finish him off. Not even. Nah. That was made way too easy. Soxa being hunted down on the other side of the map. Now you can get an easy buyback at the very start of this Aegis. Bear's still trying to hunt down Soxa rather. Force taps up to the high ground, gets a TP away. The Bear is not going to be close enough to hit a roar. Range Barracks is almost dead just purely off of Forge Spirits. In fact, is dead. Double Siege Wagon, Forge Spirits, Yandex.
Your hammer.
I mean, look at them. They're thinking, do I have the Rolling Thunder? Do I have to go in right now? The building's, it's going to die fast. They hit it with the Ice Bat. Now the Rolling Thunder comes in, trying to kill this Bear. But they got to be careful of the counter initiation. Cold Embrace comes in. There's the call on 2. Hit both supports. A beautiful initiation. One's already dead. CJ jumps after no one. But reminder, he's got the Aegis. Soxa still alive. Notice trying to get out of this situation. Down by the Scotty. Yeah, a black hole on a Bear just trying to stop it. And the Bear survives and kills DM anyway. Watson is doing work right now. He's managed to kill one. Got noticed down. The buyback going to be used. A power shot to hunt down Soxa. Watson on his second life though. The glyph gets popped. The building's almost dead. Killed the Bear one time. What about the second Bear though? It's going to be coming back soon. Notice on his second life. Managed to get the call on the CJ. He's getting lower and lower. Managed to get the call in button. That's the chop. He's down. Another buyback. Going to be forced out. Meanwhile, they've got Watson trying to finish off these heroes, but there's too many lives. The Mega Creeps are going to be here. The Call of Brace has bailed it out. And Watson, a final call to finish things off. Life 1.
It's over.
Gone for it. GG is called. They don't even try for the buyback. It's Pvision going to the grand finals.
They are looking like the scariest team here. This is their toughest opponent yet, and in games 1 and 3, they just dominated. Again, the 30 to 40 minute period, if they get the map control they're looking for with these lineups, I have not seen anybody who can survive it. And what a game by Notice. This is the guy they brought in for this season to make some big plays from that offlaner spot. Playing against one of their old offlaners, and he makes a statement in this game with an insane axe performance. 12, 2, and 14. Just dominated from that lane, getting mega fat, that blink purchase into the triple kill. Felt like you were already in a very solid position after that. Yeah, you shut down the Invoker a little bit with this Pango pick, but then he gets back in the game because he's just sun-striking every axe kill. Free assist gold, free assist gold. I mean, he really just put this game on his back and just, it's easy pickings for Satanic at that point because he has so much time to farm on a hero that is always going to outfarm your opponent. Just never look back. Insane map control from this team. Somebody, well, I guess there's only one team left that can challenge it, and that's BB in the finals. They have to find a way to break the lane control, the pickoff potential, and the discipline around these objectives. That is going to be your challenge because it's not easy.
And especially in a grand final situation where the pressure is so high, the lights are so bright, having this team run at you. Again, the way that Notice picked up that early blink dagger, the decision making that was had there. I mean, that's a move that you're making without fear that puts the enemy team under a lot of pressure when it hits, and it hit hard in this game 3.
Yep.
Yandex have been incredibly good. I mean, they've just been monsters all year round. So many top 3 performances from them. Again, 9 different top 3s this year.
Can't find it here. Just insane jumps. Also, props to Ducals. He had some sick curses in a game where this is not necessarily the easiest game to find curses on. He even hit the real PL here at the end. Like,
oh yeah, that's...
Okay, sure, dude. Like, you're just in zone. He had a very nice Wyvern game. This hero can sometimes be a liability against a lot of these like chaotic team fight lineups, but man, he put work in.
We're going to see Pvision in the grand finals against BB Team. And let's see how prepared they are.
Thank you very much, my friends. We are here with Pvision Satanic victorious. And moving on to the grand final here in Paris. Good to have you here. Obviously, this series against Yandex went to game 3. Game 1 was a washover. What happened there?
I think we just have all 3 games much better draft, I think.
All 3 of them, including in game 2? But there was the Monkey King out there. Were you surprised when you saw him?
Not really. We just expected it. But I think we just played I fucked up that game, I think, mostly.
Was it more, hey, things were going well in the lane, but
I
it
guess
got so
बहुत ही
deep
अच्छा
that we
खेला
couldn't
और
really
क्या
play
बोलते
around the
हैं
Monkey King?
I
Pvision
would
ने
say it was super free game. We just, I just went on edge and lost edges. We should have make big lead and win this game. But even like this, we made like a comeback in the game because they gave us, we kill SF and then take Raxus.
Okay,
But
guys.
then in super late game, like last fight, I just blink in and died like idiot, you know? Happens, yeah.
It happens even to the best out there. Now, game 3, there was the first pick to invoke.
आई गेस काफ़ी अच्छा खेली क्या बोलता है टीम पाविशन। तीसरे गेम में मोस्टली मेरे ख्याल से ड्राफ्ट की गलती थी। जैसे कि सैटानिक पे ने भी कहा कि दे हैड मच बेटर ड्राफ्ट्स। और एनिक्पा और जैसे कि आप पीएल अगर ऐसी टीम के अगेंस्ट लोगे इन जो एक्स और भालू जैसे मतलब लेन विनिंग हीरोज़ हैं तो दिक्कत आएगी। और डीएम बहुत ही ज़्यादा काउंटर्ड हो गए थे मतलब विंटर वाइमन कैंसिल आउट कर सकते हैं, इन्वोकर कैंसिल आउट कर सकते हैं। अर्ली गेम कोई चांस ही नहीं है मतलब ब्लैक होल कहीं से रिलायबली मार पाए अनटिल अनलेस इट इज़ ऑन वन हीरो। ठीक है तो बहुत ही ये चीज़ें देख मतलब क्या सोच के डाउट बनाया था मतलब कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा वैसे तो। लेकिन देखते हैं चलो फिर कल ग्रैंड फाइनल में मिलते हैं गाइस विद बीबी वर्सेस पीविजन। आई थिंक बोथ आर वेरी गुड टीम्स तो कल ज़्यादा बेटर फाइट देखने को मिले। गाइस थैंक यू।